The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig!
Stop! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this big Tuesday, January 7th, 2025. This sports program starts now.
Football
is wonderful, and obviously we're in the biggest time for football that there is. College football playoff semifinals are just a few days away. Super wild card weekend also on the other side of that, and if you want to look outside the football world, some historic shit happened last night on Netflix in the Intuit Dome that I was lucky to be a part of. Monday Night Raw was broadcasted to 80% of planet Earth last night. Have no idea how many people were watching, but I do know it was quite an experience to be inside of that lovely building over there. I don't know how much Ballmer spent on that thing. I don't know what was reported, what was actual. I got to use some of the toilets that he put in there, and I got to experience the gladiator-like feel with the way it was built, and obviously all the lights and the lasers and the show that man put together. Mr. H last night to kick off a Netflix era was nothing short of fucking sweet. It was an honor to be there. Michael Cole was throwing his fastball.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was throwing his absolute fastball. John Cena was there.
Yeah.
Our high chief, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Saumi. A lot of. Man,
It's in there somewhere.
I tried my absolute best. Chi-Chu was awesome, obviously. Good response from the crowd. Obviously giving his daughters here the People's Championship title that Muhammad Ali's widow graced upon him during a WrestleMania run in the entire thing. It was a magical night. The stars were out. There were so many people there. Michael Che was there. Obviously, Dog from Saturday Night Live. I love that man. Fluffy was there. And Michael Cole was excited about that.
Yeah.
Topanga was there.
Obviously.
Thank God.
Topanga was there. That was wild. That was a crazy scene. Seeing Boy Meets World right there to the left. I believe all the who's who of sports media was there. The heads of Netflix were there. The heads of TKO Group were there. There was a lot of money in that building last night. And it was an honor to be there. Travis Scott, maybe my new favorite human on earth. Just walking in there, blowing some vitamins and sage around with Fiend playing. I believe he created the new intro song for WWE. Travis Scott, 10-time Grammy nominated.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, he is incredible. Obviously, he's got the shoe game on absolute lock. I told him yesterday, I said, hey, in the Thunderdome, there's like 11, 12 guys that work there. We got about 45 pairs of Travis Scott Cactus Jacks. Okay, so like, we appreciate everything you do. Him with the hardcore championship last night. I think in his mind, he did win that last night, as he should have. And they should just give it to him and say, hey, Travis, you are the hardcore champion. Obviously, yeeting all over the place with this drone shot that they were doing all night was fantastic. And it was an honor to be back in there, man. Legitimately, an absolute honor. And what a start. I have no idea what they do next week.
That's a good question.
I have no.
Tough to top.
I have no. That from the rumblings that I'm hearing is there's going to be a press conference here in a matter of moments to address one of the situations that took place with a beer conversation. Yeah, I'm getting a little insight in the ear here from the back room.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes. Maybe we'll hear from Hulkster. The Toxic Table is here. At Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. Big night for Monday Night Raw last night.
It was incredible. Right from the start, too. I mean, you kidding me? Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, off the top of the show to start it. I was pumped about it. Some of the marks in the office weren't, but then Cena coming back, what a promo from him. I mean, basically it was nonstop entertainment and no problems at all from Netflix. Like it looked fantastic. There was no connection issues, anything like that. It was awesome.
What do you?
No, I was gonna say like the quality. Like it looked unbelievable.
8K-ish, right? Just like
the cameras are so
Christmas
nice.
games. Just like the Christmas games on
exactly.
Netflix. It's like, damn, this is a clear picture. Because the Paul Tyson fight, Mike Tyson's name is gonna, ring all around the world. You know, and I'm not saying that doesn't happen with WWE, and Triple H obviously booked that thing for the entire world because the entire world is watching. So you saw some big names, massive names in the past. Undertaker makes an appearance.
Yeah.
He loves the Texas Longhorns, by the way. He loves the Texas Longhorns. Why are you doing that to the Longhorns, he says to me. That's the first thing. I said, what are you talking about? Are you talking about just for whatever reason, this thing just goes up here and then it just has to do one of those? He goes, stop doing that. I need you to stop doing that. And then his wife, Michelle McCool, she goes, every time you do that, he goes, well, come on, Pat. Like Take was a little bit upset about the whole me picking against Texas. He's not the only one. I picked against Penn State all year.
Sure.
I picked against Notre Dame all year. I picked against Texas all year. I picked against Ohio State a couple of different times.
Yeah.
And they're obviously the 4 teams that remain. And I think the Texas football team needs to know they got a dead man, an American badass that is willing to throw haymakers for their team as they go forward. This was awesome. He stops right here, actually. I don't know if they show it. And he, hand up to this guy. Then he looks at me to hook him right there. That was what he just did right there. Hook him. And I have been told that maybe he hadn't been on that bike in a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, maybe he hadn't been on the bike in a little bit. That particular bike. And it was a tight tunnel on the way in and the way out. Obviously, the dead man's going to perform. He was on the first ever Monday Night Raw that was broadcasted on TV 32 years ago. And then obviously he's on the first Raw that was being streamed globally on Netflix. Him, Bruce Pritchard, who's obviously still a massive force in the WWE, big old brain in the world, and Shawn Michaels were the 3 guys that are still with the company that were with it then. And obviously he was celebrating that all day. Triple H, Nick Khan, they should be incredibly proud of themselves. What a night. And next Monday's in San Jose. Can't wait to see what you do. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. I didn't know anything was happening. I had no idea Travis Scott was coming out. Had no clue that was happening. And then obviously the whole situation that happens on top of the commentators. I'm like, this is awesome. I'm in the middle of this thing. I'm like, this is awesome.
Cole got up there.
Yeah, Michael Cole was up there dancing right on beat.
Yeah, he really nailed it.
9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler. Did you expect that out of Cole to be that?
I expected. I would expect nothing less out of Cole. He was excited that you were back. Hey, come on, get up here, Pat.
He was out of breath.
Top sake.
He did. He forced me up on the desk. I didn't want to do it because I'd stopped doing that because I thought it was a little bit too much. Yeah, I was doing a little bit too much. His life alert.
Yeah.
His Apple Watch.
It works.
It was like, hey, slow it down, bud. They thought he died because he was eating so hard. Legit, it happened multiple times throughout the show. This was the first time that happened. I think his heart rate just remained up because then later, I think it was CM Punk, Seth Rollins. He was in the middle of calling something, and his watch is going off again like, you're going to die. I'm like, yo, you need to potentially get that checked. The dap up, the bag clean, and then that one. That's the one.
Nailed it.
That's the one. And remember, Michael Cole wanted me to make sure I told everybody, let's go to one half of the Hammer, Dahn, Cowboys, Bubba Gambino in the back. What did he say? He's a rap icon? Is that what Michael Cole said?
Yeah, he kept referencing the Sugar Hill Gang. He was big with the Sugar Hill Gang. That was who he said it 25 times in a row.
He literally did.
Make sure everybody knows I'm big with the rap game, I think he said.
Yeah, he said, I'm beloved by the rap community, is what Michael Cole said. He said, I'm big in the rap world. I'm a rap icon, they say, Michael Cole.
His arm looked like the inflatable wavy arm guy.
Yeah, that's like kind of his thing. And then him following through like this one here. I told him, I said, that looked very natural. Look like you've done that a lot of times. He goes, I'm a member of the community. I'm a rap culture icon. He literally, and then he would pull up tweets. This is after the show. We're hanging out, waiting for our cars to come pick us up because they're stuck in LA traffic. Don't even want to get into it.
Sure.
We're almost locked into Los Angeles for 15 hours because they shut down the airport because
Crazy stuff.
Biden was taking the tractor another route.
Yeah, exactly.
So they shut down. Yeah.
Hunter?
We were told.
Was he hanging out with?
Holy shit.
I don't know if Hunter was there. I believe this is Mr. President.
Oh, okay.
Big guy.
Joe
Biden.
The big guy.
I believe is what I was told.
Big Joe.
8:40 local. I get a text message. Hey, you need to get the plane by like 9:15 or you're not going to be able to get out of here until 1 p.m. tomorrow. 15-hour lockdown. I said, excuse me, the car is, I don't even know, our car's stuck in traffic, not able to get into it, Dome, because there were 17,000 people there last night. 17,000 people packed in that place. It was magnetic, but LA, obviously, 17,000 people in one place, it's going to be tough to kind of get that whole thing. They're like, you need to get over there right now. They're shutting the whole place down. I'm like, what do you mean they're shutting the whole place down? Like, shutting down the airspace, shutting down the ground, because there is a massive VIP government official coming. So then I'm like, can I get a heads up? How I got 40 minutes to get to a place that's 20 minutes away. My car's not even here. So obviously 9:30 was the time that we were supposed to get to the airport. We get in the car finally at the Intuit Dome at 9:34. So that ship has sailed. I thought I was going to be there I thought I was going to get home at 8 p.m. tonight. I thought I wasn't going to be able to take off until 4 p.m. because they shut it down. Shout out to Karen, plane lady, made some calls, wheeled deal. I don't know how much I paid. I'm assuming it's going to be a pretty hefty fee. But we got on that plane and we just waited for a time. And then shout out to air traffic control over there too, just kind of letting us out, you know, that entire thing. But yeah, I was almost trapped in Los Angeles for 15 hours because they just shut down the air. I didn't know that. That just happens, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Makes sense.
It's supposed to happen today. They just moved it up to last night. They're like, yeah, hey, this is how this goes. Sorry about it. You want to go see your daughter? I don't care.
No.
I like that Cole kept offering to catch the 1 a.m. flight to Houston with him.
Yeah, that was his big
nice.
thing. So we're having a couple cocktails afterwards, waiting for these cars to get in to pick us up. And I'm like, I think I'm stuck here. And he just keeps pulling up tweets saying that he's an icon in the rap community. Look. That's what he's doing. Look at me. And then he saw the high five. He was like, nailed it. Like Cole was really proud of himself. He had a great night. And I'm like, I think I'm stuck here. He goes, why don't you go? We'll go to a Renaissance. We'll get a steak. Okay, we'll have a couple whiskeys. And then you hop on my plane to Houston. Then you can get a plane from Houston to Indianapolis. I said, why the fuck would I do that, Cole? He goes, you want to be stuck here? I'm like, so I'm stuck in Houston then? What is kind of the whole story here? He goes, I just want to hang out with you, man. Okay, if you don't want to do that, that's on you. All right. Well, it's great to see you, Cole. We got out of there. It was an awesome night, legendary night. And I am getting a heads up that one of the stars of last night's show is actually doing a live press conference. Let's head over to that right now. I believe Hulk Hogan is doing a live press conference to address everything that happened last night.
Hello and welcome to this press conference that I've called the day after arguably the greatest day in my professional career. Last night, tens and tens and tens and tens and tens of millions of people watched the Hulkster bring the house down on WWE RAW to usher in the Netflix era in the Intuit Dome. It's the greatest night of my life. With that, I'd like to open it up to a couple questions.
That's good, press conference.
Hi, Mr. Hulkster. This is Peter Penz from the Mark Times.
Yeah, I can tell you look like a Mark, son.
Thank you. I appreciate that, I guess. Booing was actually trending on X last night. I wasn't sure if you had any comments about the almost negative opening that you received when you were out on the stage, sir. Thank you.
Well, yeah, if you think those were boos, I can tell you're a fucking mark, okay? I've been doing this a long time, kid, and you get used to the Hulk Hogan. Now, I will admit, I heard a couple boos smattered across the crowd, and I'll be honest, I had no idea the people in L.A. hated Jimmy Hart the way they did. They took one look at him with his stringy hair, stupid sunglasses, and the way he was half-assed waving that flag around, and I should have expected it. Those liberal marks out there can't stand a MAGA champion like the Hulkster. But again, they weren't booing the Hulkster. They were booing Jimmy Hart. Everybody loves the Hulkster, dude. Next question. What are we doing here?
Oh, Mr. Hulkster, Bill Markington, South African Times.
Who let this guy in? Get him out. Get him out. I want questions from real Americans, brother.
Hulkster, Bill Bazaranth, top turnbuckle. Do you
Good
think,
publication.
Do you think anyone booing last night has ever tried a real American beer, and after they try a real American beer would ever boo again?
Listen, I don't want someone trying a real American beer who's gonna boo. I just mentioned it. I'll mention it again. Those goddamn liberals out there, they can have their Bud Light. Those aren't real Americans. Those aren't my real Americans, dude. The only Americans I want drinking real American beer are real Americans. The Bible Belt, the Midwest, anywhere where people don't bow down to Joe Biden. And they certainly do out there, brother.
Wow.
Mr. Hulkster, Dexter Bennett from the Daily Gimmick. While trying to listen to you through the booze, heard you talk about a 40-year run and how long you've been. John Cena been on his last run. Any thoughts on you maybe going on last run, and who would you like to go up against if you were to do that?
Yeah, sure, I got a couple thoughts. The Hulkster would love to run through just a who's who of the WWE roster. Give me Kofi Kingston. Give me Xavier Woods. Hell, give me Trick Williams. You can bring his ass up from NXT.
Trick?
Maybe some of the old guys, dude. Godfather, see ya.
Wait, there seems to be a.
Stop it! I'm not done yet. Farouk, I'll get in the ring with his ass too. Ahmad Plummer, you want some? I'm not scared of the Pearl River Plunge. Any one of you guys can take a seat.
Is that it? That's the end of your list?
Oh, I could go on and on, brother. But I'm going to end it at Mania with the High Chief, Sui Ui Lala Tuiate Wate. I want you, Dewey. I want you, Dwayne. In Vegas at Mania 2 nights. Hell, I'll beat your ass back to back. It'll be the biggest WrestleMania ever, dude. Does that answer your questions from the Mark Times or wherever the fuck you write for?
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm out of here. I'm going to go drink some real American beer. If you're one of those jackasses who was booing Jimmy Hart last night, fuck you. You don't deserve real American beer. I'm going to go find some real Americans who love that genuine, refreshing Pilsner, dude.
All right.
Wow.
All right, so that settles it.
Yeah.
Feels like Hulkster understands what happened last night.
Yeah.
Booed. I don't know if the journalist understood if it was booed or booing was trending number 12 last night, but when I looked at it after the show, it had 18,000 posts on booed for the Hulkster, but I'm happy he clarified it because he was there. We weren't in his position.
Yeah.
It was booing towards Jimmy Hart is what he said, which makes a lot of sense now that I kind of think about it. But in there was a chance it was Hulk. I never really thought about that as well. Ty, he got a little unhinged in there a couple different times. Is he okay, you think?
I'm assuming the Hulkster's just jacked up. I mean, he mentioned it last night was one of the and this is a guy who's done everything there is to do in the wrestling business. But last night, arguably the biggest night of his life. He's obviously launching his beer, which is delicious. I can only assume. I've never actually tried it. I would love to.
But you will.
Yeah, I absolutely will. But I mean, I get it. You know, you get out there and people are throwing shots at you saying, Jesus, has Hulk lost his fastball? No. The Hulkster has not lost his fastball. And that makes more sense. I'm glad he cleared that up. That's what it had to have been. They were booing Jimmy Hart. They weren't booing the Hulkster. There's Hulkamaniacs everywhere.
Well, he obviously knew that there was a narrative getting built quickly, which is why he had this emergency press conference, I assume. And hopefully we'll get a chance to get Hulk Hogan on the show, not only just via a press conference, but the list of guys that he said he would take on seemed, and that was a good follow-up question by the journalist from the Daily Gimmick, I believe, was the name. It seemed to be a little bit of a trend there, you know.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of a trend.
Stacked. I'm excited to see the Ahmed Johnson match.
Yeah, I don't think.
Oh, is that who?
I don't think he said Ahmed Johnson.
Ahmed Plummer. Ahmed Plummer.
I didn't know
I'm
that.
pretty sure that's not his name.
Yeah, but Hulkster was
Are we sure that was the Hulkster?
What do you mean?
right there?
Yeah, are we sure that was?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Who
Looked
else
like
would
him.
it have been?
What do you mean?
I just wasn't sure. I was looking. He sounded like him. You know, looked like him.
He had the red and
mustache.
yellow.
You gotta just AI. You got to make sure these days.
Well, and I guess we didn't. You're right. I mean, I didn't even think about that not being Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was Hulkster.
Did we hear his music? Because I am a real American, fight for the right of every man. When that played last night,
Pop the pop.
That was
Jimmy,
heat.
I was looking straight down. So I'm looking right across the ring, right down the tunnel, right before the arena sees, because there's a little bit of an extendo there. The way they had that set up was sick because the wall was right behind it. And I think the shot of High Chief turning around and then that wall of people behind him with his, it was so sick. And then CM Punk did the turnaround and look at that camera that was there. And then they zoomed out. There was just people everywhere. But there was a time where they're walking through that tunnel where nobody in the arena sees it. And Jimmy Hart was swinging as soon as he got in that tunnel. I'm watching and I just see this flag coming. I'm like, here we go.
Yep.
And then as soon as they get seen by that place, big Hulk Hogan chant.
Yeah, massive.
They even had the caption on Netflix for it.
Hogan.
I think that's
crowd
exactly what it said.
Hooganing, I believe, is what it said.
Great.
Nonetheless, magical night. Real American beer. I can't wait to try it. I legitimately can't wait to try it. The fact that it got a partnership with the WWE is crazy. That's the first time WWE has obviously ever had a partnership with a beer. I cannot wait to see how that all goes. And everything on WWE is up and up. I cannot wait to be a part of it going forward. Now, speaking of going forward, the Tennessee Titans are going to have to find a new general manager. This morning, the latest firing in the NFL firing cycle here is Rand Carthon, general manager of the Tennessee Titans. If you do recall, his reign started with him walking into the Tennessee Titans building and everybody that works for the Tennessee Titans coming out and giving him a standing ovation.
Yeah.
Remember, he and Mike Vrabel a couple years ago, then he fell out of favor with Mike Vrabel, and then Mike Vrabel got fired. We signed with Rand Carthon. Rand Carthon brought in Callahan, brought in Will Levis. Now all of a sudden they're siding with Callahan. Callahan will stick around. Rand Carthon's getting fired. And this is from Jake and Ball, who I would assume is a oops, sorry, I get choked up about this because the AFC South is in such disarray.
Yeah.
I assume he is a Tennessee Titan fan. 2022, the Tennessee Titans sided with Mike Vrabel and they fired John Robinson, who traded A.J. Brown away on draft night, if you all remember that. 2023, they forced the manager Rand Carthon and Mike Vrabel. Hey, we're going to side with Mike Vrabel. We're not going to take any of your input on who the general manager is going to be. This is going to be the guy. You're going to like it or not. Then they side with Rand Carthon. They fire Mike Vrabel, who's now being talked about for every head coaching job, obviously, after consulting with the Browns. Then they let Rand Carthon pick Brian Callahan. This is going to be my guy. Callahan brings in his dad. Obviously, they're going to turn it all around. Now in 2025, they side with Brian Callahan. They're firing Rand Carthon. It's just kind of one of these. You know, it's just kind of one of these down there. And somehow, after looking at this, I don't think anybody would say that they're in the worst position in the AFC South at this exact time. I think...
What?
No way.
I don't think so. I genuinely don't think so.
Jacksonville just fired.
Boom, let's go down to Jacksonville now. Jacksonville, Shad Khan was doing a press conference via Zoom with Balky, who's been the general manager through multiple different eras down there in Jacksonville. If you do remember, Balky, the fans dressed like clowns going into the stadium to say that this is clown time, the way Balky is running this entire thing. Balky has remained the general manager for the Jacksonville Jaguars through a lot of different coaching cycles, continuing right now. Here's Shad Khan talking about the future of the next head coach and their wants with Balky or without Balky, kind of.
So I'd actually like to go back to
That's
John's
on the
first
left.
question, Shad. Back to you. I know you noted that if this head coaching candidate was to say, hey, I think the medical needs to be reevaluated, the health and wellness, if they were to say, I would like to reevaluate the front office and the general manager, what would your response be?
My response would be, how would you improve it? And then if it is credible, you want to do it.
Yeah, this guy right here. They come in and say they got a better idea than this guy. Shit, ears are wide open, brother. Can't wait. And Balky's just got to sit there and, hey, it's just you and me on a Zoom right now. This is kind of an uncomfortable situation. But what I think I heard from Shad there is we keep Balky around because he's football guy in building. But if somebody comes in here and presents a better idea, who's going to be reporting directly to Shad Khan? Remember, that is the change now. Coach is not directly reporting to Balky. Both are directly reporting to Shad Khan. So if somebody comes in here with a good idea, sure, I'll kick this guy right off the Zoom. I've been hearing what everybody's been saying. How's this guy around? And my son, Tony, is chief football strategist. He still has a job, too. Obviously, we get rid of Doug Peterson. He might be happy about that if you go back to a couple of the press conferences. But when you think about the AFC South with this situation, which what's going on in Tennessee Titans, obviously whenever they fire Vrabel, we all go, what? Now they're firing a GM, keeping the coach. It's just another, how's the culture going to get set? And then Indianapolis, obviously, hanging on to GM and head coach 8 years into this thing, and it's not working. You got to think if you're the Houston Texans, you're sitting very pretty, D-Bucks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, they're in the playoffs, hosting a playoff game. And, C.J. Stroud didn't play up to the level that he played last year, but yeah, you're sitting pretty right now if you're a Houston Texan or if you're a Houston Texan fan. Now, the rest of the division, it's an absolute shite show right now. And we kept the GM and the head coach here. Fans aren't happy about that at all. Obviously, we see what's going on in Jacksonville. Him in that moment, in that situation, been on the Zoom with Trent Baalke right there, that's very, very awkward, but I am I respect the fact that, okay, if you got a plan, you got an open plan, I'm open to hear it. You know, what's Aaron say? Open to everything, connected.
Attached to nothing.
Open to anything, attached to nothing.
Yeah, so obviously, Shahid Khan is on that same page. So, that was...
I also saw that.
That was breaking.
I did see that.
Yeah,
for me,
his Zoom name was...
Yeah, we've been calling him the wrong name.
I think Shahid was cool.
But she said...
Dude, I had to pronounce a couple...
The I silent.
Highnesses, high chiefs.
Oh.
Yeah, the I silent.
Man,
that's tough.
I love the Usos. I absolutely love it. I try to pay as much respect as possible anytime I'm announcing any name. But if that thing is getting put right in front of me, just with 1 day notice, That's going to be tough for me to get. I do apologize. Like Nico Iamaleava.
Nailed it.
Pay respects. Tua Tagovailoa. Pay respects. Try my best to get it right. Last night, there was a couple. I had to write down the notes.
You took a good set.
Fair enough.
Do you know that The Rock became the High Chief Seoli? Because it was bestowed upon him by His Highness High Chief Maleatoa Tuna Mafili II.
I know now.
Jeez.
Of course.
Nailed it.
It's a good name.
I didn't last night on the show. As it was coming out of my mouth, I'm like, God damn it.
That's not right.
I just disrespected the entire island of Samoa.
That's tough.
And he's the high. He's
the high chief.
He's the high. He is the highest of high. So I do apologize for that. Shahid Khan though did say I'm open to anything here.
Yeah.
This guy's currently here. Could be gone. This guy could be gone. I respect that.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
I respect it. Obviously, it's very, very awkward. But and you look at what Balky's done. Like he's definitely signed some good players. Obviously, this draft class with Brian Thomas Jr. He's been great. Taking Walker 1 overall. You sign your quarterback. A lot of these GMs and head coaches, it's about hitting on the quarterback. That's the situation that's going on with Carthon out in Tennessee. That's why he was fired. He tied his hitch to Will Levis. Obviously, that has not worked out. So now you're going to get a new guy in there. You got the top pick. You got quarterbacks here. So you have to hit on that quarterback. Jacksonville, they have a quarterback that they paid the second contract to. They have some other pieces. Now you look at that contract.
He's good, right?
You look at that player. And now he's kind of like how we saw, I would say, probably Derek Carr, like Kirk Cousins a few years ago. Like that would be like the barometer of what an average quarterback is. And what we're seeing right now, in my opinion, the average quarterback getting paid, huge sums of money, which is just kind of the nature of the business. But I would say he's not bad, he's not good, he's average, but he has the tools and the talent to be a good quarterback when you talk about Trevor Lawrence.
I wonder what coach is going to go down there. Legitimately, I wonder what coach is going to go down. Let's get one half of the hammer. Cowboys, AP Tone. Who's being linked to the Jacksonville Jaguars?
I haven't heard anybody yet. I know that the Bears are bringing the entire, if you've coached or even thought about coaching, the Bears are bringing you in. So are the Jets. I haven't heard anyone requesting interviews yet. Look.
Kellen Moore, Todd Monken, Joe Brady, Liam Conan, Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, Patrick Graham, Bob Sala. So basically all the names in the carousel are kind of getting interviewed by everybody. I think the Detroit Lions Zoom interviews for Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson are happening, I believe, this weekend, Thursday through Sunday, or something like that. And then the in-person visits isn't until after the divisional round. The NFL wanted to make sure that was the case. So good luck to all these people getting the jobs. Joining us now is a man who has a job of being on television 24/7 during the football season. He texted me from his wife's phone this morning.
Interesting.
Oh, odd.
It was very weird. But he got his phone back. This guy loves eating adversity for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He'll even create adversity for himself. He'll say, hey, how do I stir up some shit for myself? Let me grab a microphone. Let me say something. And he does that every day, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
But he'll step right back into the batter's box.
I respect it.
And that's why we love him. Ladies and gentlemen, the face of ESPN, Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah.
Dan,
what's up?
How are you, buddy? Good to see you got your phone back. I'm happy for you. An adult figured that whole thing out.
Long 24 hours. Part of it was nice, not having a phone and constantly being attached to it. And part of it was like, hey, at some point I need this thing to work. So I prefer you not to FaceTime my wife anymore, though.
Okay. Yeah, that was an interesting situation when I'm FaceTime with a number I do not have saved in my phone, by the way. I got a text from a number I do not have saved in my phone saying, this is my wife's phone. If you need anything, text this number. And I'm like, who? Who is
from what happened was, like, yesterday my phone stopped working at like
yesterday
1 or 2 o'clock. Come on. But I would randomly occasionally get like a text message would show up on my Apple Watch, this whole thing. But the Apple Watch also wouldn't work. So I saw that you had texted along with some other people, and I'm like, all right, Pat, some people I chose not to respond to just because I don't need to really get back to you right now. You were one of the people that I was like, I should probably get back to them. So
man, I feel good about that. Thank you for that. Nice. And you did have an excuse not to answer anybody. That's what I like. Whenever my phone just shits the bed, it's like, sorry, what do you want? What do you want from me? So I appreciate you getting back and finding any means necessary. Did the phone company tell you that the phone decided to quit because it was a part of so many bad takes? Is that something?
It certainly hit me with the you need a new phone thing, but I don't think they said the latter part. I think you made that one up.
I did. No.
What What take do you disagree with or don't like?
I saw what you did to Shannon Sharp about Sterling Sharp. That didn't feel pretty good.
Yeah, well
that didn't feel pretty good.
Yeah, but I didn't know Shannon was going to say that. I had gathered that information for myself to use, and I had absolutely no idea that Shannon was going to make that comment. And so right when he first started talking, I was like, oh my gosh. Because I had gotten that stat from Hembo 2 hours before. I had texted Hembo, has there ever been a Triple Crown receiver not make the playoffs? And he responded back with Sterling Sharp, 1992. So I was like, all right, great. I'm going to use that at some point today. And then when he first started talking, I was like, oh my gosh, he just opened the door for it.
Here's a moment, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially whenever you're getting dunked on all the time. It's nice to windmill one back.
Yeah.
You know? So, way to go, Dano.
Yeah.
Proud of you, Dano.
I don't feel like I get dunked on all the time, though. So,
of course not. Of course not. And we just keep the phone off. You never know. You know, like Bill Burr said something about, you know, if you don't open any apps, do you know if you're canceled? And then you just got to go about your life. When you don't have.
Did I get dunked on yesterday?
I assumed it. I mean.
No, I think yesterday you actually won the day.
Yeah, the last couple days has been elsewhere.
Yeah, you're on a little bit of a streak right now. Yeah. Yesterday, potentially today, maybe tomorrow. You know, maybe 10 days from now, maybe 2 days from now. You know, in this entire thing, we're just talking about the AFC South being in complete disarray. Rand Carthon got fired this morning from the Tennessee Titans, but they keep Callahan. Jacksonville Jack. Just learning that. Okay, sweet. Jacksonville Jaguars fired Doug Peterson. They keep Trent Baalke, but then Shahid Khan on a Zoom call says, I'll get fucking rid of this guy if I have to. If you have a better idea than me, I'll get rid of this guy. Then you talk about the Indianapolis Colts. Obviously, we're keeping Shane. We're keeping Chris Ballard. We're going to continue to do this thing. I have the utmost faith in this crew, says Jim Irsay. So, all right, let's hope they can put the pace back into the tube. How do you feel about all those situations? And if you're the Houston Texans, do you understand that now is the time? Like, we can really go on maybe even like a 5 to 10 year run here and keep going all in like Caserio has done? Or what are your thoughts on what's happening in the AFC South?
Yeah, if you're Houston, you think massive advantage. And all Houston really has to do is really try to attack the offensive line in the offseason to get them to play a little bit better. And I do think Bobby Slowick needs to just continue to evolve as a play caller. Last year, so much success. I had talked all offseason like it was a little bit of a mirage because CJ was so remarkable on third down that it kind of band-aided a lot of the other stuff, and that hasn't been the case this year. Obviously, the 2 injuries to the wide receivers, big deal. So they go into the playoffs with a little bit of like banged up when it comes to how well they're capable of playing and maybe lower expectations than they had in September, but they still have organizational alignment. You still sit there and say ownership, general manager, front office people, and their head coach are aligned, at least it seems like it, and they're still super young and talented. Indy's got question marks of Anthony. Is Anthony going to develop? Are they going to bring in something to kind of compete with Anthony? You know, Jacksonville's restarting again. Tennessee restarting. Is the new general manager going to keep Brian Callahan? Is Brian Callahan is he like mandated by ownership that he's staying there? So I think there's a lot of moving parts with all those other organizations. And if you're Houston, you're like, hey, we got to make sure that we keep the quarterback upright and clean. If we do that, we should run this division for the next 5 years.
Slowick's getting a head coaching interview, as we will assume, and continue to do so, depending upon how many more jobs open up, if any more jobs open up. Everybody's interviewing everybody, but there is a name that has been on television that we all love. Got a great set of teeth and a lot of moxie. Let's go over to New York. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Dan, obviously the Jets are in a bit of a predicament, and this season didn't go how they thought it was. And then Rex Ryan was on a radio show. Not sure if you heard it, but we do have the clip here. Fox, you can run that.
You think you're going to get this job, right? You think you're going to be the next head coach of the Jets?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely, I do. And the reason I think I'm going to get it is because I'm the best guy. And it ain't close. The thing that you have to do, you have to connect with the football team. You have to connect with your fan base. And the way they play, that's the most important thing. Not just the X's and O's and all that. Look, this Ben Johnson, I love him. I absolutely love him. But I'm a better candidate for this job than he would be.
What do you think about that, Dan? And what do you think the Jets are going to do with all the decisions they have to make in both the front office and with the head coaching staff?
Yeah, I mean, he's being genuine there. After, working every Monday for the past 3 years with him, he's being genuine. I think the one thing that I will share about Rex is I've had so many moments on TV with him where he's had to be talking about coaching. And yes, sometimes he does go into the salesman part of it in a way, because I think he's so passionate about it. But then sometimes when a coach does something or says something that he disagrees with, or maybe it's not in the best interest in his eyes of what's best for the team or the player, and you can feel how much that bothers him and how much being in that coaching role and in that locker room and with those guys, like, still is such a fabric of who he is. So I don't think that's a phony kind of, I'm just saying this to be, out or hyperbolic in the moment. Like, I honestly believe that he believes the things that he's saying. The Jets are super interesting because I do think that there are organizations in the league that have to play a certain way of football. Like, you have to play a certain style of football. And the Jets and the Giants are definitely one of those. Like, those teams that are in certain climates, they have to play a certain style. They have to have a certain identity. And the Jets kind of have lost that a little bit. I think the Giants have lost that as well. And I think that, there is an element that you have to be big and physical and tough and nasty. And it's not maybe about how great your quarterback is or how unbelievable your pass game could be, but can you win those nasty, bad weather, cold, ground and pound like Rex had in unbelievable defense games? And I don't know if they're going to hire Rex or not, but I do think that he's certainly a viable candidate. But you got to make sure that his offensive philosophy is a little bit more modern age than it was maybe 6 or 7 years ago.
I assume it would be with the modern offensive coordinators that'll be available for him to hire if he was to take the coaching job. Did him and Tannenbaum ever break bread in the green room over there at ESPN that you watched?
No, I don't think so. I don't know if they've ever been on, really, because Rex has really only been a Monday guy, and Tannenbaum I don't think has been on many Mondays. So
Tannenbaum Tuesdays.
Yeah, Tannenbaum. So I don't remember them kind of crossing paths.
Because the 33rd team is a part of this, right? Consulting in this entire thing.
Yeah.
So obviously they're the ones that have put together every name that is available.
Yep. Yes.
Yep.
For the Woody Brick Johnson family, Chris Johnson, to kind of look at and see what they need to do. Rex Ryan getting back over there would be awesome for football. I'd miss him on TV.
Yeah.
But he'd be on TV more potentially with press conferences.
Yep.
So we need to remember, and culture being built, I think that's a big part of what's happening now for the successful team.
And I agree with everything Dan said with how that team needs to be built. And I kind of referenced the Jets yesterday talking to Cole as the bad guys, because when they were good, when they were the best, that's kind of how they viewed themselves. That's kind of how they played football. I remember Rex being on Hard Knocks, and I actually visited Rex in 2009 when I came out for the draft for a top 30 visit. And we sat in there, and the one clip Rex showed me was his team getting his Baltimore Ravens defense getting a pick. I think Wes Welker, somebody on the Patriots, made a late block down the field.
Come on.
Ravens get the pick, and it was just guys just peeling caps, just crack back, bam, bam, bam. Showed the play probably about 18, 30 seconds. He's like, hey, this type of defense you're going to have to want to play for if you come here. If we take you here, now it's kind of it. It was a quick meeting, boom, in and out of there. So, Rex is that's who he is. That shit you see on TV, that's who he is. That's who he is in front of his team. And like Dan said, you do need maybe a more modern offense, but physical defense, being able to run the football, that's the type of program that Rex is going to run.
Well, Belichick said the other day, he was like, the Chicago Bears got a bunch of weapons and a quarterback, but not an offensive line. They play in Chicago. So the weather is going to affect. It was like the shots that Bill takes at people are at a level where it's this is pretty simple if we really think about it. And you made that point there about the Jets and the Giants. It's hey, weather's going to be crop. You're going to have to be able to run the rock at some point. And neither of those teams really have been able to, even with Breece Hall and
Braylon Allen.
Braylon Allen.
It was you thought this was going to be this is going to potentially be the one.
Rex remember he got to the NFC Championship with Sanchez.
Oh, did he?
Sanchez back there. I think that was the year they beat us in the division round.
Won in
the
New
Patriots were 14-2. We had
Lost
beat
in
the
Pittsburgh.
shit out of them.
I think they beat the Colts before they beat the Patriots.
Yeah.
We had a couple of years back to back there where we were running into the Jets in the playoffs. Obviously, we let them in because we lost week 15th game.
Rested.
They win. We let them in. Everybody's like, you're going to let Rex Ryan into the playoffs? And then when Rex beats you, it's going to be a full-on. And then we beat him. We go to the Super Bowl. We lose to Drew Brees. And then the next year, time management issue, Vinny hits a 50-yard field goal with a minute something left in the game to take the lead. We kick it off. Big return. I actually tackle guy on sideline around their 40 or our 50. Then Nick Folk was going to have to hit a 48-yard field goal, I think. We call a timeout. We call it timeout.
Got to practice.
It was like second down. So he takes a shot to Braylon, I think.
Yep, it was.
Down the sideline, catches it, timeout, they take. It was like, why we give them an opportunity? He kicks like a 25-yarder or a 30-yarder. They end up beating us. They go, I think, to New England.
That was the can't wait Bart Scott year.
Yeah, beat New England and can't wait.
Nosebleed.
That entire thing. But that run there, obviously everybody makes fun of Sanchez and Mark Sanchez because of the butt fumble. That's all anybody remembers. But it's like that team was very good. And on Hard Knocks, they were awesome. They were like must watch. The Jets were like must watch.
There was like DeBrickashaw Ferguson and Nick Mangold, and dude, they were like that's how they flipped that franchise. Is I think they took both those guys in the same draft, and that was really the turning point. And like that's the fascinating thing for me about the whole what are the Patriots going to do and what are the Bears going to do, because you could fall in love with. Let's have like my perspective is this. Most guys that are great for just the quarterbacks when it comes to like coaches are probably not the best for those cold weather climate organizations. Like most people that are really good play callers, I don't want to say most people, but like from my perspective is, you know, like, oh, this guy's super smart X's and O's and he's really good with, you know, getting the quarterback to play well. Well, how good is he going to be for developing the overall toughness of the football team and mindset of the football team to play a certain brand of football in these climates that's necessary? Because most quarterback people aren't tough asses. They're not. You know, they may be like highly intellectual or they see the game in a really advanced pass game concept way, but they're probably not like BAs. And so like, that's why I find
Bruce Arians?
Great coach.
Yeah, Bruce Arians. I find like the Chicago one, and people get mad at me about it, but like I find the Chicago one and New England one, because it's like we can fall in love with the, oh my gosh, we're going to do whatever's best for the quarterback. But that's not necessarily what's best for that team in that organizational like situation in that weather climate.
Just another thing to kind of echo your sentiment there. You got to be able to motivate the boys to go practice in 15-degree weather on a Wednesday, week 15, week 14.
Yeah, because you might be playing in 30-degree weather on Sunday.
Yeah, like you got to build the culture in those cold weathers a lot. No offense to anybody else, but cold weather takes a lot more motivating to get everything done on a day-to-day basis. So you got to have somebody that's culture. And you talk about all the play callers. Sean McVay's out there in L.A. Kevin O'Connell is in a dome, right, in the entirety. Matt LaFleur, I guess, would be
Ben Johnson, dome.
Ben Johnson, Doug Slowick down there in Houston. But Matt LaFleur, I guess, would be the one, right?
Andy
because
Reid.
he's over there in Green Bay. Because I'll quote Andy Reid would be another guy. But I think he's a culture builder as well. I think I think he's classic, not classic. I think he's like maybe one of one when it comes to being able to call offense and also build a culture and everything.
Like I think about it, like I don't mean to cut you off, but I think of like Lamar with Harbaugh. It wasn't just like an offensive-centric thing. Josh Allen with Sean McDermott, Dan Quinn, Jaden Daniels, obviously D'Amico and C.J. Stroud. We as much as I love X's and O's, like we have to stop thinking that the best thing is, oh my gosh, we're going to need to hire a head coach and it's got to be about the quarterback. It's certainly part of it, yes. But your quarterback will play well if everybody else on your team plays well. The likelihood of your quarterback playing well when everyone on your team is playing well is significantly higher than the team playing well just because the quarterback's playing well.
Or the team playing well and the quarterback shitting the bed. In the NFL, normally if team's playing well, quarterback is going to play well at this level. That's why there's some players, quarterbacks, that people think don't have as much talent, but they're in a good situation and they play out of their mind because the team is so good. I love that we are back to a point, though, where it's like we need football culture in these places. That's good for society, I think, as a whole. And you talk about quarterbacks. Let's talk about a couple of the young quarterbacks. Go ahead, D-Bunch.
Yeah, a couple of these young quarterbacks, I think, with very good coaches when it comes to creating a culture. Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels had two, great rookie seasons.
Sorry, Sean Payton also alongside Andy Reid is a guy who can build a culture and call players. That's on me.
Another one.
That's 100% on me.
Another one.
Sean, I apologize. That's probably fun.
Learned under Bill Parcells.
Yeah,
tough ass. So, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, good years, but now going into the playoffs, obviously, everything steps up a notch on both sides of the ball. Who do you have more confidence in going into this playoff run? Jaden Daniels over with the Commanders or Bo Nix with the Denver Broncos?
I got more confidence in Jaden. I think that, Jaden actually should, I think is going to play well against Tampa. One, I think Tampa's defense plays way too soft on the perimeter. They give up completions. Jaden's a completion-centric, completion-driven quarterback with their no-huddle offense, and he spits the ball out real quickly. So, they better play better and more take away some more air off the line of scrimmage on the perimeter of Tampa defensively because, Washington will have a lot of success in the pass game if that doesn't change. So I think they could play well. If you go back to week one of the things that stood out in that game were Jaden's legs were a massive part of that game. And I don't remember exactly who won that game. The Bucks won it, but Jaden, and the thing is, like, Bucks defensively, you're getting a totally different kid. I remember in that first game, Jaden played a little bit hesitant. He didn't necessarily trust what his eyes kind of were looking at, and didn't take some shots down the field that I thought that were there. Obviously, that is a long time ago, and he has grown a lot. But I have a lot of faith in him. I really do. I think that, again, their no-huddle offense is such a big deal to try to get defenses to play slow. I have a high level of confidence with Bo Nix. The thing with Bo that'll be interesting is, in that game specifically as well, is how does Buffalo defensively handle Cortland Sutton? Because Sutton is a problem because he's so big. He's such a mismatch guy. How do they handle their perimeter screen game? That's one of the things that probably hasn't been talked about enough in Denver is their perimeter screen game has created a lot of opportunities. And then some of the shots downfield, that's a big part of their offense and that's always been the Sean Payton thing. They want to run the football. They could put beefy people on the line of scrimmage. They're going to try to run it against Buffalo's front. There's no doubt about it. The perimeter screen game, and then he's going to drive the ball to some seams and take some shots down the field to Sutton. And, Buffalo's a really good defense. They take the ball away. That's one of the reasons why they've statistically not been awesome. They do give up yards. They don't necessarily have a dominant element of their team defensively outside of the takeaways. And Bo has valued the football really well this year. And so I think both of these young guys have the chance to play well.
Okay. Whenever you talk about the award season, because you're in AP, obviously these guys, rookies, are in the conversation for Offensive Rookie of the Year. AP Tone has a question for you, pal.
Yeah, Dan, my AP brethren, we had to turn in our first and second team All-Pros yesterday. Tomorrow we have to turn in.
When did you have to do it?
Yesterday.
Mm-hmm. You're a prick, dude.
Did you got
yesterday?
So you sent them to Acho to clear him already?
Yeah, you sent him to Acho a couple hours before.
He's a little busy right now, but
yeah.
Hey, let's not have any uncomfortable conversations, all right?
Damn!
Come on.
Dan's been
Holy shit!
Dan's been
waiting on that one.
Dead red.
Yeah,
That's 2 days in a row.
Wow! You hang him, I'll bang him. Whoa. Speaking of... Go ahead, pal.
Just kidding. But
I was talking about baseballs.
Yeah. Okay.
I was talking about
Context.
AP voting.
Yeah.
Yeah. MVP.
What's the AP stand for?
All Pro. It was yesterday. Okay. Tomorrow we have to turn in our top 5 for all the
That's
voting
not how you say that word.
Whenever you started doing that, you became a real prick.
It's all right.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know what I did.
Yesterday.
How I said
Came out the
yesterday?
womb saying that?
I don't know, dude. I don't really think hard about how I say the word yesterday.
Oh,
Boom!
Yeah, you do, because you just said it.
No, I don't. You really think that I spend brain power on how I say that word? No. I don't
Brain power is
care.
an interesting thing with you, because
Yeah.
how do you generate all that brain power to watch all the film that you have, to have all the takes that you have, and also think about how you say words yesterday? I think what Connor says is you drop that one in there. It's like when people say hammer, Dahn. That's like dropping Yinzer right into one particular word, but the rest of their life they speak regular. I think what Connor says is that you have a Massachusetts accent on one word, and then the rest of your sentence there's nothing else, right, Con?
Yeah, you went to UConn. Someone said it, and it was cool, and I get that because I use the Pittsburgh accent too. But I won't say that's not how I say flowers. I say flowers as like a Pittsburgh thing, but I don't say flyers. I say flowers.
You get it?
Yeah. No, I don't. I also have a son who has a Boston accent with the letter R. We have a son named Hunter.
He drops his
and
R's.
My son named Noah calls him Hunta, and he's not from Boston.
Well, that's
so
because
maybe
he
it's
hears
just
his
how we
dad
talk.
say yesterday all the time.
Could be.
This is what you're doing. It's another generation. Anyways, yesterday you guys had to put in a vote for the AP.
Yeah, for the All-Pro teams, and then tomorrow is our top 5. You got to send in your top 5 for the awards. I don't know how long you've been a voter, Dan. Is this the hardest year ever, especially for like MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, because it feels like there's a lot of options.
Tone's regretting it massively, having to do these votes.
No, the MVP vote, it's been super easy this year. This is my second year voting. I mean, it was hard this year. It really was. I actually tried to. I'm not allowed to say who I voted for. I tried to have a double Offensive Player of the Year, kind of vote. So we'll see how much that flies. But it was really hard for MVP. I think Offensive Player of the Year.
We're allowed to put 2 number ones for Offensive Player of the Year?
I tried to. We'll see.
What are you doing?
Cheater.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I tried to. I'm trying to celebrate these guys. I'm not trying to be like other people and tear them down. All right.
Okay, well, you got a duty, Bob.
Throw a pizza.
You got an AP vote. There's only 50. You, Acho, Tone, 47 others that we don't know.
Marty, Tom Brady,
Rob Marty, Tommy. Johnny Foxborough.
MVP was hard. Offensive Player of the Year was hard.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive Player of the Year was hard, but just because maybe there wasn't one person that was like the standout, dominant, unbelievable player. Like Hendrickson leads the league in sacks. They don't get in. Their defense was really bad. So, like, how do you evaluate all that? Myles Garrett led the league in tackles for losses. They were a bad football team. So, like, how do you evaluate all that? So, Kyle Hamilton maybe doesn't have, like, the statistics that, like, a Kirby Joseph does. But he saves Baltimore's season when he goes from the nickel back to safety, because then Marlon's playing nickel and Marlon's
Zach Bond
type of Zach Bond, probably one of the better inside linebackers, one of the best defenses. Patrick Surtain, best corner at his position on one of the best defenses. So that was tough. I thought Offensive Rookie of the Year was relatively easy. Defensive Rookie of the Year I thought was relatively easy as well.
Okay, so Tone didn't show us his final votes. But Tone did let us in on how miserable his life is right now, trying to piece these together. And I think there is a lot of regret from Tone for accepting this.
On which one?
So think about this situation that could brew, and I tossed it into Tone's life. This is not Tone's voting. This is me just pointing out how happy I am that I said I'm not doing it, and Tone will do it. Let's say you vote Josh Allen for the MVP. Then Lamar Jackson's year would be...
A lot comes with that.
Yeah, so Josh... Well, especially whenever you're white. And, we got Two America situation going on with Dan Orlovsky on, Dan, we know what you're doing. But let's just say you vote Josh Allen for MVP. Then we know what you're doing, Dano. Yesterday, the day before, that day before that, and probably the future. But whenever you vote that guy MVP, then you would think Lamar then Offensive Player of the Year. So then what does that mean? Saquon gets nothing in that entire thing?
Can of corn.
So then let's say you put Lamar in there.
And D-Bud said you're not allowed to vote for quarterback for Offensive Player of the Year.
I don't think Offensive Player of the Year should ever be a quarterback, because we know the MVP is going to a quarterback. So I think Offensive Player of the Year has got to be Saquon or Jamar Chase. And since the Bengals aren't in the playoffs, and Saquon did something very, very unique, just like the Triple Crown is, got to be Saquon. Okay, I don't have a vote, though.
Exactly. So this was the shit that was brewing around. All right, Tone's flexing and he has a vote right now. That is not what he was doing earlier.
It's okay to feel yourself a little bit, bud.
I like it. It's only 50.
No, he's not feeling himself whenever he's typing and answering and then...
I don't know.
Oh, my God. Dude, he's doing
you got to have some conviction with what you're doing, man.
Yeah, well... How can you have conviction whenever you know that it's impossible to reward one person to have the best season or most valuable
Someone actually hit me up on Twitter a couple weeks ago and said, we should have an MVP for every position. And I was like, all right. And then someone was like,
not everybody gets an award. You're a part of the problem. You're a part of the problem. And tell that person they're a part of the problem. And tell that person to stop deleting their tweets, too. Tell them not everybody gets an award, but there is numerous people that deserve an award this year. Yeah. And with the way these things normally work, you don't get the MVP, well, then you get normally Player of the Year. But it's like, so if Lamar's MVP, Josh wins nothing on this particular season because Saquon wins Offensive Player of the Year. And then if Saquon's not winning any awards, then he's going to win a Super Bowl, right? Well, Ty has a question for you, Dano.
Yeah, Dano, it came out today, actually, that Jalen Hurts is still in the concussion protocol.
Yeah.
I know you're not a neurologist or a doctor, but how concerned do you think Eagles fans should be with that? And also, if he can't go, who are they going to start? Because, McKee looked pretty good last week, maybe even better than Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, I would be pretty concerned as of right now. This is a long time without practicing. Now, I heard Saturday on Get Up talking about, because my thought was, Well, I wonder if he's not practicing, is he able to be throwing on the side and kind of working up a sweat and maybe throwing routes on air or whatnot? And I thought Jeff intimated that that's not even allowed as well. So he was saying like 16 days it's been since any type of football activity. And if that's accurate, that does give me a little bit of like, oh man, that's a really long time, for a quarterback to be off. And so I'll be interested to see what the next 48 hours are because, Wednesday's obviously the start of the week. So if he's out there tomorrow and practicing and he's cleared everything and he's full clear for practice, then I really don't have a ton of concern. But if it bleeds into tomorrow and he's not able to kind of partake in at least some parts of practice, then that gives me a high level of hesitation if I'm Philly. And let's be very clear. If you're Philly and Jalen for some reason cannot play, you 100%, if healthy, start Kenny Pickett. No offense to Tanner McKee. Kenny Pickett's played a lot of football. Yeah. You are 100% playing Kenny Pickett.
Absolutely. Let him spin it. I would like to hear how the Johns over in Philadelphia feel because if Jalen Hurts isn't playing, once again, 16 days, we hope he's okay. If this concussion continues to linger, we're all going to be sending positive thoughts and prayers for whatever's going on with his brain and how he feels and everything like because that's a big, like, how do you feel type thing with concussion. So if he doesn't feel right this far after a concussion, we hope everything's okay going forward. But we would assume that Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee might not take them to a Super Bowl. Maybe.
And Nick Foles did it.
Yeah, okay, agreed. That's Big Richard, Nick Foles. We don't know if Kenny Big Dickett's swinging around, but there is a chance. There is a chance that he is able to pull that off. Relax, Dano, please. Jeez, yesterday everything was fine. But if they don't, let's say they lose to the Packers, in the first round, which there's a chance. So this Eagles team doesn't get the all-time rushing record, chooses not to do it, has a first-round exit after having a great season. Sirianni is going to get absolutely destroyed by so many people. And it's like he doesn't have his quarterback, doesn't have this, doesn't have that. And there's a chance that this Philadelphia Eagles season that was so magical for so long, historic, record-breaking, going to be fun, there's a chance that it all ends quickly. And the Johns over there in Philly are going to be so pissed. They are going to be so... Dan, legit, I've had the opportunity to talk right here. Bingo. I've had a chance to talk to a couple of Eagles fans. They are not happy that Saquon didn't go for that record. They are not happy that the Philadelphia Eagles don't own the all-time leading rushing record. And I've tried to explain, like, well, if Saquon's going to play, that means the entire offensive line got to play. That means, like, everybody's going to have to play going forward. And they're like, who cares? Like, everybody else did it. Harbaugh's got the boys ready for one more week of toughness. MCDC was like, we're playing, man. Like, everybody decided to play, but we decided to rest because we didn't want to do it. And it's like, I understand what you're saying. If Saquon or anybody gets hurt because they're playing in a meaningless game, last game of the season, Sirianni's going to get murdered. I mean, he's going to get absolutely killed for mismanagement. So it's a tough position. But if, let's say, Saquon doesn't win Offensive Player of the Year, he doesn't get the rushing record, and now a question mark at quarterback, it's like, what if they don't win? I mean, we are Sirianni people. It would be chaos.
It would be a total failure. Yes. It would be a total failure of an unbelievable season and the season that you get nothing for. So that's how I said that last week. Like, once they decide to sit him, I get it. I get all the football. You better go win the whole thing then, because that's the only reason. That's the only way that the decision to not play is paid off. It doesn't pay yourself off if you lose in the NFC title game on a game-winning kick, and all of a sudden you're sitting there mid-February and I got nothing. I got nothing to show for it.
Yeah, and we love Sirianni, but, I mean, that's the game. And I get it. The game can be cold sometimes. Dan Orlovsky's a cold son of a bitch, too. We appreciate you, Dano. We'll be back next hour with A.J. Hawkin. Greeny?
What?
Wow. See you then. Of about 30 people moving through the back end of the business field here. And in the middle of it is this black Samoan man who has become the most famous human on earth.
Great guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Yeah. There's thousands of people skipping class to come see your big ass.
Listen, there is thousands and thousands of you skipping class. It doesn't matter if they go to class.
Moana is one of the best animated films of all time. Okay, can't wait for the live action.
Thank you, yes.
You're welcome.
We talk about Moana.
What can I say except you're welcome?
and we talk about mana.
Honestly, listen, kid, I could go on and on. I could explain every natural phenomenon. The tide, the grass, the ground. Oh, that was Maui just messing around. I couldn't let it buried its guts. Sprouted a tree, now you got coconuts. What's the lesson? What is a takeaway? Don't mess with Maui when he's on a breakaway. And the temperature here on my skin is a map of the victories I win. Look where I've been to make everything happen. Look at the me, Maui just tickety-tapping. That's it.
Still got it.
On the Samoan side, Polynesian side, we have a word called mana. Mana is spirit. Mana is power. Mana comes from in here. It's the thing that gives you goosebumps. It's that thing you feel. It's that thing when I walked out and we felt this thing. This is mana. This is mana. It's very, very, very real, and you could feel it. Wow. Little things like I don't get driven anywhere. I don't want to get driven anywhere. I don't like chauffeurs. Keeps me in my way just a little grounded. Like I could drive myself everywhere and not telling some guy, hey, take me here, take me there.
That is something I'm going to start saying like, yeah. Because when they open your door, you feel so bad. I can open my own door, dude. They're trying to be courteous. It's their job. But also, the day I stop opening my own door is the day I become a big old bitch.
Here we go.
That's a big cup.
Sorry, Mike. Here's the iconic sound. You guys know it. This special Terramana toast goes out to Passion. Congratulations on your show. Very proud of you. Very proud of all you boys. And to all of you, love you guys. Thank you for the support. Keep kicking ass. Cheers. In my world, when I sit down and we're talking about movies and all this other shit, it's never this. It's never this, back with the boys, and you. So I appreciate it, and this one's to you. Thank you, boys.
To you, pal. Cheers.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a 5-minute break here.
Oh, hold on, one more. If you smell what the rock.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. You pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this big Tuesday, January 7th, 2025. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Football is fantastic. We can't thank you enough for joining us. The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys AP Tone is here. Boys, it sounds like he doesn't want to.
No.
Yeah,
going through it. No. I just want to get it right. A
little bit of a blender over there whenever you're having to put an actual number on who's winning what. Defensive Player of the Year, I'll tell you what, there's some stats out there that are alarming for a lot of guys. There's a lot of great defenses. Offensive Player of the Year, well, who's that going to? The person that didn't win the MVP, or is it the person that's the best on offense that isn't a quarterback? There's obviously some disagreements within the Thunderdome. I couldn't imagine across the entire country. How did they ever get it right is the real question over time. But so many legacies and contract escalators and Hall of Fame nods all come down to you getting it right alongside Ocho and 48 others.
Yeah, just want to get it right, and I'm taking it very, very seriously. I don't know if everybody does. They should, though, because this is people's legacies. What?
Who doesn't?
I don't know. I do.
Arkush.
He was. That was the guy from
Pornhub Arkush.
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago.
The guy from Guess Who.
He said, I won't. He is the guy from Guess Who.
He looks like Sam from Guess Who, yeah.
Yeah. I will not vote for a guy that doesn't have a vaccine.
Bingo.
Yeah.
I believe is what was said. No.
He said, quite frankly, this guy's an asshole, and I'm not voting for him. I think that is what he said verbatim.
And in my voting, you could kill someone. If you're good,
is that
right? If you're good on the football field,
you're saying
that's all that matters.
If the NFL is allowing you to be on a football field,
bingo.
You're just looking at strictly ball.
Boom.
You're not worried about anything else.
Tape and ball.
Dude was watching tape on long snappers last week.
No big deal.
It was one of the most awesome things ever. What am I even supposed to be looking at?
He's spinning.
He's got to give a first team.
We're being
second
honest.
team.
I reached out to some experts on that one.
Yeah, smart play. First team, second team, all pro long snapper. It's like, I have no idea who that is. I think if you were to ask punters, kickers, and even long snappers in the league, they would have no idea who it is, because who snapped laces best all season for field goal? Who snapped the punts? Who covered? Who blocked? That's tough film to do. I appreciate the fact that you were diving into all of it. You are taking it very seriously.
Thank you to NFL Pro All Pro Premium Plus.
So it's NFL Pro Premium. NFL Plus Premium Pro.
There it is.
Which is a must-have. We have it now at this point. We don't even have to say it as much because we assume it's just in the football zeitgeist, as you would say. NFL Plus Premium's NFL Pro has the ability to look at film at everything and also have stats on everything and a way to organize everything. That needs to be its own. That is a phenomenal tool for everybody.
Like you can search, like if you are between two players, you can search and it just brings up every play that person is on the field, and you can filter by tackles, pressures, pass coverage, snaps, stuff like that. So it makes it very easy to watch film.
9-year NFL vet, one of the smartest humans I've ever seen on a football field. Darius J. Butler's here looking incredibly cool. D-Butch, have you been helping him or arguing with him?
We've been talking. We've been butted heads on a couple of things. We both have different opinions. Tone's been grinding tape. I'll just tell you what Dan told you. Just have conviction. Yeah. When you pick your guys, have conviction.
Yeah, stand by it.
Stand by
and be right.
Yeah.
He's been a secondary consultant on, a couple guys.
Darius or Dano?
Darius.
Have you called Dano at all?
No.
Are you guys allowed to mingle with your thoughts? These
Good
things
question.
like the gossip?
I don't know. I feel like that shouldn't be a thing.
You should make your own decision.
Too much groupthink. Killing America.
Boom.
Not just America. From what I'm learning.
The planet.
It is in a lot of places. Shout out to ESPN Bet. It exists.
Still bring it.
Really?
Yeah, it does. Still bring it. Yeah, it is.
Still bring it.
And you can bet on these awards, actually. And that is the reason why Tone can't give away any of his actual voting in who he's picking, because you can bet on it still. But we will say, I don't even know if we know who Tone is picking.
No.
Because of how many arguments there's been. I've tried to listen through right out through the wire when he's talking about who he's like, who's he putting over a little bit more than maybe somebody else. But then somebody I'd never heard of dropped into the conversation
Bruce
this morning.
tried to fight me this morning.
Who?
Bruce tried to fight me this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really did.
this guy.
Bruce was not happy. He kept stomping around, did the entire thing. Hair looks phenomenal on Bruce.
Does.
Bruce is
I was
2025
not-
great bucket guy.
We were not fighting. I just happened to disagree a little bit.
That's not true. He hates Zach Bond.
I don't hate Zach Bond. But
And D-Botch loves Zach.
But you
Zach
might as
Bond.
well put the top 5 linebackers in the league on a wheel, spin it, and give them Defense Player of the Year if you're giving it to Zach Bond.
Well
said.
Whoa.
Okay.
See,
That's
the Giants.
I told you.
Giants fan.
Yeah, but that was so Zach Bond. I didn't even know he was in the conversation. And if I'm Zach Bond, I'm pissed that nobody's been talking about me all year. That I'm now in the Defensive Player of the Year
Been
conversation.
Media. It's the media.
You're a part of it. You haven't said this guy's name one time.
I've talked about Zach Bond, but you know what? We always talk about draft status, notoriety. Like that shit follows you. It matters. If Zach Bond was a first-round pick, he would be a minus 900 right now to win the Defensive Player of the Year. What he's been able to do, rushing the passer, disrupting shit behind the line of scrimmage in the pass game. He came into the league as a pass rusher, moved to off ball. Howie Roseman, another unbelievable signing to get on that Vic Fangio defense. But he's been a dog. He, I think, has been the best defensive player in the league this year.
So he said that over there, and then Bruce with his hair just popped up. What are we talking about? What are we even talking about? And then Tone was like, I was looking at the numbers, and then he starts making a case, and it's like, I don't know how you make the right one. You're never going to get it right, but good luck out there.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you. Joining us now is a man who does not have an AP vote, but he does have a lot to say, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He does.
Every time he opens his mouth, the world moves. You're talking about a needle mover. Ladies and gentlemen, college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup winner, a man who's in WWE 2K
24.
24.
Saw a sign for WWE 2K25.
That's what got me.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if that was breaking news or
if people were acting like it was breaking.
Yeah, there's a big pop because, he walks in there and he says January 27th, I think. And then he walks in there and then 2K25 is on the door. Everybody pops. I'm like, I don't know if that's breaking news or not. What's going on? So I just kept my mouth shut. I just kept my mouth. I don't need to be messing this entire thing up. Didn't hear Cole say anything either, but Cole is recorded 10,000 hours for these WWE 2K games, so he didn't say anything either. I was like, I'll keep my mouth shut. Joining us now, WWE 2K24 player, AJ Hawk.
Yeah.
Hawker, we are now in award season and AP voting season, and I want to let you know it got a little contentious over here this morning. I did not expect it. AJ, it got a bit contentious over here, pal.
What, Bruce just doesn't he doesn't value the off-ball linebacker, does he? That's what it sounds like.
It's not just Bruce, brother. It's not just like the defensive player of the year. It's if you give the MVP to Lamar or Josh, then you go down to offensive player of the year, so that means the other guy's sitting there. And then you got Saquon that had almost historic, definitely still broke a lot of records, but almost like anomaly season. It's like, so how do you? I
like what D-Butt says. I think D-Butt's great. Offensive player of the year should be a non-quarterback. That should be a non-quarterback award, I believe. You might as well, because we know MVP should and always probably will be a quarterback award. We know that.
So we should just have the best quarterback award, and then we should have offensive player of the year award, and then we should just move along as that is the rules. Because Lamar and Josh, one of them is going to win an MVP, one of them is going to win nothing then with these rules. Like, they get nothing for the year that they've had.
Yeah.
But like Hall of Fame, if you think about it, it's like if you give Josh MVP and then Lamar gets like a first-team All-Pro, at the end of the career, it's like, well, Lamar had another first-team All-Pro.
This is like in college whenever one person wins the quarterback award.
Sure.
Davey O'Brien.
And then one person wins the Heisman. It's kind of like you kind of split those things.
Yep.
But in this particular case, there is a chance that Saquon Barkley walks out of the season with nothing. Okay? Yeah. There is. He'll be first-team All-Pro running back, which is obviously a big deal. Congratulations to him. He has certainly earned that. But there is a world where no rushing title, no playoff wins, no nothing. Now, they're saying over there that you can't clear concussion protocol until practice. I saw somebody say that on the internet. Okay.
News to me.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but if that's the case, hopefully Jalen's okay because that is a wild 16 days now. He still hasn't been, but now they're saying it's not coming until tomorrow because that's when he first practiced. I hope that's the case, but for Philadelphia, those fans, they've got to be in the middle of it right now. Just absolutely in the middle of it all, AJ.
Well, I guess I would definitely worry if I'd like to know which, and they don't have to tell us anything, what stage of the protocol is he in? We know there's different stages. Like, okay, he's allowed to get up and do a little workout in the weight room and see if he gets a headache, and then you move on from there and you continue to progress to on the field stuff. So I just want to know where he's at in the protocol.
Yeah, we hope he's okay. Obviously, with the year that they've been having, that would be a heartbreaker for obviously Jalen Hurts, but for everybody over there in Philadelphia. And what an insane couple seasons, end of seasons for the Philadelphia Eagles the last couple years as a very successful program. Joining us right now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who's in multiple Hall of Fames for broadcasting. He is one of the loudest New York Jets fans. Excited to get his take on everything. Haven't talked to him in a while. It's always great to see him. Ladies and gentlemen, host of Get Up and hashtag Greeny, Mike Greenberg.
Hey, Greeny.
How are you, Greeny?
Guys, well, I'm very busy preparing for my interview to be the general manager of the Jets. I can't tell you how much time and energy I'm putting into this. It's not something I have a great deal of experience with, but I'm very flattered to be given the opportunity. So I'm cramming like crazy. Any advice you have will be very much welcome.
Okay, so we all thought Mike Greenberg was the salary cap gymnast from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers getting the interview for the general manager job, not Greeny, but from what it sounds like, you were the guy. A lot of people have gone from TV right into either front office or head coaching. I think you'd be the right guy over there, Greeny, because remember, Brick Johnson heard you say it. You would cut off your dong for this Jets team to be good. Yeah. They need that type of passion in that building, Greeny. That's what they need.
Let me give you an example of just how incredibly stupid people are. The number of people who believe this is me is overwhelming. Yeah. I'm not just talking about random people responding to Shefty's tweet. I'm talking about friends of mine, people in my life, sending me notes saying things like, "Is this real?" And I don't even know how to respond to those people. What they're doing is they're demonstrating to me, they're letting their guard down, and I realize, oh, you're actually a complete idiot. I don't have any. So I feel like I'm going to lose friends over this thing, lest there be any confusion.
Yeah.
I am not being considered for the general manager's job of the New York Jets.
Put it on the SeatGeek ticker. Put it on the SeatGeek ticker. That is breaking news. Greeny will not be the general manager of the Jets, although I assume a lot of Jets fans wish that was the case. Let's talk about the Jets situation and then the current state of all these NFL positions before we look ahead to Super Wildcard Weekend, which is going to be awesome. You guys have general manager up and head coach up. And obviously the 33rd team, which you know very well because Tannenbaum, who founded it, is on your program on a very regular basis. They're consulting. It feels like they just put a list together of every human that's available to be the head coach. And now we're hearing Rex Ryan talk, and Rex is like, hey, I'm the best guy for the job. How do you think it's going to pan out? What would you like to see? And do they get coach before GM or GM before coach? How do you think it kind of goes going forward?
Okay, so let's start with Rex. So he is interviewing right now, or at least his interview was this morning. And I have no idea how it has gone, and I will not ask him. You know, there's a line, as you know, with friends. And it's interesting to me. I don't know how you do this because you have so many relationships with people that we cover, and I have none. I have made a point of trying to have none or next to none because it puts me in this impossible position. Rex, and you know him, Pat, from the years that you were with us on Mondays.
Love him.
For all of his bluster and all of his craziness, he has the biggest heart of any human being you will ever meet. He's genuinely the nicest person in the world. So I am hopelessly biased in hoping that he gets this job because he wants it so badly. And when you care about someone as much as I care about that guy after all these years we've been working together, I want to see him get it because he wants it so badly. I also don't think it's insane. The reality of it is this. There are three things that will go down, that will decide how this goes. One is, are you a leader of men? Rex is definitely that. Two, can you coach one side of the ball or the other? Rex definitely has that. He is, if not the greatest, then among the greatest defensive coaches in recent NFL memory. I think if he gets the right offensive coach in place, I don't know who this person is. Maybe you guys have a better idea than I do. But whoever the next Kevin O'Connell is, whoever the next Ben Johnson is, whoever that person waiting for that opportunity is, if Rex gets that guy, then I see no reason in the world why it can't succeed. I can tell you it would be very popular. I walk the streets of this city every single day. And I can't tell you how many people yell at me, Greeny, is Rex going to get this job? We need to bring Rex back. Jet fans love him. So I think he would walk in with a lot of goodwill for whatever that is worth. So that's the first answer to your question. I'm hopelessly biased. I would love to see Rex get it because he wants it so badly. As far as the GM and coach thing, the Jets are one of the NFL teams, and they're not the only one, that do not tie them together, which is to say the coach answers directly to the owner and the general manager answers directly to the owner. I don't like that. I've never liked it. I've never thought it was a good way to do business.
I think it's crap. I think it's shite. I think it's stupid. They should be on the same page, personally. That's basically what you just said there. Yeah, it makes sense.
That's what I think. Yeah. I think those two people have to work like this. You have to have a general. Otherwise, what you wind up with is agendas. Okay, and look, life is all agendas, right? Everyone has an agenda. Everyone wants success, and they want to receive the credit and the good things that come from the success. If the coach and the general manager are not aligned, if they are not in complete lockstep, then what you are doing is opening the door for each of them to have separate agendas. And the moment things start to go sideways, they're each going to point the finger at the other one. I think that you need the two of them to be completely joined at the hip. So the Jets have an opportunity to do that because both jobs are open at the same time. Frequently, they've not done that. When they fired Mike Tannenbaum, they kept Rex. They hired John Idzik. Then they fired Rex. He hired a different coach. We've seen this cycle with NFL teams all the time, and it sucks. It almost never works. So they have a great opportunity now. So I think you either choose the general manager that you believe in more than anyone else in the world and let that guy pick the coach, or you hire the coach that you believe in more than anyone else in the world, and you say to him, okay, who do you want to be your general manager? Who do you want to work with? But I want those two people joined together.
Yeah, and there's been coaches that have more power than a GM. The GM's been working for the coach, and if you hired Rex Ryan, I think that'd be a smart decision to be like, hey, Rex, who do you want to pseudo work for you here as a general manager on the back end, handling the salary cap, handling it all? Maybe it is Mike Greenberg, because he's been able to do all of those things. Not this Mike Greenberg, but actually Mike Greenberg down there in Tampa Bay, because he's been ahead of all of this shit that everybody else is doing. You got Rex Ryan, let him pick. These are the type of guys I want. This is who I want. This is how we want to do. You figure it out on the back end. That could be a match made in heaven. Who knows what Woody Johnson will do going forward. And what you just referenced there about hiring a coach and then firing a GM and then bringing a GM, firing coach. Tennessee Titans are kind of in the middle of that right now down the AFC South. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Greeny, how do you feel about the AFC South? Pat just mentioned it. The Titans are looking for a GM. Jags are looking for a coach and possibly a GM, pending if Shad Khan gets a word from the new head coach that Balky's an idiot and then he'll make a change, is what he said. And then obviously the Colts kept both their guys. But what do you think about the entire division as a whole, and who do you think is kind of set up best for success between the Colts, Titans, and Jags, especially with the draft coming up for all three of those teams?
Probably, look, the only way to answer that question is with another question. Have we decided Trevor Lawrence just isn't going to be the guy that we thought he was going to be? I'm old enough to remember when Trevor Lawrence was the best prospect to come out of college in generations. He would have been the first pick in 3 different drafts. So if he, and there's a question I've been trying to get to on Get Up each of the last 2 days, and we haven't gotten it in because other stuff got hot, but we will get it in. If you were, and so maybe I can answer your question this way.
Get it in.
If you were a coach and you had the choice between coaching Trevor Lawrence, Caleb Williams, and Drake May, all 3 of whom have openings, which one would you choose? If you're a coach, the quarterback is the most important. In this day and age, when guys get fired after 2 bad seasons, you got to have a quarterback who's ready to go right now. Which guy would you choose? If the answer is not Trevor Lawrence, then the Jacksonville job is the worst of them, because you're locked into paying him $1 trillion. If he's not actually that good, that's not a great opportunity. I don't like where the Titans sit at all, because I do the podcast with Mel and Field every week. And I think I don't believe that either Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward are a lock. And look, either one of them might wind up being terrific, but I don't. If they were in any of the most recent drafts, they would not have been the first or second quarterback taken. So I don't think that's a slam dunk at the top of that draft.
Interesting.
The Colts, I don't know. I keep reading on Twitter from some guy named McAfee that they're just a freaking mess. They seem to have everything in the world going wrong. So I'll say the Texans by default, but they've been a disappointment. Like I felt like they were ready. They were a very sexy pick to go to the Super Bowl, and now all of a sudden I got people. They're an underdog at home to the Chargers this weekend. So I guess I would say the Texans, but it would be by default. That's the worst division in the sport.
Whoa. Great fans. Not all sports. Everybody needs to relax. I'm sure there's some stupid MLB division, South Side something.
The NL Central.
There it is.
Shite.
There it is. North Central.
When the Buccos are in.
Not
the Paul Skeens.
No, the Red.
It is not Paul. It is not the worst division in all of sports. It's not. There's some MLS crap that is somewhere.
The Atlantic Division in the MLS.
No, they're just East and West, brother.
Well, the Atlanta United and the Portland Timbers are holding up both sides of that entire thing. So somewhere over in England, which one is the up the Clarets in?
The
championship.
That's the worst one in all of sports.
That's G League, though. It doesn't count either.
Jeez.
F1's the worst division of all.
Yeah, what's their divisions? Red Bull, Mercedes?
No, F1.
Fun versus slow.
It's the fucking top.
Shite
suck. 1.
Shite 2. Shite 3.
Respect.
Okay, so anyways, the AFC South might be the worst division in all of sports. And I want to let you know, I'm a believer in this Colts team for next year.
Sure.
Okay, we're bringing all the same guys back.
Breaking. They're breaking.
Yeah, put it on the ticker. I believe in it. Wait till you see what.
Everyone but Gus. He's the fall guy.
Oh yeah, Gus is out.
I'm pumped to see what happens down there. But you talked about Trevor Lawrence, Caleb Williams, or Drake May. And the reason why I was laughing while you're giving the answer is because I was being accosted by a New England Patriots fan over here saying, you better say Drake May right now. You better stop Greeny right there. That is not a question. Trevor Lawrence, very expensive. Caleb Williams, with everything going on in Chicago, is he going to be a guy? I think he is. But there's going to be a lot that's going to have to get sorted there. Drake May was able to do a lot with a very poor surrounding around him. And he's taller than Josh Allen, it looked like, in the photos.
He's big son of a bitch.
And everything with
A lot
that.
of injuries, though.
And they got a huge salary cap. They got a lot of cap space going into next year.
They have $130 million in cap space. They have the fourth pick in the draft, and they have their quarterback of the future in place. And I would agree the answer to the question is Drake May. I still think under the right circumstances, Caleb Williams, I think in a vacuum, Caleb Williams is more gifted than Drake May, but football isn't played in a vacuum. I was incredibly impressed with what I saw from May this year. I think if I were a coach and I could choose any situation that is currently available in the NFL right now, the one I would choose is New England.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people assuming that, which is why everybody he's dabbed over there. I mean, it's wonderful that you just did that. Shouts to Cam Newton, by the way. I appreciate and respect. You said gifted. Drake May is this tall.
Yeah, he's huge.
Drake May is
fast.
He is. I mean, now Caleb obviously can move, and his ability to make plays on the run and everything like that is certainly phenomenal. But Drake May led UNC in rushing and obviously passing, and he is 6'13". He is so big. It is unbelievable. So going forward, I can't wait to watch all of them. This rookie class, Bo, Jaden, Drake. You talk about Caleb, whether he's going to be able to get going. What is Penix going to do down in Atlanta with another year? Because they're just getting rid of Kirk, it sounds like. That saved them $10 million. He's going to be back out there. I think Schefter said there's going to be 7 quarterback-needy teams this offseason coming up. You know, obviously you put those ones into the conversation there. Kirk's going to be available. Sam Darnold's going to be available. Aaron Rodgers might be available. What are your thoughts on all of that? Greeny, are we going to see another class of quarterbacks hit their second wind with another team this upcoming offseason and season?
Look, I think if there's something that we've learned, it is that giving up on a quarterback too soon is a big mistake. Look at Bryce Young. Look at the finish that the Panthers had. The Panthers had a very good second half of the season. They had great losses to go along with some nice wins, and Bryce Young now looks like he's going to be the player they hoped he was going to be. Look at Baker Mayfield. Look at Sam Darnold. It's all about the situations these guys wind up in. I'm fascinated by the Aaron thing, and obviously you guys know him way better than I do. I watched Enigma. I assume you guys saw it. And he remains, without any close competition, the most interesting person in sports. I mean, that was the most fascinating, freaky, wild ride I've ever seen in a sports documentary in my entire life. Episode 2 it blew my mind as one who had heard the word ayahuasca, but would have to admit I really didn't know details of what it actually was. To see people doing it was quite the experience. But here's what I took away from Enigma more than anything. This is not the way Aaron envisioned himself going out. No way in hell. That piece, that 3-piece documentary was designed to be the coda to walking off like John Elway did. And he even mentions it in one of the episodes, Elway walking off with a championship. You guys know him 100 times better than I do, so I guess I would put this in the form of a question. AJ, particularly you. I believe that once he's had 2-3 weeks, whatever it is, to do whatever he does to unwind and relax, I believe he's going to decide he wants to play again. I don't know that the Jets is the best situation for him, and I don't know that he's the best situation for them. That's a different question. But I think Rodgers will play again, and I think when you talk about quarterback-needy teams, we were actually playing a game at dinner last night, which is the right spot for Rodgers to wind up. And the place that we came up with was San Francisco. I think San Francisco is a really interesting one. It's where it all started for him. He knows the offense. They have to make a really interesting decision there. Are they going to pay Brock Purdy $55 million a year going forward? Yeah. That just feels like one of the options. But I personally will be shocked, and I don't know if you guys agree, will be shocked if Rodgers doesn't decide he wants to play another year.
We'll be talking to Aaron Rodgers tomorrow. He's currently en route to wherever he is relaxing and spending the next couple weeks to clear.
Is it Costa Rica by any chance?
No, I don't know if it's Costa Rica or the jungle, and I don't think it's a darkness retreat either. He says he's done with that.
Yeah, that's right.
Feels like he is happy he never has to do that again. Every time he talks about it, it's like, we're okay not doing that one.
Wasn't that fun?
Do you remember he won we were a part of that whole thing.
Four days, and can't even see the toilet. Yeah.
And then he comes out, a lot of missed texts from who? The Packers. We're done. Holy shit. Then that starts the entire Jets situation, which had so much hope. And you talk about him wanting to go out like Elway. It's like, I think everybody had dreams of what the Jets could be whenever Aaron goes over there, especially you watch them whenever they're playing good here like this last weekend or maybe a couple weeks ago whenever everything's kind of hitting. It's like that's what we were all kind of hoping for and dreaming of. I agree with what your statement is, that I don't think it's done for Aaron Rodgers. We'll talk to him tomorrow. You said San Francisco. There's some Steelers fans that say that. Then there's maybe the Brett Favre route. AJ has a question for you.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron, who knows where Aaron's going to go? I am very curious as to what his decision may be. I have no idea either way. I haven't directly asked him. But, Greeny, when you kind of shook your head when Pat mentioned Sam Darnold going somewhere else, what do you think the Vikings are going to do, especially if, let's say, Sam takes him on a deep playoff run? They're going to try to franchise him. They're going to keep him. Like, what happens with the Minnesota Vikings next year at the quarterback position?
I think it's a very risky roll of the dice to let him get out of the building right now. They have the situation in their control. You know, it's such a week-to-week league. A week ago that, you know, his teammates are carrying him on their shoulders and the entire world loves him. And a week later, he has a very bad night in the red zone against a Detroit defense and in a wild environment, and suddenly people act like there were questions. I liked the idea of trading J.J. McCarthy. I think Darnold has proved that in this offense, he is more than good enough. J.J. McCarthy, if he were in this year's draft, would be the number 1 pick. So if you are a team that has a top 10 pick and needs a quarterback, why wouldn't you trade that to Minnesota? So Minnesota can keep Darnold. They can franchise him if they don't feel 100% certain about him forever. Or they can try and make a deal with him. Maybe he takes a slightly team-friendly one because he recognizes that this has revitalized his entire career. And the Vikings can add a top 10 pick in the draft by trading McCarthy. I think that would make a lot of sense. Just look on this list of teams here that are going to need quarterbacks. There are only 2 that are going to be drafted in the first half of the first round, Shador Sanders and Cam Ward. There are far more teams than that are going to be looking for quarterbacks. So why wouldn't those teams give up one of those high picks for J.J. McCarthy, who, again, would be the highest rated quarterback if he were in this year's class? So that's, if I were in their shoes, barring something terrible happening in L.A. this Monday night, I think, AJ, that's the direction I'd be looking to go.
Okay, so J.J. McCarthy traded out of Minnesota to another quarterback needy team. Kirk Cousins is going to be on the market. Aaron Rodgers is going to be on the market. Cam Ward is going to be one of the guys that one of these teams is going to take. Shador Sanders is going to don't want to go because there's still some spots open. There's going to be some massive deals coming to quarterbacks this offseason. The ones that are going to blow our mind. And I don't want to go back to Trevor Lawrence, but remember, they're paying him, $50 million a year?
Oh, yeah.
55 million a year. And obviously we see Sean Payton dance around the salary cap, dead hit and everything like that with getting rid of Russell Wilson, but that's not easy everywhere. So whoever goes in there to Jacksonville is going to have to figure out with Trevor, but there's going to be teams that are going to open up a big vault. Like if Sam Darnold was to get out there, I mean, that $55 million is probably what a team would be willing to pay after what he has showcased. But will he do what you alluded to, which is understand that Kevin O'Connell, Justin Jefferson, Addison, TJ Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, his offensive line, the defense we have, even though Buffalo might be gone after the season with a head coaching job, it's like that's a wagon over there in Minnesota. I don't like how the Vikings fans have just completely assumed they're dead now because they lose to the Lions last week. They were going for the number 1 seed in the NFC. They lose to the Lions in devastating fashion. And the Vikings fans that I know are like, it's over. It's like,
history.
They've been snake bit a lot.
Yeah. They know.
Come on, you're in the dance.
New year.
You're in the dance. Let's talk.
And they're a road favorite on Monday night. They're favored to win. I think that their draw is not that bad. I agree. I like the Vikings in that game Monday night in L.A. That'll be a Vikings home game as far as fans. I mean, everything outside of the actual location of the game. I like them to win that, and then we'll see what winds up happening. They may wind up right back in Detroit again, or crazy things could happen. This Jalen Hurts thing bears keeping a very close eye on. We are living in a world where it is not a certainty that Jalen Hurts is going to be able to play for the Eagles this weekend against Green Bay, and if he is not, then I don't know that they definitely win that game. So I think the NFC, look, the NFC, it's just the first time in a long, the AFC, I see three teams. I would bet you anything anyone wanted to bet, and I'm obviously not
cut your dong off
going out on a limb here, that one of three teams will wind up in the Super Bowl from the AFC, Kansas City, Buffalo, or Baltimore. From the NFC, I really don't think you can say that. I wouldn't be stunned if practically any of them got there. I guess I would be surprised if Tampa got there.
Man.
But I wouldn't be that shocked if any of the NFC teams wound up in the Super Bowl.
And everybody in Detroit is saying, are you fucking watching games? That's what everybody in Detroit would say?
Yeah, Greeny, on Sunday night, the defense playing that well didn't change your mind at all about the Detroit Lions, because we know the offense is going to score points. I think the defense looks so good. I think a lot of Lions fans are saying we can win the Super Bowl now, whereas a couple of weeks ago we were not saying that.
Hembo stat, too, that I got.
They would be my favorite. I mean, if you asked me to pick right now, I would pick Detroit. But if you told me Philadelphia was going to go in there and beat them in a tough game, I would believe it. If you told me Minnesota was going to go in there again and play much better and beat them, I would believe it. If you told me Green Bay wound up there again and beat them, I would believe it. If you told me the Rams were going to go in there with Stafford and find a way to win that game, I would believe it. Would I pick it? No. But I wouldn't be nearly as shocked, let's put it that way, as I would be if the Steelers went into Kansas City and beat them.
Agreed. Hey, listen, I understand what you're saying. The Detroit Lions are a wagon, though, and I think it's abnormal for a lot of people to understand that at this point. All of us are kind of in a whirlwind for what the Detroit Lions are. I think Anzalone coming back is a massive ordeal.
100%. It changed everything.
And I got a Hembo stat about Aaron Glenn. He brought 6+ people 16 times this past Sunday night. That's the most by any team all season. And it's like, in the biggest game, Aaron Glenn emptied the clip. And I like that. I like their mindset is. Let's go back over to the AFC side there. There's a couple quarterbacks that are obviously in massive conversation. Go ahead, D-Butch.
Yeah, you talked about those top three teams, Green, obviously with the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens. Now, Patrick Mahomes, he is who he is, cemented legacy. But Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, great seasons. Either one of them could be the MVP. Who has more pressure on him to win the Super Bowl this year? Going to the dance.
Come on, Grady.
It's kind of like a Get Up question. Shout out to Get Up, too. Biggest December ever. I saw the tweet.
Congratulations.
So pressure comes in a lot of different forms. Patrick Mahomes could do something that no one, even Tom Brady, ever did in the Super Bowl era. Bart Starr did it, and some others did it in an era of football that we generally don't count anymore. Patrick Mahomes can win a three-peat and can probably begin the conversation immediately. February 10th, we can start having the conversation, is he the greatest quarterback of all time if he wins? That is a level of pressure. But there's no downside in him not winning it this year. He's not going to win it every year of his career. Brady played 20-something years and won 7 of them. So in that regard, I think there is less pressure on Mahomes than either of the other two. Lamar Jackson is missing one thing, and we all know what it is, from being placed into historical perspective. Lamar Jackson, with 2 MVPs at his age, with the numbers that he has put up, the winning percentage that he has, and the style that he has played it in, I think is a Super Bowl championship away from being in the conversations with the great quarterbacks of all time. Not at the top or even particularly near it yet, but he starts being placed in historical perspective. So that's an enormous level of pressure. If he doesn't, then the narrative that he can't win the big one will continue. It stayed with Peyton Manning until he finally won the big one, and I think it stays with Lamar. I actually brought that up to Jeff Saturday on Get Up this morning because I think there are real similarities there. Manning was so dominant in regular seasons and then wasn't able to win playoff games. I was at the game that they lost to the Jets 41-0 in the playoffs that Manning had never gotten out of the first round. And I was hosting a show then, Mike and Mike, in which the topic was Peyton Manning can't win the big one. That's where Lamar is until he wins the big one. That's going to be the conversation. Josh Allen, I think because he has accomplished a little less in the regular season than Lamar, you would place him a half a step below that. but he also is playing to be recognized at the very top of all of this. So I guess if you made me pick one, I would say the one under the most pressure is Lamar Jackson. But in their own ways, I think all three of them have an enormous amount at stake, in particular Mahomes, who I think has the most to gain.
Yeah, there's certainly pressure as an NFL quarterback, but whenever you're talking about historic perspective, it takes it to another level. All eyes will be on them. Do you have an AP vote?
I don't have a vote for anything. I actually still vote in the NBA. They gave me a vote when I was hosting the NBA show, and so I continue to vote in the NBA. I do not have any votes. I believe Allen is going to win. I assume you're going to ask me who I think is going to win MVP. I think Allen is going to win in large part because it's a narrative award. It just feels like it's his turn. I was covering the NBA. Michael Jordan should have won the MVP. See, MVP is a flawed way to judge a player's greatness. When you look back on it, because look how many MVPs LeBron James has. Look how many MVPs Michael Jordan has. You tell me how many times they were actually the best player in the league. Are you kidding? So this thing is a narrative. It sort of becomes someone's turn. I feel like it's Allen's turn because this was a year Buffalo was supposed to dip and they haven't, because he's been so ridiculously good for so long and hasn't won it, because Lamar won it just a year ago. Even though Lamar's numbers, everything about his performance has been better than it was a year ago. I think it's Allen's turn, and thus I think he will win it. And that, I think, is one of the flaws with the MVP award. In all sports, there's a lot of narrative attached to it, which is fine, but it means that when we look back on a player's career, counting up their MVPs is not a great way to judge how great they were.
Well, that's legitimately how it is judged, though. Whenever people start talking Hall of Fames, and I don't know the NBA as well as I know the NFL, but as soon as they start putting resumes up for guys that are finalists for the Hall of Fame, it's like, here's how many MVPs, here's how many Defense Player of the Years, how many championships. I think those obviously matter a lot more, but the MVPs are held in the same regard almost as championships. And what did Acho tell us to remember whenever we're talking about this entire thing?
Was it be consistent?
No, he was saying we're having two different conversations. People are having two different conversations. It's valuable or it's best. It's not the same thing. Make sure everybody's having the same discussion.
I think somewhere in there he also said just be consistent.
All right, we're in the facility now, obviously. Shout out Greeny for joining us. Let's go to a man who does have an AP vote and is never going to get it right and is a part of the problem, if you will. Go ahead, Dahn.
100% true. But Greeny, watching Get Up this morning, what a wonderful program you guys have, and learned about this video from Get Up this morning. It was Jerry Jones talking about Mike McCarthy and his contract and interviewing. I'll let Jerry talk because, we can't talk for Jerry.
Jerry, is there a reality where Mike is back with a different offensive play call?
Well, anything is possible. And because of contract status.
The guy behind him.
Most of the fans that I have, most of the fans want everybody to be on the incentive plan. Everybody wants it to be on the incentive plan. And so the more you can have the incentive plan, to me, the better you've got the way sports is aligned with sports and a goal of having accomplishment, and you align that with the financial end of it. For instance, I might say, look, I'm going to pay you this much, but then I'll pay you not any more, and I know you want twice that.
Okay.
But if you get to the playoffs or you win a Super Bowl, I'll give you 5 times that.
Oh, you play 75%.
The guy across the street might
Fans are wrapping their arms around it from behind him.
Exactly, and then you've got a decision. For sure.
I'm a Kleenex.
How can you know that if he's not allowed to talk to you until January 14th?
He's a great actor,
I would say, go talk.
He told Mike McCarthy here to go talk.
I really would. Go talk.
So it sounds like you
I
will
just
allow
let
him to
Zeke
talk.
do that.
Gotcha.
Just sign the Chargers.
I don't want anybody here. That's not healthy to have somebody around that wants to be someplace else. Really, it's not. And there's too many ways for everybody to go to be around where you don't want to be.
Of course.
So Greeny, so when Jerry's saying, it's not good to have guys around who want to, does he know that he hasn't given Mike McCarthy an extension or a contract, and he does have to give him permission to go talk, or is he just going to hold him in limbo forever?
Look, it's so hard to have this conversation because I don't want things to sound disrespectful. I think all of us know less about football for having listened to those 45 seconds. There's literally nothing that he just said that made any sense at all. There are so many things the fans would like, but it's just not the way the sport has ever been. Yes, there are incentives, and oh, by the way, the Cowboys actually just made sure that their backup quarterback, Cooper Rush,
I did not know that. They told me that before the game. I was training. Everybody's calling me
$250,000 incentive. So none of the things he just said, and I hate this to sound as disrespectful as it does. Literally none of it made sense. Okay, there's not one thing he just said that made sense. So it's very hard to react to any part of it. Here's what I will say. If you want to suggest that what he's doing that there's a plan involved in what he's doing, then the way it would make sense, and I don't think that this is what's actually happening, but here's how it would make sense, is if you're trying to have your cake and eat it too, which is to say you have someone in mind that you want to see if you can get them. And if you can't get them, you want to bring Mike McCarthy back. And you can't bring back McCarthy until you don't want to officially bring back McCarthy until you find that out. So let him go. Count on the fact that if he goes and interviews in Chicago or New Orleans or whatever it is, that if you tell him you want him back, that he will come back, that he'll want to stay where he's been, and he won't want to leave the Dallas Cowboys because of all of the things that come with being the Dallas Cowboys. And so if there's someone in mind, and I don't know who that would be, but that could be anyone from Ben Johnson to Deion Sanders to, once upon a time I thought it would have been Bill Belichick, but that obviously ship has sailed, or whoever it might be, Steve Sarkisian, anyone who it is you have it in your mind. If I could get that guy, I will hire him and not bring back McCarthy. That's the way this would make sense. Now, the timing of it probably has no chance of working. And again, I'm probably giving them much, much, much too much credit for having an actual plan when there's been no evidence at any point in the last year that they've had one. But that would be the only way in the world that the way they're handling this would make sense to me.
And I think I read a quote, and once again, it's on the internet, so who knows if it's real. Somebody asked Jerry if he's ever going to go hands off and pass the team on, and he said, I didn't buy the Cowboys as an investment. I bought it as something to do. Like, this is my job for the rest of my life. Like, he's going to be in there until the wheels fall off, and people are wondering if that has happened, especially with how the team has gone. And Big Mike McCarthy in this coaching cycle could be a hot commodity because he's a culture builder, right, AJ? I never played for him, but he is a guy that I think we're spinning back into, hey, we need somebody that's able to get toughness in here, get everybody rowing in the right direction. You played for him, won a championship with him. He referenced that championship in a press conference not too long ago. He would be a good guy in this particular market, don't you think, Age?
Yeah, I think he is absolute hot commodity, especially like you said, how I feel like the league is kind of, I don't know, in flux to where we're looking at these guys that are culture builders. They are like, hey, this guy's the boss. He knows how to set things and get us in the right place, moving in the right direction. So I think Big Mike, it looks good. He's also an offensive guy. He was a great play caller for a long time, has been. He could call the plays. He could bring somebody else in. But Greeny, that made me think about that Dallas Cowboys job. If they move on from Mike McCarthy, some of these guys we hear are going to have many options, different head coaching positions available to them. Is the Dallas Cowboys job, is that as a coveted job as it was before, especially if you know Jerry Jones is going to be over your shoulder no matter what's happening? Like that you guy have to defer to him pretty much. Yeah.
Like that guy with that phone. And if you could clear up, you're a journalist, you know this better than me. Is Jerry Jones doing post pressers from like 1980s? When did they do everybody's microphone just shoved in mouth and around shoulder? But I'll let you finish. I apologize.
Well, because because the owner doesn't have a press conference after every game. There isn't a podium set up for him. He just walks down there and stands outside the locker room, and everyone comes in what they call a scrum. That's exactly what it is. So it's the most disorganized, ridiculous-looking thing in the world. The answer to your question, AJ, is in a vacuum, that's a terrible job. If you took the star off the helmets, it would be a bad job. It's not a great roster. It figures to probably get a little worse before it gets better. They're paying a quarterback all the money in the world, who I think is very good, but there are like 5 guys in the whole league who I think are genuinely worth what they're paying Dak Prescott, and he isn't one of them. If you could give me Josh Allen or Joe Burrow or Mahomes or Lamar, maybe one or two other guys that are just on a whole other level. So I don't think that's a good situation for winning as far as the roster immediately. And the Jerry of it all, I think, would be a detriment. Almost anyone would look at that as a downside, not an upside. However, there's just something to be said for the Dallas Cowboys. They're so glamorous. They get so much attention. Look how famous you become just being a part of that. Now, you know McCarthy. I don't. He may not give a damn about that stuff, but some people will. And so I don't think Jerry would have a hard time getting himself a coach of some repute. Now, if you're Ben Johnson and you're choosing a spot, if you're, insert whoever else it is you want, would that be your first choice? I'd be surprised if it was.
I heard you say Prime. Obviously, his connection with Jerry Jones is one that we would monitor. You said Sark as well. I didn't know Sark was getting NFL looks.
So on Sunday NFL Countdown, Adam Schefter ran through, and so this stuff kind of got buried. Adam Schefter ran through a whole list. You guys could dig up the tape of it. I wish I could remember what time it was. It was in the second hour of the show. So he ran through the whole list of these are the coaches that we're keeping an eye on today. I think this one's in. I think this one's out. I think this one's in. I think this one's out. And that got all of the attention.
Leaning out, leaning in, leaning out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That whole shtick. And parenthetically, so far, he's been right about every single one of them. He told me Dayball was coming back. He told me Steichen was coming back. He's been right about everything that he said that day, as an aside. He then said two other things that got very little attention because everyone was keeping an eye on Dayball and Steichen and all of these other coaches. He said teams are going to call the Steelers to see if they would be willing to entertain the possibility of trading Mike Tomlin. And he said, expect Steve Sarkisian to be a person whose name you hear at some point in NFL coaching conversations. Now, we didn't bring that part of the soundbite back because it was literally, he said it in like 4 seconds. He didn't expand on it, and we moved on to other things. But he threw that name out there. Now, if you're Steve Sarkisian, are you trying to parlay more money? Whatever the case is, I don't know. This is not my area of expertise. But that name came up from Adam Schefter, who, in my opinion, is the most credible person in the entire industry when it comes to collecting NFL news. So he wouldn't say it on the air if there wasn't something to it. So I think it is a conversation that is being had somewhere. I don't know by who.
I like the way Sark communicates. Every time he comes on Game Day, he's awesome. Feels like his team's obviously loaded with talent. They're in the semifinals. They've had a couple losses, but they've been able to bounce back. His offenses have been awesome to watch. Pro-style offenses got people ready in there. That'd be intriguing, So you got Prime out of Colorado. You got Sark out of Texas potentially going in. Wasn't Lincoln Riley's name there for a little bit being tossed
Cowboys,
around?
Yeah.
For the Cowboys last year.
And then USC kind of ruined that.
USC happened. Oh, speaking of USC, Heisman winner up there, Caleb Williams, is without a head coach. Ty has the last question for you. We appreciate all your time today, Greeny.
Yeah, Greeny.
Always a pleasure.
The Bears actually reached out and wanted an interview with McCarthy. With your Chicago ties, we heard that their kind of hiring committee or search committee is like 30 people or something like that to decide their next head coach. What do you ultimately think the Bears are going to do, and is there any way that they get this right?
No. I mean, history suggests it's very unlikely, and I haven't heard any of these yet, but right before I came on with you guys, I got an email from the Get Up staff that apparently all of the decision-making people in Chicago talked today, which means George McCaskey, who is the owner, Kevin Warren, who is the team president, and Ryan Poles, who is the general manager. And from what I can glean, all three of them had different versions of how this decision is going to get made, which would be a perfect microcosm of what is wrong with that franchise and has been forever. Look, here's the reality. It's a pretty good team. They have a lot of good players. I think Caleb Williams is stunningly gifted. I think he has, under the right circumstances, he could be an unbelievably good player. They just need to get this right. And that person, again, it doesn't have to be an offensive guy. Everyone in Chicago wants them to hire Ben Johnson. Just because Ben Johnson is a brilliant offensive coordinator, which he obviously is, maybe the best we've seen come along in the league in a while. It doesn't mean he'd be a great head coach. It doesn't mean you have to get him as your head coach. You can, as I said about the Jets, hire a great leader. If that's Mike McCarthy, I'm all in. Hire a great leader and then bring in someone who runs an offense that is perfectly suited to the talents. Don't try and jam a round, square, whatever the hell it is, square peg, round hole thing. I always get that wrong.
Yeah,
I never get that thing right.
Jack correct.
Look at the skill set. Look at this is something I can't do. You guys would have a much better chance of doing it than I would, and the people running the Bears have to be the ones who do this.
I'm sure.
Look at exactly what Caleb Williams does well, and then bring in someone who's going to run the offense that is going to take advantage of those things. Build an offense around what he does. Don't bring in Shane Waldron, who is going to bring his own offense in and try and teach it to Caleb Williams, and that was obviously a square peg in a round hole and whatever it was, and it was a freaking disaster. Bring in someone who is going to run. I would have in an interview, I would say, show me your plan for Caleb Williams. Tell me why this is going to work. And then I would hire the person who gives me the best answer to that.
Okay, and they need to run the rock. They need who's going to get in there and build up the offensive line, the trenches, because they're in Chicago, as Bill Belichick pointed out, and who's going to be able to run the rock. We appreciate you so much for your time, brother. Legitimately.
Guys, Happy New Year. It's been too long since we've said a chance to say hello, but I hope we'll do it again soon. The playoffs should be great.
Absolutely. And Connor has been wondering this entire program.
Yeah, Greeny, look, you're much smarter than me, and I'm very dumb. But what's this in a vacuum shit? D-Bud kind of put together a good diagram. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're saying? I don't understand what you're saying in a vacuum.
Do you seriously want me to explain this to you? Or?
Yep.
That's all of us, please. I don't think I fully understand. You're getting sucked up, so as you're getting sucked up, it's all kind of there's
no sucking involved in this. There's no sucking involved in this analogy. So what it means is that if you just take Caleb Williams and Drake May, if we use them as the example, I think that's where this first came up.
Yeah, that's the first time.
Absent any other circumstance.
Oh, vacuum sealed.
Right. Absent the coaching, absent the talent around him, absent the weather, absent all those things.
In a black hole.
In a black hole, which is also another word for that is a vacuum.
Yes, exactly.
A vacuum is not only the thing that you use to clean up the carpet. It is also that. It is also something that has no atmosphere in it. So if you remove all of the other elements, and you said I could have either Caleb Williams or Drake May, I would take Caleb Williams. But when you insert the elements, I think Drake May looks already like he has advanced beyond Caleb Williams, and I fear the nonsense that went on in Chicago this year will actually set Caleb Williams back.
We'll be back tomorrow here on ESPN. We continue on the internet. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Okay, great exit out of you there. We're still live, YouTube.
There it is.
Hell yeah. YouTube, ESPN Plus, and TikTok Live, which I think is going to
Mr. Wonderful.
survive. Let's get back to your, a lot of that around
My
here.
phone is doing that. My phone is, I just gave you a thumbs up, and my phone is thumbs upping.
See what else it does.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing anything. That thumbs up is just coming up by itself.
I think if you do fake fireworks with your fingers, fireworks will pop up too. You want to try it?
So I've seen it like this. If you cross your thumbs like this.
Is that what fireworks like? How does one do fireworks?
If you do a sprinkler too, I think if you do a sprinkler, it starts raining on that thing. You want to give that a go?
You just want me to do stupid looking dances. I understand what's going on now.
I did. That was on me. When you talk about a vacuum, and you talk about a white hole, black hole.
Black hole.
Or white hole.
White hole, whatever.
White hole.
All right, yeah, listen, we all know.
Whatever one.
Yeah, whatever one. I don't want to label anything. So in a vacuum, that is how that. You're talking about whenever it's vacuum sealed, it's isolated.
Yeah.
Then whenever you add other things, you're talking about that vacuum.
Yeah.
Because that vacuum has a lot of shit. A lot of shit and adversity in there. You know, there's a lot of adversity in there. That is a great drawing.
It's plugged in.
The other time you used it was with the Cowboys, like when he was saying, if you just look at the roster in a vacuum, you take away the star, you take away America's team.
You were given an answer when you said, and everything else about it. Everything else about it. Going to be on primetime every single week, regardless. You got players that do stuff. I mean, all that type of stuff. The second time you said in a vacuum, I watched this guy's head explode right over here. And he didn't listen to a word you said going forward. And as you were on the full screen, we're all looking at him like, what are you talking about? He's like, vacuum? I don't. And then this drawing came. I'm happy you cleared it up for us because we were all very much wondering. And you said repute, I believe, as well. That's a good word. That's a good word. Repute is a good word. What does that mean?
Meaning of some repute, like meaning of like it is short for reputation, like someone who is reputed to be good. His reputation is good. He's supposed to be good. Repute is a form of the word reputation, or maybe reputation is a form of the word repute. It is the way you are judged, the way people view you.
So you are held in high repute?
Like you are reputed to be a genius, like a crazy genius.
Wow. Depends.
You are, and I wanted to say this to you. I should have sent you a note to say this to you. But I paid you the highest compliment that I've paid anyone in a very long time. When someone said, I saw the ratings for College Game Day were the highest they had ever been. And I said, I can tell you exactly why that is. That is because Pat McAfee understood the assignment.
Okay.
Like that show, which has been one of the most important things we do. Look, I've been ESPN 28 years. I'm going to die. When I die someday, the 4 letters ESPN are going to be next to my name. It matters to me. All this stuff matters to me. And College Game Day has been on the short list of the most important and best things that ESPN has ever done. And the jolt that you gave it this year, like the shot in the arm, this whole kicking field goals thing, and just your general craziness is exactly what the show needed. It was like a renaissance. It was like a rebirth. And which is not to say it wasn't great already, but something can be great and be made greater. And so I meant to send you a note because I was having that conversation with someone when I was on vacation and I forgot to do it. So what the hell? I'll just say it here. But
well, thank you. Thank you.
It was an incredible testament to what you, and I think Saban too. I think Saban also brings, there's just he brings an element that literally no one else could. Like there is a credibility, and the way you guys have loosened him up and made him as accessible as he's ever going to be. Like he's only ever going to be so accessible, but you've made him as accessible a human being as I think he's capable of being. And so the show has just been it's been a delight to watch. It has been a delight to see what that's done, and it's great for us. And anything that's great for us makes me happy.
Man, that's very kind of you to say. Obviously, we don't get a lot of compliments from people at ESPN. So coming from one of the most important people in the history of sports media, I thank you, and it means a lot when you say that. But the second name that you brought up there, Saban, has been so awesome. Because obviously, Dez has been doing this 20 years. I love Dez.
Yep.
I absolutely love Desmond Howard. Reese Davis is like the consummate professional, so smooth. He knows everything about everything. And then Kirk down there, 28 years, I think he's been on College Game Day, so it's like his baby. Coach Corso, obviously still doing the headgear and everything like that is a big deal.
Coach.
But But Coach Saban coming on there has been so much fun. Like he has, because he says something, it's hard just like to dispute it. You know, it's hard to be like, okay, the greatest of all time just said that on this particular take. So I enjoy like having fun and bantering with him. And also, I think this year, getting a chance to go to dinners with him on Friday night, I think he appreciates that, I like to remind him of who the fuck he is too. Like, I like to tell him, like, hey, you're Nick Saban in here. Because he wants to get better. He's a guy that, like, we're talking film study on himself. We're talking film study on TV. We're talking about taking notes. We're talking watching teams. We're talking about wanting to get better. Like, that's who he is. I think he's always talked about it to his players, and now he's trying to practice what he preached. Like, hey, you got to buy in. You got to learn. You got to commit. You got to focus. And that's, like, how he is wired. Him and Miss Terry, I think they've completely transformed their lives for him to become a person. You talk about understanding the assignment, and it's just been an absolute honor to ride alongside of Nick Saban this year. And he's been so good on TV. He's going to win more awards on TV somehow than he did in college ball. It's been a blast. I've been lucky to be up there, and I've been enjoying it. And that field goal kicking contest, it was expensive this year. It was expensive.
It was worth every penny. I mean, it's so much fun. It's the first thing everyone mentions on Saturday. Did you see the kid? Did he make it? Did he miss it? All that kind of stuff. It's just a great idea. Look, everything has been great. And I will confess that while you were talking there, I was distracted for a moment because on your crawl, it actually said, and the fact that this actually needs to be said aloud is so ridiculous. Woody Johnson says his 17-year-old son has no official role in the organization. The fact that the owner of an NFL team actually has to come out and say that is so hilarious. It would be like that literally is like a skit. Like, I don't know if The Onion still exists, but the satirical newspaper The Onion, is that still a thing?
That's what that athletic article read like. That is,
it did.
Yeah, it absolutely did.
That's why people probably think that it's really Greeny interviewing to be the GM.
Bingo.
Also,
yeah, we put that on the ticker too. It's not actually you. I mean, the Jets are perfect. The Jets are in a good spot. This is where you need to be. Remember, the sun is brightest after the darkest dawn. You guys have had a lot of dark dawns. And I can't wait to see the sunrise for you, for the Jets, and we appreciate the hell out of you, Greeny.
All right, guys. Good to see you. Happy New Year. I'll see you soon.
Hey, how was Hanukkah? We lit the menorah here in town. Do we do 8 crazy nights? Do we give a bunch of gifts, you and Stace? How do we handle it?
You're welcome to. We don't. I'm not a religious person, so we don't do that. We that's never been my thing, but I enjoyed the Hanukkah song by Adam Sandler very much.
Oh yeah.
So we don't do that. We don't have a menorah or that. We don't have a Christmas tree either, but we do sort of celebrate. I consider the holidays
do something, Greeny. Put a fucking tree up,
Lord Krampus.
You gotta do something, Greeny.
Krampus.
He was on with you guys. I'm a big fan of that Nate Bargatze. And he's very funny. I went to see him at Radio City. I had never heard of him before, and friends of mine got tickets and said this guy's really funny. And so Stace and I just went, and that was the famous night. Actually, you guys can settle an argument for me. Stace got mad at me because she said I was laughing too loudly. And I said, you can't laugh too loudly at a comedy show. Like, I think the comedian, that's the whole idea here, is that he wants you to laugh loudly. I don't think he's sitting there thinking, boy, I wish that guy would not laugh so much. But anyway.
Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah.
Did Bargatze acknowledge the obnoxiously loud laugh? And did Stace
No.
that you were
No. I wasn't.
it?
It's Radio City Music Hall is a big place. If you've ever been there, it holds like 3,000 people, and we were not that close to the stage, so he probably didn't even hear me.
Greeny.
But he was suggesting that I was ruining it for the people around us.
You're laughing at a comedian, you're ruining it. No, if you speak at a comedian, you're ruining it for everybody else, which we have experienced here in Indianapolis a few different times. Did you see your friend, Nate Bargatze, on Netflix? His new special? I don't know if that was the same show he did.
Nate Bargatze. So he did a thing on, was it on Netflix or on CBS? We did like a Christmas special.
No, so...
Where he played Joseph the Angel, and it was very funny. And that was how this all tied into how I was answering your question. That he was making a joke about how so many things about the holiday season really have nothing to do with religion, and that's sort of how I approach them. Like, I enjoy the holiday spirit, I enjoy the family time, I enjoy the exchanging of gifts and all that sort of stuff, and it doesn't necessarily have a religious connotation for me.
So you're giving an amen, in the middle of that entire thing as Nate's speaking about it. Your friend Nate Bargatze stand-up special on Netflix right now?
Oh, that's his stand-up. He's so good. I think the guy is fantastic. I am a huge fan.
A lot of amen whenever it is.
Oh, I also loved, by the way, now we're just talking. Are we still on, or are we just talking?
We're on the internet.
Okay. I loved Chalamet on there with you, and that was a great. So my son, as you may or may not know, is an aspiring actor. He's a senior in college, and he wants to be an actor. And Chalamet is his idol. Like, he just thinks he loves that guy. And so we were all excited in my house to see Chalamet on with you, and I will admit I went in with low expectations.
Me as well.
And I thought he was terrific, and I thought you were terrific with him.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. I had very low expectations because I didn't know how he tied into the SEC championship. I'm like, it's a big deal down here. We're going to have... And then as I learned, like the 2 days before game day, he is a huge college football fan. Also knows College Game Day very well. And then whenever I was like, would he want to be a part of the kick? They were like, Timmy would love to be a part of the kick or whatever. So he was game for everything. In his notes that he had and both and what he prepared for, He was amazing. Like I watched the movie because of it. I don't think I would have watched the movie, but I was like so impressed by him, the human, and the way he handled everybody. Because there's a lot of people there that are huge fans of his. Obviously, your son is a huge fan, but there's a lot of ladies, young ladies that are massive fans of Timothy's. The way he was just like so cool, and the way he operated was, I'm like, this is a dude. This is a guy, legend, and he was. You're right. He was fantastic. He was awesome. And he held that chair for me, and I'm very thankful.
They did. That Bob Dylan movie was so good.
You're a Bob Dylan guy, though, right?
Yes. So, but also him himself, like, was incredible as Bob Dylan.
I feel like he's going to be good at everything.
Yeah,
I feel like that's going to be. I think he's one of the next guys.
Yeah. Well,
based on Al Gaib.
Yeah, he was knighted by Lil B, the bass guy. I don't know if you guys know.
I heard that. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he's.
All right, I have to give up this room, so I'm actually at my at the club that I go to after work, and I told them I needed the room for like 10 minutes, and there are people standing outside the door.
All right, well, good luck out there. Please tell them we'd like to become members someday. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Greenberg. Yeah, I told him 10, 20 minutes. That was an hour and 10 minutes.
What kind of club is that?
That's probably so nice.
You know what type of club that is.
Like it's obviously it's not a golf club. He's in the city.
He's got to put his mask back on, get out there.
Oh.
Hey, we went into one of those.
Yeah, I was going to say that might be the same one.
For a birthday party.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what type of club that is.
The highest of high society I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Ever will.
Had to check in at the front.
Social club.
Yeah.
Social club's what
You got
they
to
call
put
it.
the little sticker on your camera thing to cover it? Or
No phones, brother.
No phones, yeah.
No phones at all.
They take your chip.
What do you think this is?
Oh, you guys talking like the Elks Lodge?
Very similar.
Yeah, I think it is like the Elks.
American Legion.
Yeah.
American Legion, good time for birthday
Sons of
parties
Italy.
back in the day. I think it's like that.
Italian Club.
Italian Club was a good spot. I'll tell you. How is the Renton Italian Club doing right now?
It's thriving. It's never been better.
Are they in season?
Hey, is it bocce season right
No,
now?
I don't think they're in season.
Are they taking on the pepperones over there?
Actually, I think 12 months of the year is in season, to be honest.
How's Coach doing? Is he rolling good ball right now?
I'm not sure. I don't talk to him much about it.
Why not?
He gets real snippy when I talk to him about it.
Well, don't be talking about the Italian Club.
Maybe he needs some pepperoni rolls to the office to get his good juju.
Yeah, maybe he needs to start sending some Italian stuff back to the Thunderdome that used to happen and now no longer happens. What's that all about?
I mean, to be honest, I don't talk to him much about anything anymore because he calls me, and unless my daughter's there, he hangs up. So,
Coach, you better be rolling a good fucking bocce ball right now if this is how we're operating. Got no rolls, no pepperoni rolls,
No pumpkin.
no linguine,
No prosciutto.
no lasagna,
No mozz.
mozzarella,
the buffalo mozzarella.
no provolone. He's been giving.
What is this?
What's
Do
this?
diehard Italians have a different rules to bocce where they think other people are amateurs?
It's the surface that they're playing on. If you do recall, Coach was pissed off about the Penn Hills Pepperones, the rocks that
way
they
too
had
many rocks.
on the court, the bocce court.
Mickey Mouse.
It was. They said it was not an elite bocce.
It's like a long field. It's like a team that grows their grass really long. Say, hey, we're going to slow these guys down. You know, like they're trying to even the field.
Not just slow them. You get a little bump in it because they rake it in that whole thing. If there's a little bit of a bump, that when you're trying to get close to something, you don't have a.
Takes a skill out of it.
Yeah, it does.
Wait, what's the ideal surface for bocce?
Well, if you're a good thrower,
I mean, yeah.
You want just completely smooth. Just completely smooth.
Fast track.
So like asphalt, like
asphalt,
hardwood, like
it's like gravel, so like ground down.
Yeah, but you just want smooth. If it's not smooth, it kind of gifts the people. You
All
can
the
get
same
lucky.
size rocks too. You can't have like miniature, like bigger rocks mixed in throughout. That's Mickey Mouse.
A lot of bocce down in South Florida.
No,
A lot of Italians down there.
Yeah, there is.
I mean,
Yeah, there is.
I mean, maybe I'm just not around it. I actually saw my first
What's that about?
bocce game
Yeah, what's that mean?
this past summer, upstate New York.
How was it?
Awesome.
It is intense.
Yeah, it was very, very intense. Very.
What was their surface? Clay?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just thinking like that green was a little bigger in that area, but it was kind of up on the stage, and like I would assume it was.
That sounds
similar to
Mickey
that.
Mouse.
You know,
I
No
actually
offense.
found
Some places use field turf, clay.
it was indoors.
Clay's real nice.
Field turf ain't bocce.
Okay.
That's what I'm asking.
Oh,
what
I
does
grew
this
up
look
playing
like?
bocce.
The only picture I saw was from the fucking 1930s that y'all popped.
No, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's kind of a part of the whole thing. Is you got to experience
Got to see it.
the throwback, and that's part of the bocce community, and that's why the Renton Italian Club. I don't know what their name of their bocce team is. Do you know what the name of their?
Yeah, they're the fighting.
Don't do it.
What is the name? Do you remember?
Fighting gabagoles.
No,
I don't think it
think
was
that's it.
anything
it
about.
starts with a
Coca-Cola.
D.
No, it starts with Does it start with a G or a D?
I thought it was D.
Diablos?
Might be G.
Yeah.
Was it the Diablos?
No, I don't think they were saying devil.
Guidos?
D-A.
Might have been.
Wait, was it that one?
Was it the Guidos? Could have been.
Or was it the other one?
It was, yeah.
Rhymes with the drink. The Fago, I believe.
Whoa.
You know what?
Oh, how'd your day go?
Yeah, bingo.
Yep.
I think that's the name of the team, the Fighting.
How'd your day goes?
They
Whoa,
took on
that's not what I said.
That is.
Whoa.
That is what you said.
That's what you said.
No, I said, how'd your day go? He threw an S on it.
Well, that's because they're a team.
ES.
That's because there's multiple days. You have to ask.
Yeah,
about
but he
how-
can't say that.
Threw an ES on the end, like goes.
But they were taking on the Penn Hills Pepperones.
Mhm.
And this is.
These aren't real names.
Oh, yeah?
D-Butch.
D-Butch. You do not want to be
A lot to
dancing.
learn.
Okay, you do not want to be dancing in the East Hills of Pittsburgh bocce league. Okay, these Pisons can roll a ball and they can get pissed off quick. And the Penn Hills Pepperones, what they did to the track, the Renton Italian Club Fighting
Dagos.
are never going to forget it. They're going to come back better than ever. Let's take a break, and then we'll wrap up every story that's happening around the NFL that we haven't been able to get to, including coaches that have been fired, GMs that have been fired, maybe some drama cooking in some places. What does the future look like? And we'll give a little prediction on college football playoff and Super Wildcard Weekend. A lot to do on the other side. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Take 5.
This guy sucks. This guy's the worst of all time. Almost. Timmy. Corbin, that was good. He's the worst we've ever seen. Hey. I think you're nervous in front of Bob Dylan. No. I think that's probably. No. One more shot. One more. You want the Texas guy to get one more kick? All right, how about this? Kirk Herbstreit said he'll match another $200,000. I will as well. This is an $800,000 kick, Corbin. Yeah. This guy's got no shot.
Come on, Harry.
Come on, Herbie. Timmy, you want a match?
Yeah, I'll get in there too.
Okay, all right, sweet.
Is that 1.2?
Yeah, it is.
$1.2 million kick.
Yeah. Holy hell.
Let's go.
Everything just got very real all of a sudden. That first attempt was god-awful. But now you got a $1.2 million operation. All you got to do is kick the ball through those uprights. It looks shorter than 33 yards. Stanford.
Is that legally binding?
Yeah.
That's a legally binding offer.
Yeah, we got you,
You're
Timmy.
the lawyer, Corbin. Is that a real offer?
Yeah, it is. It's on camera.
It is? Okay.
Hey,
bro,
somehow he got under that ball. Yeah, he said it was like a 9-iron. That was more like a duff of a wedge, Bub.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and try to maybe bring out the 1-iron.
On one hand, we've never seen that.
1.2 million.
Come on, Corbin. 1.2.
Holy hell. That's a lot of money. You're a lawyer, you live nice, you wear suits, but 1.2 million could change a lot of things. On SEC Championship Saturday in Atlanta for $1 million. That got pretty expensive. We got hustled. Bob Dylan coming out on Christmas. The movie's supposed to be Oscar worthy. Thankfully stopped by. Herbstreit's awesome. Reese, that got a little bit of nerve-wracking there for a few moments. Back to you.
Running back, Noah Whittington. It's a fullback. Didn't score a touchdown, but what'd he do? He ram truck. Bryquise Brown saws him in half. DB Weston Arthur. Boom! Loses his helmet. But this does not count because it wasn't a player. You see, it was a Ram. The Georgia Ram dog. Listen to that sound. That's not us adding sound. Those are pads crashing. The quarterback, the Ram truck stick. Eric Phoenix. Boom! Weston Arthur will carry over from last week. Mason Fletcher goes for the Browns. Safety, Lathan Ransom. More like Ransom! Ransom! Kobe Savage, the duck truck toot toot. Legal play. Where'd your helmet go?
Wow.
Jonathan Allen, more like Ramathan Allen. little bit of a low punt, but the players can make play. Let me throw my body. There is a flag on the play, but not on the punter. San Jose State. More like Ram Jose State. Weston Arthur, Mount Boom. Florida, Ole Miss, Gator, Ram, Bryce Cohen, 2 people, 1 Ram, Trevor from California, equipment manager, sees a guy steal a ball, tracks him down through the crowd and boom! Belly to back suplex, bitch! They showed the clip to the team in a team meeting the next day. This is the reaction. Boom play that has been seen by millions. Hey, millions! We have Ram Payne on the campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, running back Jordan James. Damn. John, couldn't you love seeing a running back do something like that?
I do, and I think it's more impressive than a tackle, to be honest. You can't use your hands, you can't scoop the legs, and if you're knocking him ass over teacups, I like the run better than the tackle.
Shiloh, slam there! A nuke! I love Dan Jackson, more like Ram Jackson. Gunner Stockton. Dunzo. Cam Scatterboom. More like Ram Scatterboom. More like you can't tackle me. Rumbling, stumbling. Our reigning champion of this Ram Truck segment since jump has been from Mount Union with a Mount Boom. Weston Arthur. Boom! I mean, if you're talking about a Ram Truck segment, that epitomizes it. What to expect whenever I came out here to Utah. Shock that. Yeah, shock. I can't make it. Steve Smith Sr. Ladies and gentlemen, Pac-12 champion, head coach of the Utah Utes football team. Pulling in on a Harley Davidson Sportster, I do believe. Coach Kyle winning it.
Lot of blessings piling up that I ain't even wished for. None left over for y'all. I'm locking the fridge door at the crib, cutting hits. I read through the catalog, came to conclusion, no one's touching this. Just finished the maiden voyage, hopping off the Mayflower. Said I'm shot to kill them off, whatever the take. Power, sink the boats, I'm at home. I'm selfish with the goals.
I mean, you got to do it. It is 34 degrees out here in the back-to-back Pac-12 champions. Mighty Utah student section has been here in abundance. They've been loud. In today's a day where they showcase to the world that it's not just Mormons and soaking in Utah. No. It's great football and an incredible fan base. They've been so kind. I appreciate the hell out of you all. Have you ever thought something negative about a kicker before in your entire life? Yes. All right, relax, dude. Okay. Boston Connor was drinking with Dwayne Wade last night. $225,000. Let's remember this day forever, Cameron. You know that 29 out of the last 30 home games that happens right here
at the University of Utah. The Utah Utes win. Cam Rising said yesterday, we don't lose at home. And today, they ain't losing. This place is going to be soaking in celebration this evening. You guys were absolutely phenomenal. This morning, you showed everybody that this is the town you want to play. I am jacked, dude.
Lighting's
Wow.
great. Probably the most interesting trade was the Randy Moss trade. After the draft, the first day of the draft, we've been trying to trade for Randy Moss for 2 months. All like childbirth. I mean, it took forever. After the first day of the draft, I talked to Mr. Davis. I said, are we going to make a deal or not? And he said, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it for your 4th. And I think we were picking like 7th in the 4th round. I said, well, we got to get the guy in for a physical. We can't take his contract. We're going to have to renegotiate his contract. And Mr. Davis said, well, that's your problem. If you want to trade for him, then you get it done. I said, all right. I call up Randy. Hey, Randy, this is Coach Belichick. Boom. Hangs up the phone.
What?
Let me try this again. Randy, it's Coach Belichick. Who is this? Who's pranking me? Who is this? Bam. Hangs up the phone. Randy, this is Coach Belichick. We traded for you. What? Is this a joke? This better not be a joke. Who is this? No. This is, all right. Really? I said, yeah, but look, we got to get this done by tomorrow at noon. He goes, all right, what do I need to do? I said, you need to come up, take a physical, and we need to renegotiate your contract. It's by noon? Yeah. He goes, well, I'm in Houston now, but I got a plane. I'll be there.
Nice.
He flies, and he's there at 8 o'clock in the morning, comes in and takes the physical. You know, the old,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Make sure he's
yeah.
live.
Okay, you're good. Renegotiate the contract. We're done at 10 o'clock. And first thing he says to me is, where's the playbook?
Oh, that's awesome.
I said, right here. He said, okay, because when I walk out there with the first team with Brady, I got to know all the plays. I can't go out there and make mental errors and screw up. I got to know his offense. And he was smart, man. This guy was smart. On this post-safety coverage, what are you going to do? He goes, Coach, you ain't going to see any post-safety coverage against me. Like, oh. He goes, you're going to see cover 2. We haven't seen cover 2 in years. He's like, you're going to see cover 2. And he was right. And then he would say, well, here's how I'd run this route. Here's how I'd run that route. And I started thinking, like, we got to start giving Randy some routes. We're running this, and they play cover 2. How we can move him into the slot. He's like, move me into the slot. I said, yeah, so you can get in the middle and cover 2. He's like, all right, good. 25 touchdowns.
So many.
Yep.
Opens up the running game, too.
But I'm telling you, it was Randy, come on, man. Trying to.
He's saying don't go off the top. It's too shallow.
All you're going to hear this stadium do is they put the big paw up. They start shaking it. They go, whoa. Hey, what things are going? Look, they said, yeah, he loves the defensive side of the ball. He said yesterday to me that this is a blue-collar team. They win it on special teams. They have 5 block kicks this season. The defensive side of the ball, Lynch leads the Big 12 in sacks. But also on the offensive side, Denzel Mims is an absolute animal. He is a weapon. Charlie Brewer, the quarterback from Lake Travis. His dad was a quarterback in Texas. Yeah. His grandpa was a quarterback in Texas. And the people here in Waco just so happen to get a chance to see Charlie Brewer on a daily basis. Hey. Yeah, Boomer here is going to mean a little bit different than what it means on the internet currently. And hopefully here in Baylor, they hope they're not hearing a lot of Boomer sooner. Everybody wants to be a punter, including quarterbacks. If I was a quarterback, I'd want to be a punter as well. 0 yards on that punt. That's an embarrassing situation. The Dak dance that gets on national television has led to a lot of losses, but you got to respect the hips being able
What sign am I going to make for college game day? Well, I want to make something creative. I want to make something fun. No, to hell with it. I don't like OU. It's so thick. Look how thick that thing is. That's years and years of patience. Right now? Okay, let's do it.
We are out here on the Brazos River, which you can take a boat to the game. One of the only stadiums in the country that you can do that. It's beautiful out here.
A lot of people would say, this is the last time I'm going to be on game day. The last time I allegedly did what I'm about to do, I ended up in a jail cell. Let's go! Bad decision. Bad decision. The poop kicker's getting wet down here. A lot higher than I thought.
You look like Ric Flair.
It was like 5 feet. I was standing there. That's full commitment, by the way. Hey.
Why?
Let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig! Damn it!
Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this big Tuesday, January 7th, 2025. Hour 3 of the program starts now. Football is wonderful. That's AJ Hawk. The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys AP Tony's here, and 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Bowlers.
Yes, sir.
You look really cool, D-Bucks.
Appreciate you, too.
You know, in the first hour, AJ, you weren't here. There was a emergency press conference from the Hulkster. Did you see that?
I did see that. It's great to see you guys. Well, I guess not you guys, but some questions being thrown to the Hulkster, and he seemed to be very open and honest. So yeah, it was very cool.
What a situation that is just so easy to make fun of last night, and obviously
I was watching live, and I'm like, all right, who's run the board? Who's trying to figure out the audio? What goes to Netflix? What doesn't? I wonder what it was like in person. But honestly, though, for that situation, the Hulkster handled it well. I don't know what I would have done. I would have probably just walked out. I would have walked out.
and just stared it right down and just going. It was, I think he said that he thought it was going to be 50-50, I believe. It's allegedly that's reported what Hulk Hogan said he was going to say. Now, if you listen to the press conference happen in the first hour, there is a chance they were booing Jimmy Hart. And
nah, Jimmy's doing his job. I mean,
yeah, maybe they were saying Hulk. Hogan, there's a chance. And I saw on the internet a lot of people were saying maybe they're saying we want some ice cold, real American brews. You know, because that's what beers are called. Okay. There is a chance that was it. But I mean, you know, Hulkster, whenever he starts campaigning for a presidency and drops into the political world, he knows that he's going to piss off people. Yep. He just said it was too important for him not to get involved. That crowd last night, with the way that place is built, because it's built like Virginia Tech, it's built like Seattle Seahawks Stadium.
Looked awesome.
It's built like Force Sound. It was loud in there. So whenever I did not expect, honestly, I was taken back. Fucking Hulkster's here. Holy shit. Hulk Hogan's here. I had no idea that was the case. And then I see Jimmy Hart coming out with the flag, and I'm like, what a moment here. And then I start hearing it, and I'm like, wait a minute. And then Cole's like,
good crowd all night.
All night. They were very loud. And I guess there was some people within WWE that thought that was potentially possible.
Sure.
You know. But to your point, Hulk Hogan went out there. Let me tell you something. And they're like, we don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to tell you anyways. And that's professionalism. Because to your point, I wouldn't be able to handle it, you know.
I put myself in his shoes, and I was like, oh, no. Like, I don't think I'm equipped to handle that. I'm not.
Dominic Mysterio, for instance, he has next level heat, is what they call. And it was...
He got kicked in the nuts.
I thought he was going to get his girl back.
Swift kick.
Get his girl back. Yeah, right.
What are you...
I thought he was.
Yeah, right.
What are you...
That scumbag.
His mommy.
Back to mommy.
Yeah, he got kicked right in the nuts. Mm-hmm. What a great punt, too.
Swift.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, in Aussie Rules football, they grow up having a kick. Mm-hmm. Rhea, insane athlete from Australia.
Yeah.
She's been doing that for a long time. It looked pure. I mean, boom, bang, pow. But whenever he's talking, they don't even let him get a word out, and they boo him. And then he stops because he's all upset, obviously. And then he goes back and it gets louder. Same thing was kind of happening.
Yeah.
And Hogan just kept going. Dahn could never finish his sentences.
No.
Hogan got through the entire thing. And Michael Cole said, we wouldn't be here without Hogan. I mean, you watch some documentaries on the WWF. It's like when the Hulkster was going around.
That theme song alone is just, legit.
And, the whole, him and Andre the Giant, just like building the company pretty much. And then obviously what it has become and gone on to is a whole different level. But it was, that was pretty phenomenal.
I'd love to, fly down.
What
to
is
What the?
Wait a minute.
Excuse me?
Whoa, we got
body spray.
Tackle, body, odor.
Everywhere.
Can you fucking...
I mean, it's over your head.
Can you just do one of these?
Well, it's actually kind of cut off because I guess my screen, I don't know, my head, there's like, how FaceTime works. It's over top of that word.
Well said.
Oh, your box
Sure,
is?
yeah.
My box is all over that word.
Okay, so you need to know that your box is directly under everywhere. And that is, so when I was pointing at tackle, body, odor, and then everywhere is right above your head, because this is the thing. You don't have to stink.
No.
You don't have to smell.
Choice.
There are some countries that just choose, not to bathe. And those countries suck.
Yeah, they do.
Those countries are a place that you don't want to go. Those places are a place that whenever you think of it, you get a smell of shite and crap. And it's like, how is this what you guys have decided to do with your lives? Can you not smell yourself? Well, they just get desensitized to it. And then everybody else around them has to deal with it. And they say, well, the only way to deal with this crappy smelling person is for myself to get crappy so that I can desensitize my own nose to deal with how everybody else smells. And all of a sudden, boom! Wildfire, everybody stinks. BO everywhere. There's some countries that are like that still to this day.
2025?
Sad.
Very, very nice countries, I guess,
Good place.
I don't know about you guys. I'd rather smell turds than body odor. When someone has really bad body odor, it does something. It's weird.
And the reason why you're saying that is because turds are going to happen. Body odor doesn't have to happen. So it's almost like you're making a decision, and you can tackle body odor everywhere with our friends at Dove.
Hell yeah.
You hit this QR code, it'll take you right to Walmart, right to the Dove, right to buy it right now. And maybe you do need to do one of these. Just check yourself.
Sure.
Because you could be wrecking everybody else with what's coming out of your pits. Maybe even your feet.
You never know.
Maybe even your ass. Gotta wash your ass.
You gotta wash
your ass.
Gotta wash your ass.
Doesn't wash itself.
Yeah, and that's what Dove Men Care is all about. It's about tackling BO everywhere. Be a friend, tell a friend. They smell like shit.
Yeah.
And then maybe get them some Dove Men Care so they don't going forward. Shout out to Dove joining the program. It is my favorite soap.
By far.
And it always makes me feel good. Like Dove is like a good sound. It's like a...
Dove is love.
The men's body
It is. I love Dove.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a glove when that Dove wraps around.
Yeah, it is.
It's like a nice warm feeling knowing that your body and your soul is not going to smell like shite. Shout to Dove. Join the program.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That is awesome. I think we're going to get some Dove products in here. I want
Yes.
to let you know, Dove, they're already in here. So
right.
it's always nice whenever you get to get a partnership with somebody that you already utilize on a regular basis. Like Pizza Hut. Very easy.
Pizza Hut, DoorDash. You kidding me?
Every day, all day. SeatGeek, any fucking ticket. Speaking of SeatGeek, the ticket prices are out for the semifinal games. And I'll tell you, the national championship average ticket resale price right now is gigantic. It is a huge fucking number coming out of SeatGeek. We're talking like, if I remember, $2,700 bucks. $2,700. Now, $1,047 obviously you see for the Texas-Ohio State game down there in the Cotton Bowl, and then Penn State, Notre Dame down there in Miami, $601. Miami's way down there, obviously. That's a far trip for a lot of these teams and fan bases, but it is a beautiful, beautiful time to be down in Miami. $2,700 average resale price for the national championship. Now, depending upon who wins, this kind of happens with Super Bowl tickets.
Yep.
Depending upon who wins, A lot of people in Texas right now, Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame, are all buying national championship tickets, or they were at least. I don't know what the ticket price was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, hoping that their team makes it. If their team doesn't, boom, they're going to resell them. So I assume that price is going to go down because there's going to be a lot more tickets that are about to come into the market after this particular set of semifinal games is done. But you're talking about 4 very powerful, very big, very wealthy fan bases, here in this entire thing. That only sets up for good business whenever you're talking about this type of shit.
Absolutely. I'm wondering what will be the ideal game for, I guess, networks, viewership.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is gigantic.
Notre Dame versus somebody.
Ohio State, Notre Dame?
Yeah,
Either or.
Texas is
Notre
huge
Dame,
too.
Texas would be massive.
All of them have huge alumni base. That's the thing. All these schools have alumni with cash everywhere in the world.
So I think I just saw Kirk Herbstreit on 3 with
Andy Staples and
it was great. And he was saying a lot of things. He complimented me and Saban in one of the videos. I haven't been able to see the whole podcast. I think it's happening today, like right now. I think it's potentially taking place. But he chit-chatted about how a lot of people attack him in ESPN for like an SEC bias. And I think that's because a lot of guys have a lot of respect for the SEC teams. And obviously we're down there and everybody's like, well, ESPN has the SEC deal. They have deals of fucking... ESPN is trying to get deals with they obviously have the entire college football playoff. So if it was just ESPN caring and making decisions, they would want the biggest fan bases to be in every single big game. That's the only thing they would want if that's all they were thinking about. I think ESPN loves college ball. That's why they've invested so much. That's why people have invested their entire lives towards college ball. So I think whenever Kirk gets attacked for his SEC bias, even though he leaves out Tennessee in that thing, he takes it to heart because he just wants college ball to have its best in his eyes. Now, everybody has their own different eyes, and in this particular season, any team could have beat anybody. It really felt like that from the jump. And I think that's what it's going to be going forward with the transfer portal, NIL. There's a lot more parity. I think there's going to be a lot more upsets technically. I think there's going to be a lot of smaller teams going on a big run out of nowhere because they get a good recruiting class that they bring in through the transfer portal and they're able to go on a run. Arizona State, they could have been in the semifinals whenever they're projected to win 4 games. Last team in the Big 12 because of the transfer portal and getting guys in there in a couple of years, turning it around and making it big. But it's like these 4 teams, if ESPN was to be projecting it, and it's only one SEC team, and this SEC team just joined it, it's like these fan bases are fucking gigantic. It is Penn State, obviously, all over the place. Notre Dame is the entire globe, pretty much. That's why the NBC deal has been its own. They have operated in a unique anomaly situation for so long in big-time sport and big-time business because of how big their fan base is. Ohio State, how many undergrad, AJ?
Like 55K, I think.
I think it's even more this year. I think it's closer to 60, 70 if we looked it up earlier. So you got a lot of alumni of Ohio State, and the entire state of Ohio are Buckeye people. So it's like that fan base is huge. Anytime Ohio State is involved in anything, number massive. That is just the fact of the matter. The only reason why I know that is because I've had a chance to be in this world where they're telling you ratings, like rating. What are they? How's Nielsen know? I don't know. Ratings. Anytime Ohio State's a part of it, huge. Anytime Texas is a part of it, huge. Penn State, Notre Dame a part of it. It's like these are 4 gigantic football universities. And I assume these numbers are going to be insane on these ratings.
Texas and Penn State are both 42,000-ish, 43,000. I just looked it up. Ohio State is 66,000 undergrad population this year, and the Notre Dame is Notre Dame.
Just undergrad.
Yeah. Let alone crazy. Everybody going to the medical schools. Who, do you know whose medical schools those are over there and stuff at Ohio State?
What do you mean? No, I don't mean
like the
Ohio State medical schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see them.
Like what the buildings are named?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on.
Oh, each building has a different name. Different.
No, each building had the same name, actually. We were driving on this side of the street and on this side of the street.
We saw them all.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Big money.
Huge.
I think.
Anyways, you get it. A lot of people, all these schools. So as we look ahead to calling both of them on the sideline, let's think about how incredibly lucky we are about the history that's about to be fucking made. I cannot believe we get a chance to be a part of these. Thursday, Miami. Friday, Dallas, Texas.
Hopefully.
What's going on here? So they're
supposed to get like a foot of snow
like
currently.
15 inches up
Thursday
there.
into Friday.
They don't have any salt down there either, do they?
No, they don't.
Remember that Super Bowl down in Dallas? The Steelers were a part of it. There was like lawsuits and stuff because people couldn't
Oh
get
yeah,
there.
I was there. We couldn't get to practice.
Oh, you were there for that?
Yeah, I was in that Super Bowl. Yeah, it snowed like the day before we got there, and they even said, "Hey, we don't really have trucks or salt, so whatever you see, we're just going to match down with our cars and our buses and keep it moving."
That's always the best option too. You know, the matted down snow and ice is always what you're really looking for in its entirety. But yeah, I didn't even think about the snow being down there. And then I saw a Doppler.
Oh yeah,
that shit was purple, I think. And I'm like,
you say like 10 inches, Tone? That much, really?
That's what they're
10
more
or 15, brother.
Yeah.
I mean,
possibly.
Well,
possibly. We're not God. We don't know.
No, but they are 1 for 1.
I was gonna say
they're 1 for 1. Usually in Indiana, it's wrong, and they got this snowstorm right.
I was doubting so hard the hype that was coming around this snowstorm earlier this week. It's just like, nah. People were, I guess, rushing to grocery stores because the way this was being talked about. And then all the Dopplers are just like blew over an entire portion of the United States of America. And they're like, hey, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. And I had to travel, obviously, on that Monday morning, which it was right in the they're like, Sunday afternoon into Monday a.m. is the worst of this. And my wife, Sam, is obviously like, hey, should you think about this, you know? Because it's not just you that worries about you getting up and into the sky and, you know, get this whole thing. And I just told her it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
I said, Sam, this is all.
A lot of times it is.
As somebody that grew up, you know, in a winter place, this is probably how hurricane people feel.
This is exactly how hurricane season is.
Down in South Florida. Yep. That's how I felt with it. And then lo and behold, that Sunday afternoon hit, and we had committed to a plan by then. There was no other options because the snow had already started. It was thick. It came down. I mean, we're talking thick snow laid in there. I think it would have been great snowball weather. I'm not sure, but it was also cold as shit. It was like everything bad, cold that could be came. And we just were lucky that there was like an hour break whenever we needed to take off to get out of there. So we lucked out. But yeah, they called their shot on this one. This was a real deal. And I was not a believer. Going into it. This Dallas one looks real deal
it's
too.
It's a bigger problem too, because Thursday obviously into Friday. That's when we would be.
I just sent
traveling.
I just sent a video in from the Weather Channel.
We'll be fine.
And around 30 seconds in, 25 seconds in there, looks like they might be calling for like somewhere between 5 and 8 or 12 to 18, 8 to 12.
Can you FaceTime Cantor?
Winter Storm Cora. That's what's coming. Huh?
Oh, they got a name for it?
Cora. That seems like such an innocent name. Oh, look at Cora coming through. Oh, ruined the college football playoff.
Come on.
Started at 12, counting down to 1. Good luck if you can't play the game.
They don't want us to count down.
My kids had school canceled today, too.
Twice?
Really?
Well, Monday they didn't have school for some reason. They would have been canceled. And then today we had no clue. We didn't even think about it being canceled, and it was, I think, because it's cold and there's still ice in the ground.
Yeah, it's like 6 degrees.
Do they have to make up for that at the end of this, or are they doing
e-learning?
If they miss a certain amount, if you miss like over 4 or 5 days, yeah, they got to go extra.
2-hour delay, always the greatest. You wake up and hear 2-hour delay, it's like, what a dream. What a dream. I actually tried to get a 2-hour delay one time.
Great story.
Took a bucket of water.
Yeah.
Took a couple buckets of water. We learned where we thought the superintendent lived, and we thought he was the one that was making the decision. So we fucking dumped water on this guy's front porch. Thought for sure he wakes up in the morning, walks out there, slips. We had 2-hour delay.
Asshole.
Yeah, it was the neighbor's house too. Wasn't the fucking superintendent guy. And turns out it didn't even really snow either. So there was no chance of us getting. It was in theory, genius idea. Because 2-hour delays were the greatest. You didn't have to make up for them. And all the periods were what? Like
you didn't do
15,
shit.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
And the teachers didn't want to do shit either.
And if the bad stuff was coming, there was a chance you were also getting out early. They'd just be like, fuck it, whatever. You got to get the buses in here.
We just got an update from Jim Cantori. He might be able to call back here soon. He's in the middle of probably tracking Cora, seeing where this lady's headed. Because if she causes devastation to the CFP.
Come on.
Oh, I know.
It's bad news.
Cora, come on. We got ball going on. Big time ball going on. Down there in the state of Texas, with Texas being at home. Is Ohio State going to travel? How do we feel about that? Do we think Ohio State fans?
I think so. Yeah, I think they'll definitely travel, but I mean, it is a lot if you think about it. Like, say, we know how many diehard Ohio State fans there are. I mean, I've had cousins that have got a second mortgage on their house to go to a bowl game. So when you're looking at 4 games, traveling to go to 4 games, I guess one was home. It's a lot of cash and time that you got to, commit to. So I think there's probably some people that have wanted to go and they're watching this game. They say, the second that I know Ohio State's winning, I'm booking tickets to the national championship.
Well, think about Pasadena Rose Bowl is the whole operation's expensive.
Oh, yeah.
It's really
Long
far.
way. Long way
really
out.
far. Everything's expensive, and it's the Rose Bowl. Getting in and out of it's expensive. So then you win. Congratulations. Now you got to go down to Dallas for the Cotton Bowl. I think James Franklin mentioned something. There was, I don't know if there wasn't as many Penn State fans as they thought, maybe against boys. I forget what it was. But he said a lot of our fans, I think, are trying to pick which game they want to go to, so they're kind of getting caught in like, well, if we go down to Miami, that's very expensive, very far, everything down there. Are we going to use all our money for that, or are we going to go to this particular game? We think, if Fiesta Bowl, we think we're going to win that game. That's a decision.
That definitely happened. I saw because it was like 60-40 Boise, and I saw a lot of the Penn State thinking was, hey, we got this one against Boise. Let's save our money for Miami. So I'd expect
now, shout out to Boise showing up.
Sure.
And also it was on their half of the country and everything like that, but didn't even think about the ripple effects of some of these things.
Yeah.
Like bowl games, people going to bowl games, fans going to bowl games. It's like, that's a celebration. You said, talk about leveraging mortgage. It's like, that's a big to-do. Like, hey, we're all going to do this. Now, 4 of them is what Ohio State would have to do. And then you make it to the national championship, you got $2,700 waiting on you.
Yeah.
It's like, golly, you got to have some real money to be supporting these teams all of a sudden, and everybody's doing it for the good of the team. But I think that is something I don't think any of us could have expected coming into this year.
Not to mention when you're buying like plane tickets that late, when it's like a quick turnaround and all of a sudden you got like a flight like the next week, like that's incredibly expensive. And then the hotels are probably going to jack up hotel prices with everyone coming in. Like it's.
And then when you get there on the ground, what are you going to do? You're going to Uber? Those costs are getting spiked.
Eating, drinking.
That all up.
Snorting, shooting.
What are you doing?
What was that?
Come on.
Diggs. Snorting and shooting. What are you snorting and shooting, Diggs?
I believe that was from a was it Tommy Boy when he goes eating, drinking, snorting, shooting?
It's from Black Sheep.
Black Sheep, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chris Farley, the hell.
Shooting hoops.
The best.
Shoot basketball.
Chris Farley still holds up.
Yep. He would be in this era. Holy shit. Anytime you hear somebody that knows him talk about him, they're like, this guy, greatest guy. Mm-hmm. And then you watch him, it's like electric.
He was so young. Wasn't he like 33, 35 when he died?
He lived, though. I think that's the story that I heard.
Oh, yeah.
Is he really got after it there for a bit. And it's like, I think that's a part of why he was so entertaining, though, because he was 150 miles an hour.
Yeah, all time.
So how do you, I wish we could have got him longer. I wish I could have experienced Chris Farley a bit more. What an energy. Just what a giver to society in an energetic form. Robin Williams, another one that was, that came out of nowhere, kind of seemingly.
Yeah.
How does his movies? He did some super serious fucking movies.
Yeah, Good Will Hunting, Dead Poets Society, both hold up.
I watched Mrs. Doubtfire this year. It was pretty still good.
Mrs. Doubtfire holds up.
Oh yeah.
Flubber,
of
That was a brilliant movie.
all time.
Jumanji, the original.
Come on.
What's that one where he's doctor?
Patch Adams.
There it is. He was just saying, hey, come on, let's laugh a little bit.
Smile.
I don't know if a lot of it would have worked.
I think he really fooled his ex-wife in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
No clue.
What?
Speaking of good actors, there's somebody that's currently an owner of a team.
Oh, yeah.
And a general manager of a team. He needs to direct his attention to acting.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, a future Oscar winner, I believe. Here's Jerry Jones in Landman.
I'm not saying I've done anything right, but I made my mind up a long time ago. I was going to work with my kids. They're involved in everything. They're involved in my leasing, oil and gas, real estate. And so when I got to Cowboys, I got it so that we could all work together. I thought I was doing it for them. But the one that got the most out of it was me. I just know it's not going to be this time, but you're going to be sitting here sometime in the future, laying here sometime in the future. And this room's going to be full of your business associates and the people you've worked with all your life. And more than likely, your children and family are going to be there because they're your children and your family. But you could have them there because they're the people you spent your life with, you worked with, you fell down with, you got up with. Not just Thanksgiving, Christmas. That's who you want to be with. So when that time comes like this, it's a celebration of your life. And you're not wishing you'd spend a little more time, seeing a few more sons come up. That's the trick. That's the trick. Because that's going to be your glory. But I'm pretty proud of them Cowboys. I'm pretty proud of the stuff we've done in oil and gas. It pales in comparison to how proud I am is to have lived my life working with my kids. You got a chance to do something about that. I hope you will. And I'll tell you, young man, you're no spring chicken. And you ought to listen to Little Ish yourself.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm a few eggs short of a spring chicken, that's for sure.
Think a lot of both of you guys.
Feelings mutual. Thank you, Jerry.
Okay. Don't make me get my rubber glove out.
Boy. Tell Jeannie I said hi.
Good to see you, Mr. Jones.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Huh?
Kidding me?
Yeah.
Dude, he had a little twitch in his eye there, and then he hits a very Thanksgiving, Christmas. He all starts crying there. That was wonderful. I'm gonna go watch Landman because of that.
Yeah, good. Legit start watching the show after I saw it on X. I saw it on X, went in probably 3 episodes in. Great decision.
That had to be his speech. Unless that is somebody else's script. That's somebody else's script, you think, Ty Schmidt?
That's Taylor Sheridan, brother.
Yeah. But it's also Jerry's life.
Do you remember what fucking Jerry just said when Greeny was on? Yeah, that's Jerry. That's Taylor Sheridan right there. Now, him being
Really
able
good.
to deliver it is very impressive. Very impressive, hitting all those beats and everything, but no. Jerry wasn't fucking ad-libbing that. No way.
What?
Not a chance.
Like Stephen Jones sees it,
Hold on.
comes over.
Hold on.
Come on now.
I think that was, you're saying, no, like Nick Saban said.
50-50.
In The Blind Side.
Maybe a couple words were his own.
Yeah, bingo. Had to have been. More than 50-50.
I think Jerry-
If that's the case, he is maybe the greatest thespian on our fucking
Jerry's
planet.
He was feeling the real feelings.
There might be a chance that Jerry went in and was like, I got this. And then did what he did earlier, just babbling, saying nothing. And they were like, all right,
Taylor was like,
that was great, Jerry. Now why don't you try my version? And then boom, we get that. And it's
Coach Saban told the story this year that Blindside, they wrote up a script for how he needs to recruit, Michael Orr. And he said, all right, I'll read all this. Can I just do it? And then if it doesn't work, I'll read all right. Because they wanted him to say things that I'm sure he got so mad about. He was probably so frustrated. I'm not, that ain't how it goes. All right. And he ad-libbed a line about some decoration that was on the set.
Sconces?
Yeah, I think it was something along that, like some word to Sandra Bullock, right? She was the mom in that. And they had just like an ad-lib moment on that. That was all Nick Saban. Then when he sits down, he starts selling. It's just like him doing basically his thing.
I think Coach Saban's a little more with it at the current moment than old Jerry.
A speech about life and then trying not to give away your business plans are two different things.
From last year.
How awesome was that from Jerry? That was fucking awesome.
I'm telling you, I was starting to get emotional the first time I saw the clip, and then I'm like, wait, Jerry's crying too here. Like, it was, honestly, Jerry needs to do some more acting. We need to get him into more stuff.
That's what I'm saying. And he said in an interview that this wasn't an investment. I'm not just sitting back and watching TV. This is something to do with my kids. Work with his kids in this entire thing. Maybe, Jerry, let the kids do a little bit more with the Cowboys, and you focus on being old white guy in movies. There's a lot of those needed. There's a lot of movies that is needed. And could you imagine these writers? Who is this one?
Taylor Sheridan.
Okay, there's a lot of talented writers,
Yellowstone.
right? There's a lot of crop ones, too.
A lot of crop.
A lot of shite ones, but there's a lot of really good ones. Imagine if they're told, hey, Jerry Jones is available as like the things that people would write for Jerry, especially with that. It's like, I think we're looking at a fucking potential Oscar winner.
That was phenomenal.
No doubt.
So good.
Yeah.
Jer, have people write your scripts for your post-game scrums.
I need you.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
If all his roles are about billionaire oil landowners, I think he's got something there.
What's in right now for a lot of this shit, right? in that kind of land is a big deal.
Yeah.
This is my territory. This is my land. Jerry Jones is a "this is my land" guy.
Yeah.
Good luck. That's gonna be number one.
Yeah, and he's expanded role.
Star.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying expanded role. I'm saying
He'll probably be a spinoff now. He'll probably get his own spinoff now after that.
what is he? He was good on Hard Knocks too. Remember? He had the sandwiches.
Oh, there they are.
Talking about the dude's dong.
That Taylor Sheridan?
Yes.
That wasn't on Hard Knocks. That was on Jamie Foxx's live.
Different type of Hard Knocks.
Did you watch
You're
Jamie
right.
Foxx's live Netflix?
I saw about 30 minutes of it.
I did as well.
I mean, that was powerful.
Yeah, I heard
It's not a comedy?
Exactly, that's what I heard.
Yeah, it's just like him talking.
Him telling the story.
TED Talk.
Not a comedy special.
Yeah, I thought it was a comedy special.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, this dude's very grateful to be alive.
Yeah,
like this. And then you start listening, it's like, oh yeah, this is real deal shit here. And then obviously still Jamie Foxx in there shit talking. Also felt obligated to prove that he's not Clint. So that was good.
Sure. Like that.
A little self-awareness.
Did he prove it?
To me?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Did he like drop
What'd he do?
blood or something?
I just impersonated some old characters that he used to do.
Okay.
It's a good clone if they did it. If they did it, they figured cloning out. If they cloned him.
I think that was, but I think he actually thought about it too. Like, how would you? So I was like pretty appreciative of that. Did some old characters, nailed it. And it's like, okay. What if he doesn't though, just because he's older in that moment?
Yeah, I'm not sold.
Oh my God. It just.
Nah, he's got to keep Jamie Foxx, all bullshit aside, like he probably one of the most talented humans, like at music, acting, like stand-up comedy, like he has done it all at an elite level. So
He's got a new movie coming out on Netflix in like 2 weeks.
What's it called?
I don't know. It's him and Cameron Diaz, though.
Cam's back?
Yes.
Oh.
What's O'Shea Jackson? Den of Thieves? Is that a movie?
Yeah, Den of Thieves 2, Pantera.
2 is coming out, yeah. Heard
It's going to be
about
awesome.
Great Jack.
Jerry Butler.
He looked cool last night.
He did.
Yeah, him and TJ Jefferson from the Rich Eisen show have a wrestling podcast. I forgot the name of it in the moment. I think it's like the Collect. Whoa.
Gave it a shout out though.
I did.
Yeah.
Wanted to say the name.
Yeah.
Just would like to let O'Shea and TJ know that as it was coming from brain to mouth, I quickly realized, ooh, I don't know if that's the name.
No contest.
Fuck. Yeah, wouldn't have got it right. So, and I just learned about it on NFL Game Day morning, literally the day before, because he was on talking about it with Rich Eisen. Rich Eisen actually had a pretty good amount of knowledge on wrestling a little bit. Talked about CM Punk, talked about Seth Rollins. It was a pretty nice little thing.
Okay, Rich.
Hey, they're saying they hate me on that show.
What
You
the
see
fuck's
that?
that about?
Have we talked
What
about this
show?
yet?
I saw that one guy said.
What?
No, there's numerous. Gerald McCoy had to respond and say, I don't hate him. I like him. Kurt Warner had to respond, I don't hate him. I like him. If Mooch had an ex, I think he would have had to respond. I think they would have. A lot of people saying a lot is like 10 to 15, but that's more than you would expect to say, wow, these guys fucking hate Pat McAfee coming on this show. And I was like, I don't think that's true. And I watched some of the clips back. I'm like, I can see how you would. I can see how you would think. That's a 4-hour show, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a 4-hour show. I'm coming in the final hour.
Or what hour is it there too in LA?
Oh my God, yeah, exactly. So I don't think that's the case at all.
No.
But there was more than a handful of people that were like, these guys fucking hate when Pat comes on.
They don't know ball.
I'm gonna start viewing it from a different lens. I'm gonna start seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start seeing if it's true. 'Cause I'm coming in there just as like,
I'm sure you won't bring it up on Sunday.
hey, I heard you guys hate me. Thanks for making that the case. No, I'm a big fan of that show. I watch that show a lot.
Yeah.
I watch that show basically every Sunday. They do so many skits and shit. They don't take themselves serious. The people behind the scenes, I've got a chance to chat with them. Big brain, like TV brain, shit, segment ideas, doing this. I really enjoy that show. I think they're missing Michael Irvin.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which I think is
One of one.
He's on Speak.
One of one. Playmaker.
Oh yeah, he was on Speak.
He is.
Where's
he
that?
is. Phenomenal television.
Juice. He's on Speak every week. I think on Mondays.
He was yesterday.
Everybody try and get on that show. All right. From what I heard,
Yeah.
they're going to invest a lot into that show.
That's what they're saying.
From what I heard.
For now.
All right. We should have ended the show right after that Jerry Jones script thing. Because he crushed that.
Yeah.
Final answer. That was not Jerry Jones.
No, absolutely not.
No.
I did a little,
Age?
I did a little more
It was
digging.
definitely not. Taylor Sheridan wrote hit. He was informed by Jerry's life in the script, though. Like a lot of carryover. But Jerry, the way he delivered it, we've seen, like, watch any kind of athlete or someone in Jerry's position try to act, they're usually terrible. They're usually really bad.
On that note, John Cena, I think you will win an Oscar.
No doubt. Oh man, he was unbelievable. John Cena blew my socks off, as they say, as
Did you see
Ricky
his-
Stenicki.
Did you see? Oh, yes. Everything he does. Ferdinand,
Yeah.
even. You go back to Ferdinand.
Peacemaker.
When he's a voice, I mean, he is.
But he can do comedy, which comedy is tough for people to do, and he did it beautifully.
And he can do drama. And he does not take himself seriously at all. We'll do, hey, let's do it for good of content. I will do it. Those socks last night or something. Did you see? He had these high blue socks on with black shoes.
Swag.
And then he had, I was looking at it all. And I'm like, see, this is the fucking, he's the only human on earth that can come out in front of 17,000.
I thought I saw a picture from earlier in the day. Did he have that outfit on for 28 hours yesterday?
What do you mean? John Cena.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Woke
John
up like
Cena.
this.
There is, like last night involved a few of the people that guarantee buzz whenever they're around. And it's like, he's one of them. And he's way too nice to me and to us. I mean, he is. I stood next to him for, there's a thing that happened backstage. Everybody was kind of gathered around, learning some stuff. I'm standing next to John Cena. And I just like looked over at him and I'm like, this guy, this is one of the guys, like of all time.
Ever.
And he's going to go right into the movie business full time and he's going to become the guy. And he's just acting as if he's not, which is so stupid. I think that is why everybody really loves him at the WWE, because he is, to everybody, acts like he's just like the Rock talking to people is insane. Just the way, because I think the WWE people have been around for so long, so everybody has like a respect for each other, and everybody there is very important. Like everybody at every job is very important. If they don't do their job good, potentially ruin the business.
Yeah.
Potentially ruin the entire business. So it's nice to see like these megastars come back and how it's all operated. And Cena, whenever he hits
every time still.
Topanga was doing it. They showed Topanga, and she's doing, you can't see.
Topanga there. Michael.
What's her real name? Danielle?
Danielle Fishel. I saw that last
There we
night.
go.
I saw that last night because Cole was doing all the reading of the celebrity names, and he was getting new sheets like every time we would send a video. It's like, hey, here's a new list of people that are here tonight. Here's a new list of people that are here tonight, because I don't even think like WWE knew some of these people who were coming as fans of the show. So that was a cool thing. So whenever Danielle Fishel is on the sheet, I don't know who that, I had no idea who that was. I had no clue who that was. And it popped up on the screen. I'm like, there's Topanga. Macaulay was there. Also, his brother was there.
Kieran Culkin was there.
Dude, talk to him on the way out. Talk to him on the way out. Let him know, yo, you are a fucking mega talent, dog. Like, Secession was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Yeah, here's where I try to drop the name of the podcast. Hey, it's a wrestling podcast. That's all I could say out of the entire.
Kieran won a Golden Globe for a movie he was in.
He did.
Macaulay's brother.
Yeah, he's also Secession, right?
Roman.
He is the.
Yeah.
He is the show there.
Is that the guy from the show too? To her right?
Yeah.
To her left, our right?
Yeah.
They didn't put his name on there.
Eric Matthews,
Boom.
Will Friedle.
Yeah,
They kind of did him dirty.
That was him?
Yeah, that's Corey
Corey's
Matthews'
brother.
older brother. Yeah.
I met him. Did not.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Was that him?
Yeah, it was.
That's it.
Oh, fuck, dude. I messed it up.
He's on the podcast with her. Not a bad
Hey, it was great meeting you, man. If I would have known at the time, I would have paid much more respect. That's 100% on me.
He doesn't look the exact same.
Yes, he does.
He gets it. He looks the exact.
Now that you mentioned
They both look
that
the
is
same.
clearly him.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Love you.
It was a long day. It was a long day.
Yeah.
Golly. That's all.
I was worried earlier they had a shot of Fluffy in the background when they were showing somebody else. I'm like, oh, you're not going to mention Fluffy, but then they paid it off when they came back and promoted his special.
Fluffy was a part of the show. Fluffy was a part of the show. He's so jovial.
Yeah.
He is so jovial, Fluffy. It's always like
He's Fluffy.
Travis Scott, he had to feel so fucking cool walking into that place. Think about being Travis
Yeah, he got caught on a hot mic. It was awesome.
coming in.
Yeah. When they stopped halfway through the walk down, I forget what he said exactly, but I know it would have got bleeped out if it was into a microphone.
Okay, yeah. There was a couple of those where I'm like, are me and Cole only hearing this? Is everybody hearing this? And I think it was because the way everybody was on top. I mean, it was like Travis standing in that vom or whatever it is, and the people all on top of him with Fiend going, and him literally smoking That had to feel so fucking. That had to feel so.
I thought that was part of it. I thought you were part of it. You had a great interaction with him when they came down. Yep, Sage. Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, I had no idea it was coming out. Obviously, I had no idea he was.
I thought it was a thing. I was like, oh, this is they talked about this beforehand. I thought for sure it was a thing.
No idea. Yeah, no clues. I was like in the moment. I said, "This is so cool." Like that's literally how I felt. I had no clue what was coming. Then I see Travis Scott walk, and I hear Fiend start or whatever, and because it's played every Saturday at Game Day because every time it bangs, it goes. I mean, it is awesome. So I hear it start playing. I'm like, holy shit, Travis Scott doing something? And then I look up and he's standing up. I'm like, that is so awesome. And I see the vitamins and the sage just kind of irradiating from his hand. I'm like, this dude got to feel like the coolest guy of all time right now. And then when Jey Uso joins him up there and they start going absolutely apeshit, and 17,000 plus are all yeeting at the same time. I mean, that was, yeah, I mean, Travis is ready to fucking go to war right there.
Yeah.
As he should. Showman, dude.
Oh, yeah.
He sat down at the commentary desk. I had no idea that was. Can we get this guy a headset? They're like, I don't think he's doing that. I was like, he's sitting down right
why
now.
not?
Can we get him a headset? He's a cool dude, man. Got a chance to chat with him and his crew afterwards, and might have been able to experience the Sage a little bit.
Sure.
Cool moment there, and 10-time Grammy nominee. Bangers after bangers after bangers. His shoes, his business. The guy's crushing it, and he was all in last night. And that's what it was all about. I felt like everybody was all in there. You could feel that it was a special thing. Like throughout the night, you could feel it special. Sometimes calling Monday Night Raw, which is a 3-hour show, and obviously very lucky to be welcomed back, asked back, opportunity to come back and commentate. That is a very, very important seat in the history of professional wrestling. To do it alongside Michael Cole, I'm so incredibly lucky. But there's sometimes, there's a clock right over by Hard Cam over there, and we'll be doing a show, bang, 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 bang. And I look over, and it's been 47 minutes. I'm like, I thought we were going to be at least an hour and a half into this. I thought we were going to be at least hour, 45 minutes. And you look in, it's like 47 minutes. It's like, okay, let's do this thing. Last night, I wasn't able to keep up with everything that was happening. Obviously, I was trying to enjoy the moment as much as possible. And it was chaotic as shit, so you couldn't really do that. I looked down at my phone, and it was like 2 hours and 45 minutes into the show. I'm like, holy shit, we are still doing it. It was boom, 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 boom. What a start. I can't wait to hear what the numbers are. How's that work?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean,
Netflix
always supports that kind of stuff, yeah.
They did it with the NFL games.
It was packed, though.
Yeah.
Boom.
Well, it was a perfect venue, too, because that's one of one. If you just do that at even at MSG, I don't think it's delivering the same experience that place is, on night one.
Yeah, visually,
it was fucking incredible.
Production was outstanding.
Yeah.
I mean, the drones, the cranes, the Steadicam, everything was so good.
Perfect.
How about that drone?
It's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
I thought that was all, they were pre-recording it because I saw that thing early. That thing early was buzzing around. It's small, real small. And I think it's real small so it doesn't distract anybody, but also if it falls, we're not going to get any massive issues, because that is possible, I guess. But it was so small, and whoever was flying that fucking thing was in a cockpit because they were
talent.
I mean, it was real.
Yeah.
You ever watch those drone races?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Holy
We used to have them on in the office every day.
Dude, what a phenomenal
seen
thing.
these.
Oh,
crazy.
dude, they're going 10,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That is literally what it seems.
And they crash.
And they're racing through, into nets.
Big or?
Pretty powerful.
I don't know what. Yeah, it's hard to tell.
They're going
on
through
TV.
circles. They're going through hoops.
So tight. Through entire stadiums. They set up like a court.
They need to bring that back. The lumberjack games.
Yep.
That needs to come back.
The ice skating races down the mountains.
Yeah.
Crushed ice.
Crushed ice.
There it is.
They had did you guys see ESPN? One of the ESPNs I stumbled across with my kids the other day had the air guitar national championships.
Really?
They aired live.
I did see
as
that.
well.
Who won? Was that? Did that lady hit the double crown again, where she won the fake horse air guitar championship? Both of them back to back. I think she did that last year.
Oh, I didn't get to the very end of it. I would say the build up and the thought of it was a little bit better than the execution, but credit for them to put it on the air. Yeah.
That's what the Ocho does.
You're not talking about.
They only played their song for 25, 30 seconds each person, I think. I don't know who won. I didn't stick around.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we just got the moves. That's all you got.
Yeah, that's
slapping a bass.
Finland.
Oh shit. Oh.
Oh yeah, he's got it.
Oh my god, it's the winner, right?
Well, this didn't have anyone like this. Nobody was like this on the one I saw.
What?
Oh, yeah.
It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Hey, pull up the fake horse.
Watch
Pull up
it.
the fake, you want to talk about that? Be the dumbest shit
Yeah.
I've ever seen. Pull up the fake horse. You've seen this. This is the whitest thing I've ever seen on the internet. This is it. This is
Athletically.
Was that a crowd? It was a crowd there too? A big crowd?
Absolutely.
Yeah, 50, 60.
It's nothing else to
Into
do
it,
in fucking
though.
Finland.
What are you talking about? He's fucking cranking on that thing.
One dude was playing with his mouth.
Jimi Hendrix
Yeah.
pulled it
Little
off.
shout out.
Chuck Berry?
Did it? Yeah, had me fooled.
Joe Walsh from the Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
Life's been good to me. He has that too. Wow, wow, wow. And he's just drooling all over it. Fucking awesome. I've been to 3 of those concerts. Every time he does it, I love it. Just so uncomfortable in his mouth. Just shoved. Oh, it's just too that's stuck to the thing. And I spit it out to sing, and right back in there. What a dog. They do any of that in the air guitar? They do any of that?
Oh, that would've been
That would have won it.
talented.
That would have won the
Sweet.
entire thing. Here's the. Yep, here it is. What's going on, D-Butch? Welcome to White America.
Is that South Florida? Where is that?
That is South Florida, I think. Yeah.
I mean, it might. We got a big equestrian.
Who was in the crowd?
Good high knee.
White America. This is hobby horsing, is what they call it.
So
The
what are they
prancing in the back.
simulating?
That's a little practice in the back there. In the back.
Get the feel for the horse.
Listen, whatever you want to compete, as long as people are competing, I'm happy. You know, if you're gonna ride a fake fucking horse, be the best in the world at it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, shit!
Horses
That was
don't
sick.
jump
That
like
was-
That was actually.
Or that.
Bad horse.
They don't jump like
What is
that.
this? Dressage? Is that what?
The jumping of it.
See the handle you have on your horse?
Can you take the
Couple
track?
Tennessee Walkers right there.
Got a quarter horse too. Winner here, it seems like.
This is unbelievable.
Great win.
You know what I do enjoy? The girl who stares at the judge while walking her pig with the stick.
Oh yeah, state fairs are a good time. State fairs are a good time. You have raised this farm animal, whatever it is, all year to get a good score, a good grade, so that you can auction it off for a good amount of money. It's a business, right? I think. If I'm understanding how state fairs and county fairs and all these things go with pigs and cows and bulls and everything, you name it. And you see the exact people that are doing it, the judges. So you're like right in front of them, like, huh? Look at this fucking hog right here. Huh? They grease them all up, make their hair look good. I'm telling you, he's,
Saw it with goats this year at the Indiana State Fair.
yeah, it happens with all these animals.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's like 9 or 10 kids. This was the youth one, and there are these goats that they were like raised with. So like, they've had these same goats since they were like 8 years old.
I think it's 4-H. I think is what it's called. Also, the competitive version of this for the kids. They like ride horses. There's like growing flower. You see some of these flowers at some of these state fairs. Do you know what these are?
No.
We're talking like sunflower seeds. There's sunflowers that are like fucking. I'm like, I don't know how that's not in GMO. I don't know how that works, but that horse thing right there, that's a tough look for us.
Yeah,
it is.
That was America?
The words were
No.
in a different language on the wall.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, different language.
that one
Yeah,
wasn't
right.
American.
That was not us.
No.
We don't do that.
So the fake air guitar was in Finland is not America.
No, this one was in America. It was the first time ever live. I saw the pre-show.
They had a kickoff show for
Like an
the.
air
Kickoff
guitar
show.
pre-show.
It was a big deal. Big deal. First time ever live. First time they ever did it live. There was a guy dressed up kind of like Evel Knievel that was like the MC, kind of getting people on and off, directing traffic. Yeah.
Beast.
I love that. I love any time you get to watch a good host. You know, host's gonna have to carry that too because there's no actual guitar shreds.
Right.
You know, and I don't know how they get clearance on all the music. They get clearance on all the music. This particular thing.
Yeah, I didn't really hear any hits, so that's what I was wondering the same thing.
Okay.
That's probably-
that's tough. That's what made it tough too. I'm like, if you're playing the hits, I can kind of get it. I can watch this.
If you're playing all the Guitar Hero songs,
Yes.
which is basically what they are, right?
Thank
You're filthy at that.
Yeah, I love Guitar Hero. Very good. Love that game. Grew up on Guitar Hero and Rock Band.
There's people that are so good at it that their fingers make so much. They put it on muted and they're hitting it so hard that plastic sounds like somebody typing on a keyboard.
I got a couple of those. Like the Joker. I probably played the Joker on Guitar Hero.
What's that sound like?
200
What's the
times.
Joker sound like?
I'm
The
a
Miller
Joker.
Band.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, bingo.
Midnight Joker. And you're just
Yeah, oh yeah.
crushing it. You ever play Guitar Hero?
Oh yeah.
What about the band one? What was the band one?
Rock Band.
I did that back in the day. That was fun trying to play the drums.
Guitar Hero World Tour also has all the instruments. You can play the drums and sing on that one as well.
Because I wasn't good at the Guitar Hero. That one wasn't. But whenever they did the band thing, and I could play the drums, 2:30, 3 a.m. in the living room, after a good night out, or maybe just back this thing and sing my ass off.
You a big arcade guy growing up?
Who?
Going to arcades?
Yeah, not a lot of games. I wasn't really when this one started, the
asteroids,
the bricks, stacking the bricks.
Tetris?
No, Tetris. The bricks are bouncing back and forth like this, and then you got to stop. And then there's the next level of bricks coming up like this, and you got to stop them. And you could have won. I forget, it was like $1,000 thing. And obviously every time I went to stop, but there was a summer I spent trying to play that game for hours at the Monroeville Mall, which I don't think you can go to anymore. People are just getting shot there.
And malls are tough.
Malls are dying. Netflix is buying all of them.
Malls were awesome.
Sorry, what?
Malls was like hangout.
Netflix is buying all the
For
abandoned
what?
malls in America and making them movie studios, show studios.
Sweet.
So there's a grocery store that's for sale right down the street here. A lot of space.
Okay.
I've thought to myself, what can we do with this thing? It has to be something. And there's multiple things.
PayPal Arena.
Netflix, I think we can make
that'd be so
1/4 of this. Think about how big these are.
Massive.
They're so big, and it's just sitting there. It's like right down the street. I'm like, there has to be 6 things we could put in here that could help out the entire society. I don't know about a movie studio.
Yeah, mall.
Movie theaters. A couple movie theaters potentially, and some of it would be fun. Indoor putt-putt would be.
There's a place, my kids play basketball, an old Sears, I believe. It's gigantic, and they have like 4 or 5 full-size basketball courts. They have basketball tournaments there every weekend, and then the whole other half is like an indoor, trampoline type park with all of that stuff and arcades. They have volleyball. It has everything.
Yeah, if you out here, what was that?
Megaplex.
The the Incrediplex.
Yeah.
Incrediplex. That place, it turned into like a log.
Like a lumber facility or something.
They used to have like 6 basketball courts inside of it, practice field, indoor soccer on one side. I mean, it was
Baseball.
a huge space. Yeah, there was baseball and everything was in there. It was like massive space. I don't know what it would be like to heat and cool it all. But all these big spaces are kind of losing their luster.
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
like it.
some of them you're getting good use out of them. Like what AJ just mentioned, we got a couple of those popping up too. We got one like pick a ball to place. They got full-size basketball courts, batting cages, shooting areas with like a bunch of those. Remember,
We need those.
What was the rebounder?
Gun?
You shoot it back there. Shooting gun, like all these different areas. I know right after COVID, during COVID, probably like 2021, we were like start to reserve the courts to go play like pickup basketball. You had to, do the temperature check or whatever bullshit. But now post that, volleyball tournaments, whatever, pickleball tournaments, all type of shit there.
Were you ever worried that maybe you had exercised too much before they shot that thing at your forehead to see what your temperature was and you weren't going to be able to do something? It was very important just because you happened to have a little higher temperature at the moment, not really for rest of your
They
life.
weren't checking. They weren't checking.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking
My
about?
brother, I went into a place with my brother, and he was 89 degrees on his forehead, and they're like, and they just sent him through, and he's like, "What? Am I dying? Like what? What?" They're like, "Yeah, just keep coming."
Well, it's so cold here. Don't you think I need to warm up a little bit?
Yeah.
What's the deal? That was a wild time. How about when they were shoving that thing up her nose?
Ooh.
I had to get up there.
Yeah.
Remember we had a car full of us in for NXT. We got tested together.
6 of us in a 5-seat car. Somebody comes out in a hazmat suit to come stick things up our nose. We're going to be okay. Everybody's good. Yeah, that's why we're in here. This is a safe car. Thank you. Had to go through a parking garage. Right? There was a line.
Yeah.
Had to go through a parking garage. Hazmat suits on the testers.
Wow.
Every car behind us was one single person, just the driver.
Take it up.
Person with the mask on, with the glasses, the whole suit. Rolled down the window. Here, we're going to need to test you. How many are you in there? Jeez Louise. All right. Called other testers over to help out with the process. I thought we were going to end the entire operation right there. We passed though, didn't we, boys?
We did.
That's because we
Always
remained
did.
socially distant. We washed our hands.
Yep, all the time.
We ate and then put the mask right back.
Yep.
French fry. Boom.
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 I was
Sip
seeing
coffee.
Boom. Yeah, because if you accidentally just took it in, right there.
Too much.
Yeah. What you just did was It spit it out everywhere. There's some real fear, brother.
You wonder why nobody believes anything anymore.
Gumps.
That was what a crock of shit.
God, what?
What an absolute crock of
Gumps.
shit.
We don't know. It's somewhere in the middle, obviously, and I'm sure we'll find it all out.
Yeah.
And that's what the good thing about it all. And what's going on up in Canada?
Yeah, Gumpy, your leader stepping down.
Not my leader, and he's done, brother.
Okay. All right. I think Gumpy has been very wide open on this particular case. Is there anybody that's saying he's? Because it sounded like the videos I was seeing of Trudeau were coming out of ski resorts and jogging on trails.
Tell you what, you go to a place like the Kootenays, think you're going to push those people around. That's not how Canada works, brother.
Was that his last straw?
That was it. He went to the
Can't do
fucking,
that.
thought he was going to go skiing and take over that fucking
Can't do
hotel in the Kootenays.
Yeah, holiday season?
Yeah, I don't think so,
Is that near
brother.
Banff?
Banff, no, Banff's in Calgary. Okay. Banff is, if you're going to go somewhere in Canada, Whistler and Banff are beautiful snow mountains.
Hell yeah.
People can world leaders can just shut things down, just like that.
Almost happened to you.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to. 15 hours. What? I'm going to be stuck in Los Angeles for 15 hours? You need to get to the airport right now. Or how am I walking? How am I? Oh, they're going to get a car to you. Okay. We're inside one of the most locked down places. That Intuit Dome, it's like an entire campus, kind of. You know, it's kind of like a campus. There's like
all that shit outside.
Got the
and everything.
outdoor court.
everything. Like it is a full campus. It is locked down, though. Very well done. I think they should feel very proud of the building that they have. How nice everything is. Obviously, it's very brand new. The people that worked inside of it were very, I mean, it was very well done. But if your car is on the opposite side, it's going to be tough to get the amount of checkpoints that you got to get to there, which is good and bad. But yeah, I thought we were stuck in Los Angeles because they just shut it down. Hey, let's do a giveaway. I want to do a giveaway. It's January 7th, the day after AJ Hawk's birthday.
Right.
D-Butch. Oh, no. AP Tone.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, big day.
AP Tone, yeah, he does have a big day.
Huge.
Yeah.
Did you already submit, or is that yesterday you had to submit?
Yesterday was the All-Pro teams.
And then when are the awards?
Tomorrow by 5.
Pressure's on.
Good Lord.
The heat is on. I'll tell you what. You win 30 people $500 doing
Throwing a football at something.
a football toss into that basketball hoop right over there.
Bingo.
I think that's an indicator that you're going to get it right.
I think so.
Yep.
I think that's an indicator that you're going to get it right. Why don't you throw it into that basketball hoop over there, actually?
Whatever hoop you want.
I think this one down here is better because we don't want you to hit our ping pong table.
True. All those hoops are looking like the Gulf of America to me right now. So I can
Try to get that in there earlier.
Yep. Golf of
We
what?
pivoted away from it. The Gulf of America, I do believe, is the water down there in between Florida and Texas.
Yep.
I think.
Oh, new name.
Yep.
That's what I heard.
I mean,
Old
it
name.
makes sense, right?
Changing it back.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am a real American.
He ripped his shirt off. That worked.
He certainly did.
People loved it.
Netflix is raw. Man, he just stood in the pocket, didn't he?
Absolutely.
He did.
He should have had that NWO shirt like under it just in case.
Oh, planning?
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah.
Go with the first one. Oh, okay. This is what's going to be.
Go
Yeah.
deal.
It starts out with brothers and then ends with fuck you.
Yeah. Body slams Jimmy Hart.
Oh.
He had those red shoes, though. He would have lost those sweet red shoes if he wore the NWO.
Hulkster, keep
Yeah,
doing it, brother.
he's not losing them motherfuckers.
They're easily
What?
spottable.
Size 38s.
That's Hulk Hogan. That's Hulk Hogan.
You look loose. Getting his arm loose.
Conviction.
I'm just thinking of Hulkster having to stand in the pocket.
Yeah, he got it
I
done.
just keep thinking of it because he looked out at one point. It was a good. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's better than no reaction. It's better than nothing.
For when he gets into a crowd that
That is
loves
his
him,
crowd?
they're going to go way over.
Ape shit for him.
Yeah.
You're right. You're
And
right.
he is going to take it all in, brother.
Made it through the worst part.
Yeah, this week when he's at a Kroger selling, great American beer, they're just gonna.
It's real American beer.
Yeah, but it's a great American beer as well.
It is. You're right. I forgot
Yeah,
because
so-
it is brewed in the United States of America.
Obviously, they're gonna mob him.
I'm excited to try it.
Me too.
How do we think it is? I think it's going to be okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think all those for the most part, like those kind of new beers all taste somewhat similar. But if I know Hulkster, he's got a special spin on it.
Is there a light?
Similar? What? Similar as in shite?
What?
Or
real American beer isn't shite. They're serving it at Hogan's Hangout, brother.
Okay, when's karaoke? Is that tonight? They need to go crazy for him tonight.
Typically Mondays, but I bet they moved. to
usually.
They need to go crazy for him whenever he fucking hits it tonight, please.
They will.
17,000 people telling him. There was people cheering for him. I would like it to be known.
There was a pop at the start.
Yeah, there was
because
people
it was so loud inside the stadium. I didn't hear the boos.
I was cheering.
Yeah, me too.
Hulkster's in it, Bill. Holy shit.
There are a couple others.
Oh, we're not. He is a real American. Gulf of America, where'd you hear that from? What was that all about? The Gulf of America.
That's the name of it, though.
Okay.
Our elected president changed the name of it.
Yes, he
We're
did.
also behind Greenland and Canada. Okay? So,
And possibly Mexico.
I don't know.
nah.
There is.
There you go.
Okay, there it is. It's official. It is official. It is on the Google Maps and on the Apple Maps. We don't make the rules. Okay, it is clear as day.
Yeah, that settles it.
That is the name of it all. It's an awesome time to be alive, legitimately. Let's enjoy it all. Let's also enjoy Tone Diggs asking the football gods if he is on the right track with this football for that hoop over there. If it goes in, 30 people will win $500, AJ Hawk. Oh, he's throwing it.
That was a
Oh, my God.
Hey,
Throw that
it had some
through the
conviction,
spot.
though. He had some conviction on that.
A bit last time. I'm not doing that.
Usually it gets worse from here, though.
Oh, no.
unfortunately.
What he said is it's going to get better. You can't hear him, obviously.
Yeah,
on the
it is.
weekend. It's only going to get better. He's super positive. You told him that he needs to have conviction.
yes.
And he did with that particular throw right there. Maybe he can do it once again. Connor, do you have any? What are you flipping off? AJ, he said it was only going to get worse.
What?
He said it was only going to get worse. Yeah, he didn't say it was.
No, I said it. No, history proves that it gets worse usually.
He said history tells us that you're only going to get worse right now. That's what he said. Not you right now, just history.
I don't believe it. I think he's getting better.
Hey, nothing that happened yesterday determines what's going to happen.
No.
Block out the noise.
That's-
Block out.
That was a lot.
Forget about Hawk. Hawk's an asshole. He's 41 now. He's a prick.
Yeah, I turned 41 yesterday.
30 people.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
That one was almost walking a dog around the rim.
Yeah.
Right down there. That was, I don't know if there's enough air in that particular ball. A little deflation up there in New England, maybe. 30 people.
Proved wrong.
500.
Proved not true, by the way.
I saw a science guy that got a Medal of Freedom.
No, they proved it was not true. In 2015, they started taking the bullshit tests, and they, after the 2015 season, said, hey, what happened in 2014 happens every single time a game gets played in cold weather, so that was completely false.
Yeah, but Bill Nye, he told me.
Oh, yeah?
I was right to my face.
Bill Nye's a fucking mark. Okay? He doesn't know shit. He's a puppet.
Don't talk about Bill Nye like that.
I love Bill
He
Nye.
deserves more respect.
But it's true.
That's a deflated ball.
Oh, does it get cold in here sometimes? Yeah, that's why. You're welcome, science.
30 people.
Jeez.
Oh, well, that was an ugly one. Maybe what AJ said was true. I don't like it, right? I don't love that is the case. 30 people, $500. Oh, that was the one.
You got to throw a Duke, though.
Yeah,
These are NFL awards.
AP.
Yeah, you're right. These are men's league awards. And also, cowboy hat, not a problem. It's not hitting off.
It is, because I'm normally more over the top.
Yeah.
I got to bring it out a little bit.
So now you're Phil Rivers in it a little bit. But for the good of Phil Rivers, why don't you win 30 people?
That was a good looking ball, though.
That was a good looking ball.
Good spin.
I'm throwing a good ball. Some of those were.
Yeah, close only counts in hand grenades, horseshoes,
Abe,
and
Adam Bomb?
That's true.
Definitely.
But
not
just
really,
repeated
that
AJ.
one.
Yeah,
Bocce.
ball.
Oh, okay.
Bocce is what we're
When
talking
you guys called the bocce, I showed you Mickey Mouse.
It was.
I don't know what. I
was
don't know
very Mickey
anything
Mouse.
there.
Take a 5-step drop.
Yeah, why don't you make it real like these AP votes are tomorrow? 30 people, $500. Oh, boy. Oh. All right. It was a good effort. It was a good effort out of our AP voter. It's time for one last ball that has a dorsal fin on it.
Oh,
That's been.
Oh, there it is.
it's for Russ's job.
This is for Steelers in the playoffs, brother.
Oh, mama,
I'm in fear for my life from the long arm of the law.
Boom, boom. Renegade is the song for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, no. One and done for the team from Pittsburgh. Tones from a town with a good football team.
Great.
Used to say great. Now everybody in Pittsburgh is singing the song saying it's just a good football team, not a great football
The playoff song came out. I didn't even listen to it.
Jeez.
You're talking about Boswell's toe?
Yeah.
Wait, the playoff song?
Yeah, can we pull that up? What, I didn't hear that.
The Colts playoff song came out too.
Don't be an asshole.
I don't know if you heard it.
Dufflo was on Duffield, and he was the best part of Duck Game. Okay,
No
so
doubt.
why don't you have a little respect for the fan of the year?
Someone put together a bar-filled song about the Colts, and it is
I heard that. Yeah, that was a lot of time.
Good,
went ham.
Good flow.
Yeah, there at the beginning, you think, oh, this is going to be
I
kind
get
of
it.
crop.
Yeah.
But then it's like, no, you got 2.5, 3 minutes left here, and there he is. He's going in.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the Colts Crusade? I believe. Yeah. 2024-2025 Steeler fight song by Roger Wood, and this is to get the boys fired up, take on the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
Here we go. Here we go.
Pittsburgh's gone to the Super Bowl.
Here we go.
Cheer the Steelers.
Black and the gold. Here we go.
This town of Pittsburgh's heart and soul.
Here we go.
The Steeler Nation has the best fans. We are from Pittsburgh, the 6-time Super
Bowl champs. Here we go. Come on, AJ. Here we go.
Isn't that fucking bass line?
Trying to hear it.
Here we go. Steelers. Here we go. Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. Here we go.
Russell Wilson is ready to win.
Yes.
Come on. With Pickens, Freiermuth, and Jalen Warren. We'll go to Najee when we need a touchdown. And if you get in his way, he's gonna knock you right.
Here we go.
It's really the same song. The names change a little bit. Though.
Here we go.
That's not true.
Now, Roger Wood puts his own sauce on it. Here we go. Steelers. Here we go. Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. Here we go.
Now the offense is ready to score. Here we go.
Well,
and there's one thing we know
for sure.
If we don't get it in the end zone,
we'll get 3 points off of Boswell's toe. Here we go. Here we go. You get it?
D-Butts is judging this, but we've won 6 Super Bowls with this song.
I mean,
here we go.
I'll let it continue.
There's another minute, brother.
Yeah.
Here we go.
We got Highsmith, Watt, and Hayward.
Here we go.
It's Patrick Elliott and Joey Jr. Here we go. The other team won't gain any ground because the defense is gonna bring the steel curtain down.
Here we go.
That's pretty
Yeah.
Wow.
Here we go. Defense, defense, defense. Here we go.
Minka's not going to be happy.
Pretty long. Pretty long song.
It's 2 minutes, 38 seconds. Here we go.
When we were growing up,
They're dire Chauncey's.
they would play it over the loudspeaker in school.
Yeah, whenever it came out. Shout out to Roger Wood.
Minka's going to quit.
Why? Because he's not a part of the defense part of that?
He's a Pro Bowler.
He's going to
Is
quit.
he?
Yeah.
He made a Pro Bowl?
That song.
So his season was
What?
That song stinks.
What the hell?
Roger Wood, D-Butts.
I feel so
Have
much
some
better
respect.
about DeFlo. As soon as the organization gets on DeFlo level,
No, you don't.
DeFlo didn't know where he was at.
you know what the Lions over there listening to right now while y'all listening to Roger Wood?
What's that?
Yeah.
You know.
is that song about the Lions?
Bingo.
No.
Took the words right
I
out.
One
challenge
opportunity?
you. I challenge you to find a better fight
No,
song for a team.
LeAngelo Ball.
Oh, I heard that song.
The new Jello.
Banger.
It is a heater a little bit.
Legit.
It is an actual heater. Now, I don't know if it's about the Lions, but maybe that'll motivate him.
It's in that locker room.
Roger Wood is not the only one in Pittsburgh that makes bangers, though. Okay? I'm from the town with the great football team. Go on and get them Steelers. It's a whole other one. You don't even...
There's Donnie
Is
Irish.
that Brett Michaels?
Brett Michaels. Black and gold.
Yeah, I mean...
Sorry, black and yellow. I don't know why
Kind
you
of changed
why
that,
you named
ruined
it
that. Yeah, Wiz, first person to ever call her gold yellow, but I had
Black
to kind of
and
go with
gold.
it because it was such a heater. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
It sounds better.
It does, but not like in Pittsburgh. It's black and gold. Like that was just kind of the thing. And then Wiz was like, you know what? I like what we're doing, but I can make a fucking heater with this, so let's go ahead and do that. And then, lo and behold, everybody was out there.
Might be about the Penguins.
They hate Mink out there?
That was kind of what was being chatted about.
Pro Bowl.
Steelers, he was surprised that he made it just because he hasn't been as splashy this year. The splash plays have been.
Yeah, but he asked another question.
More like
What was the question?
Wasn't there like a rumor that he was, they were mad at him or something like that?
That was disproved. It was someone else on the defense.
Okay, so it's not true.
It was definitely someone on the defense.
But it wasn't Minka?
I don't think it was 39.
I think you should have been saying that louder. I think that with the counter on that should have been said a little bit louder.
I don't think it was ever confirmed.
Well, no, nobody actually said it was Minka.
No, but it was certainly
inferred.
It was certainly inferred. So I think if it wasn't him, I think that should have been. We probably should have maybe been saying a little bit louder.
It was another number.
I assumed it was Minka till right now.
Yeah, bingo. That's exactly where I lived as well. So I'm happy we did some journalism there.
Yeah.
What number do you think it is?
I know what number it is.
What number?
Whoa.
Time.
90?
No.
It's a new season now.
It's not nearly as exciting as if it were.
Are you trying to drive a wedge through the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I think the
defense?
team knows that guy stinks, though. That's why I don't think it's him.
He's inferring?
Yes. Like, if you know a guy stinks on your team, you're not going to call him out publicly. Everybody knows he stinks.
Or it's like hey, let's fucking shit on this guy's
Or it
team
could have been a
and come
shot.
together.
Or it could have been a shot, which I think at the coaching staff, hey, why is this guy on the fucking field?
All right. On that note, let's go ahead and get on out of here. Got a big one tomorrow.
Huge.
Hope we'll get to the bottom of that. We need
We're
Kaboli
at
to get
the
to the bottom of that.
Multiple guys.
No.
Nah, it was multiple guys. One guy at the top of the list, but everybody can, we've been in those meeting rooms before. Everybody can throw their hand up at certain times. But
That's right.
It's one guy that's throwing their hand up a little bit more. But it's a new season for Black and Gold.
Nailed it.
Boom.
Thank you, D-Butts.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have some breaking news out of Las Vegas. Antonio Pierce fired.
Wow.
From the Las Vegas Raiders.
Damn it.
So that is one season for Antonio Pierce as the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Former player, obviously giant legend, interim head coach of the Raiders last year when they had so much success in the offseason. There was a big groundswell of support for Antonio Pierce to be the head coach of the Raiders. This year has not gone the way that they could have imagined it at all. Obviously, they end up trading away Devontae Adams. There's a lot of conversation about other people getting traded out of there. Tom Telesco, who's the GM, I don't know if he certainly was the one that picked Antonio Pierce as head coach. Was there a differing of opinion there? How do they go forward? Was Mark Davis thinking about this all along? When did this decision start coming to the forefront? So many questions that I assume will never get answered, but one season is all Antonio Pierce will be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders for. Now, he obviously signed a guaranteed contract. That's what coaches' contracts are. So did Gerard Mayo. So congrats to them on being professional golfers if they want going forward for the next 4 years or 3 years, however long their contract was. But yet another situation of a former player getting a head coaching job, and then one season ownership and decision makers deciding, we ain't doing this. D, but I saw you throw your pen. You don't think 1 year is enough to develop a culture, to make your team, get your guys, get everything on schedule? You don't think there's enough of a case study for Antonio Pierce here?
No, I don't. He did, he had a little bit more 1 year, obviously being in an interim role, but we saw what he had at quarterback. And we know the same situation in Tennessee. If you don't hit that quarterback position, it's going to be tough. So to have 1 year, and then this is the opportunity where you have a position to actually go and get a quarterback and have a chance to kind of build your team, build your roster, and it's still a certain culture. Obviously, we aren't in that building, so we don't know the ins and outs and how everything was going week to week. But I felt like they competed at least down the stretch for sure. So not shocked. This was one of the names that were floating around, but I hate when guys kind of get shafted like this where it's one and done, don't really get a real chance.
Schefter has put out a summary of what has happened since, 2021 when John Gruden resigned after his emails and only his emails were learned of how many thousand? 70,000?
Something absurd.
Some insane amount. Obviously came to light through the Washington football team's investigation, allegedly, to Josh McDaniels, who was fired in 2023, to Pierce now in 2025. Obviously, a lot of turnover over there in Las Vegas, new city for the Raiders, and there's a lot of things happening quickly, trying to establish a culture. John Gruden's name is back into conversation about being an NFL coach. Obviously, he's dominated on the NFL. Did he and Mark Davis get along? I think so, right?
I thought so. I don't remember them having issues.
I remember Mark Davis not being pumped about the entire situation when Gruden almost felt like he was forced. Remember, that was the
backpack.
I'm going to get there, guys. I'll talk about this later. If John Gruden is getting interviews with other jobs, I wonder if Mark Davis is like, well, he could certainly potentially get an interview
He's probably
with
still
us.
paying him.
Yeah, and I don't know if Gruden
Or maybe
would
not.
want to go back to the Raiders with how everything went in that thing. But if that ends up being a storyline that ends up happening here, it would be great. Rex Ryan back to the Jets. Potentially Gruden maybe back. Once again, this is not knowing Gruden at all or the Raiders at all or any plans. But I know Gruden's name has been mentioned with some teams in like conversations. Hasn't been listed on social media because I think some teams don't want to be the ones that are, the first team to say we're bringing John Gruden back into the NFL. But people have said there's been interest in John Gruden. It's like, it makes sense. The guy could fucking win. Like, that's what he did. And in the world that we're in right now, having to be able to communicate, having to be able to understand everything, it's like, that'd be an insane situation. Not saying that's going to happen, but that would be an insane situation as the Raiders now are added to the list of teams that are looking for a new head coach, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, I would imagine the Raiders, I don't know if it's Gruden or not, but I would imagine they have a couple guys in mind that they want to bring in to be the head coach. Like this, it's kind of weird timing. Did he end up talking to the media yesterday? I know Shefty said he was going to talk to the media.
Yep, and he said he has not been told otherwise whenever he was asked if he's going to be back as the coach. This is just like when Eberflus was like, I'm preparing to go do it this weekend, and he's fired 20 minutes later. And then now it's a day after his press conference. Antonio Pierce, Doug Peterson, Gerard Mayo, Matt Eberflus, Dennis Allen, Robert Saleh, all coaches that have been fired either this season or since the end of their seasons. Then obviously you look at the OC, DC, and general managers. There's a lot of spots to be filled now. 6 total head coach openings, if you count what happened in the season. 7 to 10 is normally the average, right? That is normally where we land. There's 6 right now. Is this it?
It's got to be, right?
I think McCarthy situation.
Dallas, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Still got to get figured out.
Would that?
That's not firing.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, yeah, 7, 8, not like a year. That's insane. I think you definitely need some time. There are situations where you can definitely see it and say, all right, made a mistake. Let's move forward. Hey, there's some hot names out there. We definitely have the inside track to get one. And you're talking about Gruden. I think Gruden is one of those coaches who have a lot of say on the personnel side too. Because I believe when him and Mayock were together, I think he made the final call. So that would be something else that teams will have to sign off on if you bring a guy like that in.
I'm fascinated by it all right now because what was Pierce and Mark Davis's conversations? When did Pierce think this was possible? At what point did he understand that the writing was on the wall? How long has Mark Davis felt like this? Is it since the chaos started middle of the season? Like, hey, this is not how we want to go about doing this. It's not how we thought. It's just like Gerard Mayo. Like, everybody's saying it was like the last month, basically, is when it really started heating up in this whole thing. But remember, you can win your fan base back over with just one hiring. Like, you can just win everybody back over with one hiring, especially if it's one that's viewed as winning the headline, winning the press conference. Maybe that's what Mark Davis is thinking, too, so they don't lose hope. If they get a quarterback, why not? What if they bring in Shador and Prime?
I think you have to trade up.
This will be Brady's first big decision as a partial owner of the Raiders.
Tom Brady is a mentor, right, to Shador?
Yep.
Yeah. Has been for years now.
Owner of the Raiders.
Oh.
Is Coach Prime and Shador taking the Sanders show to Las Vegas?
Whew.
Who the fuck knows? We know nothing, dude. We know absolutely nothing. No. That was what Schefter was saying yesterday when he was him-hawing. It was this decision.
Yeah.
I think he's out. But him, he didn't know. He really didn't know. Because these owners, I want to say they live a very different life than everybody else and have very different thoughts than everybody else, but they do. They can make any decision they want. That's why I thought Marvin Harrison Jr. could potentially have been an Indianapolis Colt, because on draft night, Jim Irsay could have walked in there and been like, hey, excuse me, is there a Marvin Harrison in this draft? Yeah, he's a Colt. We're going to go get him. That can happen at any time with any of these owners. So when did Mark Davis start thinking this was the case? And who does Tom Telesco want to work alongside, as the general manager? He's been around the league a long time. He was in Indianapolis. I was very lucky for him. He's the one that brought me basically into the Indianapolis Colts world with Bill Polian, ended up drafting me. And then he goes to San Diego and then Los Angeles. And then now he's with the Raiders. It's like he's been around a long time. A lot of coaches.
Yeah.
A lot of coaches. He has a lot of networks in there. Who's he going to want and who's making a decision? We shall see. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Rand Carthon fired today. Antonio Pierce fired today. Anybody else?
Justin Trudeau
Couple OCs.
He resigned.
Resigned.
Mark
Yeah.
Davis also could have just flipped the coin. Like that's why Schefter probably didn't have any information.
But did he use the coin?
Or like did
All
he?
rise? Out of
Was he
7
was he
times.
playing like Game Boy and lost the game? Was like, all right, I'm done.
What are we talking about here?
Mark Davis.
Or he was in
Owner
his
Mark
office.
Davis arrived at the team facility within the last hour to deliver the news to Pierce. He finished 4-13 this last season. Just got there. I can't fucking take it anymore. I'm going up there right now. Is he in his office? Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Turn off your fucking key fob. Think about him walking in there. I thought you were going to be much better. You're fucking fired. See ya.
Get out.
You're back within the last hour. I mean, it's a quick conversation.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be terrible.
Could you imagine him walking down with like Ari Gold did with a paintball gun or whatever?
Yep.
Antonio walks in.
Crazy.
The fuck out of my building. Ruin this place. Or was it kosher? I'm going to pay you for the next 5 years, obviously.
For everybody too, though. All the assistants too. Like they know now. Hey, we got to look for another gig.
Yeah.
Special teams coordinator out there.
Yeah.
Coaching is a wild business, brother.
It's crazy. And Schefter, before he did the leaning in, leaning out segment, he was like, we're talking about lives and jobs and families here. It's like, I understand we got to preface every conversation with that because it's very real. Like when a player gets traded, nobody talks about like their family's just getting uprooted from the community that they're in and having to move to another one and yada, 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 everything like that. Coaches get compensated very, 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 very well. But they all know it's part of the gig. They all know that they're like military families, how much they move. You know, they are all around. But I mean, Mitt's here, and obviously Mitt's Mitt. But Mitt was in like 4 different towns within like 10 years because his dad was going to Atlanta, St. Louis, we're here, we're there, we're bang, bang, boom, 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 because the coaching like, yeah, dog. I got culture, dude. I'm fucking all over the place, you know? I got more hometowns than The Rock. That's what he just said. That's what the Mitt said. I could hear him say it.
Little Mitt.
Good for Mitt.
These guys also all know like they're gonna get another job. It's not like you get fired and then it's just like, well, I guess that's it for me. Like that doesn't fucking happen. All these guys are gonna get a job elsewhere.
Or you get on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's there's enough jobs seemingly at this point.
You wonder if any of them go to North Carolina. See if Bill makes a call because they're making it a NFL type deal.
Bill Bell, how about him taking these pictures in high school? You seen these? Him and Lombo were in the back room of a equipment room, taking a picture with a high school kid that was this tall.
Saw him, Steve.
Steve got a chance to see him in the back of the car yesterday. He's jacked up. They're traveling around.
He's jacked.
Bill's got fucking full on. Steve just wore a black t-shirt.
Yeah.
How we doing?
Nintendo shirt.
Carhartt t-shirt.
Listen, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was Carhartt. Hey, listen.
Jeez, look at that kid.
Not only there was like 4 or 5 of these guys, and he was posting pictures. They're all gigantic. I don't think Julius Pepper, I guess, is from North Carolina, right?
Yep.
Is that accurate? The way they're talking about North Carolina talent, like, hey, North Carolina's got people. Like they got a lot of talent in state that hasn't stayed. That's like South Carolina's the same exact thing. South Carolina, Louisiana, South Carolina, North Carolina. There's like hotbeds for great football players. And I think all these schools are trying to turn it like, hey, we're going to stay here. The amount of money North Carolina seemingly is spending, paying Bill, paying Lombo, paying the entire staff. They'll have the maximum amount of rev share, he said. They'll have maximum amount of NIL stuff. He's got a country club membership across the street. I mean, the whole town is kind of going all in. They got great unis.
Great.
If Bill walks into your high school, though, I feel like that's a...
Yeah.
We're going to do this or what?
He brings Michael Jordan. He brings Jordan with him a couple times.
No, this guy.
Yeah, Jordan can give them as much money as they...
Yeah, it's like Uncle Phil Knight over there in Oregon.
It is.
Yeah.
That's a good vault to have. And then Larry Ellison now is with Michigan. That's a great one. He's 200-some billion. I looked it up the other day.
Yeah.
Really?
200-some billion.
Oracles.
Sheesh.
He owns Lanai, Hawaii, the island, the whole fucking thing. And now he's back in Michigan with everything else that Michigan has. Texas, they had like 3 different collectives, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Texas had like 3 different collectives. Ohio State, obviously, they got a couple people giving their money. And that's why Ken Kendrick is going to be the guy that's going to save West Virginia University.
Oh, yeah, Ken.
Come on, Ken. We need you, Ken. You done good. Let's put West Virginia on the map there in that entirety. Because now they have the rev share and the salary cap. The NIL deals are still going to be very important. The thing about all the NIL deals is you're not going to be able to pay $10 million for one car dealership visit, though. They're all going to have to get regulated. But you can get like 4, 5, 6 deals.
Oh, yeah.
So as long as you have them, you're in a good spot. They just all have to get stamped by that jury or judge or whatever the fuck it is. I think we're going to a good spot in college ball.
Right way.
Might change in April.
April 8th, 2025. Big ruling for college sports as a whole. Big ruling for the future of sports as a whole. And how about college football being the clear number 2 sport in the United States of America?
Oh, yeah.
Not even, you know, NFL, college football, and then everything else. WWE, WWE, I think, is probably the next. And then everybody else is trying to catch up. Football is a beautiful sport. We're lucky to talk about it every single day. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do it for a living. Let's get the hell out of here. We're back tomorrow. Aaron Rodgers is on tomorrow.
Okay.
Nice.
We have an answer? You'll give us an answer tomorrow?
Yeah. You think?
I retire on the spot.
That was a question.
Think he knows?
We know the answer.
You tell me.
If he's coming back or not. Hey, well, that'd be a bit surprising if he tells us one way or the other.
Well, he's attached to nothing. Open to everything.
Bingo.
It's a good mindset to have for everybody.
It is.
Have an open mind. You never know what's going to happen, you know? Don't be scared to listen to new ideas. Don't be scared to think, well, that's a fucking stupid idea, and just keep your life moving. Because every once in a while, something beautiful is going to come through. And when it does, could change your life forever, could change your perspective forever. And just like Jerry Jones said in that show, you don't want to be wishing to see a couple more suns come up.
Bingo.
You want to live every day like it's your last. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. We're in this thing together. Team on me, team on 3. We love you all so much. 1, 2, 3, team. Goodbye.